That's too early. Okay, so that'll be fine now then. Well, that'll be why then I tabbed out too early. Great stuff, me. And I haven't put my YouTube on yet, which I should have done already. Poop. Okay, well that's why we check things. Gonna go into draft very, very shortly, folks. Yeah, she has a she has a Tom and Jerry mouse mat, yeah, which is apparently huge in China. Apparently, Tom and Jerry.
Really?
Yeah, apparently. Well, it makes sense if you think about it, not being language bound, because there's almost no spoken words. Almost no spoken words.
That is true.
Very slapstick. In the same way that Mr. Bean will forever be Rowan Atkins's most famous work, because it's completely wordless. Yeah, which I always found really interesting, because for me, I mean, I love Rowan Atkinson, because I watched him a lot during Blackadder and stuff like that. But it just feels, yeah, no, but it does make sense that Mr. Bean is the more famous one, because, hey, Razuri, how's it going? Yeah. He also has a Doraemon one. I knew about the Doraemon one as well. Now, is this the Champion Select camera angle? Normally, they take the long shot, and the lights go down. Like, they all kind of go down. Okay, let's, come on, I need a draft now. I'm done stalling. I'm running out of fill content, LPL. Trying to think if there are any interesting things between these teams in terms of storylines. FPX, I don't know, they've kind of just existed in different realms of the LPL for a while. I mean, these two have not been direct competitors, right?
There would have been a storyline with Crisp being here, but of course Crisp is gone. So that's
Angie hit a 90 stream streak yesterday.
Oh my days.
Thank you, love. And yeah, so this series today, this is both of our series today are Group Ascend. So they're on our top group. For those of you who are less familiar with the LPL, through seeding events which happened earlier in the year and their performance in previous splits, teams are organized into our top 8 teams and our bottom 6 teams now, with 2 teams being eliminated for the rest of the year. That's a nice smile share. Looks a little bit like Jerry there as well. All right, let's get ourselves into our first draft of the day, FPX Top Esports. Let's get into it.
Yes.
So, are we going to get something like the Annie Wukong? Pantheon Talia won't be available because the Pantheon is gone. We have Gwen permabanned. Talia's still available, has been a very common first pick one up. I need a new Ari Simbox thing, which is horse check. I can very much give horse checks if you so wish. I've got a very good gold ship campaign. Well, I had a very good gold ship campaign going, and gold ship is nightmare fuel. Everything goes wrong at the worst moments.
Is that the way it's supposed to be?
Yeah, gold ship was a notoriously
unlucky.
No, not unlucky. Just didn't give a shit. So it's yeah, yeah. They would start dancing in front of the crowd instead. That kind of thing. Strange things. First pick Talia, I think, coming in, unless you want to pick something like the... okay, they picked the Wukong instead. I was going to say Rumble, that was already gone. So now you split up Annie Wukong. I guess you don't want to first pick Talia and then get Annie Wukong, which just perma-engages on you and gives you a hard time.
Talia Shinzao.
But then Top Esports could lock the Talia and say, screw it, we'll do that anyway. But it's kind of dangerous picking Talia into Annie Wukong. Feels like a disgusting
I think if you do this, you have to do Shinzao with it to try and match the early
Hey,
power.
Castle. You missed the 1v1s? I missed them for the novelty, not for the hour and a half it added to every broadcast day.
It was a lot of extra work.
If you did it in a 3 series day, it was a pain in the ass. Can I get the Shinzao?
There's that Shinzao we were talking about. Because again, if you're going to match that Annie Wukong, you kind of have to go this way. Annie comes online a little earlier than Talia. Shinzao comes online a little earlier than Wukong. It kind of comes out in the wash. And the scaling's a bit weird between the two pairings as well, because basically who gets the jump first?
And we get the return of the Care Bear!
The Care Bear!
The Care Bear is back!
Oh, hooray!
Now, I will, just a warning, the last time I cast Care's Annie, Care missed like 3 or 4 ults and I was waiting all game to talk about the Care Bear and it was just awful.
Yeah.
Just awful. So I really hope he has a better day. So that's going to be a spoiler. At some point, Sam, you are going to have to shout out the Care Bear strike or whatever.
What is the Care Bear theme?
Care Bear attack.
What's a quote from Care Bears, guys?
I don't know.
I do have to go look this up in game.
I just feel like with the Annie was on the Labubu hype train before Labubu's
That's true. She's just giving other people boo-boos.
She is setting Labubu on fire.
When she's giving other people the boo-boo, like punch in the face, and they got boo-boos now, see?
369 gets himself his Scion, knowing that the Trundle was already banned, it was safer to do that anyway.
I saw an excellent Baldur's Gate meme the other day, Alex. Basically talking about which of the characters would enjoy Labubu's and which one wouldn't.
Shadowheart would enjoy Labubu's,
Yeah, I think so. But Boo and Mince Cook, because you call them Labu Boos.
It's multiple giant, miniature giant space hamsters.
Minthara would hate them, but would be a scalper.
I would buy
and use them
Library.
to scalp the rest of the team.
There is a very funny story. I have told this publicly before. There's a very funny story about the LPL broadcast and Tibbers. You could argue that a Tibbers plushie, it's not too dissimilar from a Tibbers Labubu, did in fact just kill the English broadcast for LPL, because one was on show and then it went missing. And because it went missing, things got difficult with the higher-ups, and that spiraled, and it kind of got the broadcast killed in off-season of 23 to 24. So, you could argue that one of these plushies killed the LPL English broadcast in 2023. So, if you ever talk to Mazel, Hysterics, Kitty, Munchables, Ashin, any of like the LPL casters, like, I don't know, just post like Tibbers ult on cooldown and just say, I'm sorry about your job. Going into the second round.
Wow.
It affected me too, as we went through a couple of picks and bans. A lot of the support ball taken out, and Shear's not going to get his own better. What do you do against the Lucian now? Because there's a likelihood of... You could lock in a Braum for top esports, so you'd leave it a little bit low on engage, but if you lock in a melee... Well, you already have the melee support of that Alistair. That could be a bit problematic in lane.
Did you enjoy my little prop for your story, Al?
I did so.
There you go. Yeah,
it was like a special goth Annie Tibbers. And it was like, well, you know, this is
special. Does sound quite cool.
There was a whole lot of miscommunication involved. But yeah, Tibbers sort of killed the LPL English broadcasts. Yeah. Last pick coming in top lane for Shear. He always was a very good Kasante player. It would leave you... Actually, both teams with a lot of similar archetypes. You know, got that strong front line, temporary front line, Alistair on one side, Shinzo on the other. Tank top lane, that's very disruptive in either the Kasante or the Scion. I do think FPX have way better engage right now. Top ESLs have way better disengage. Because you have Talia and Braum. We did highlight that Braum potentially coming in.
Scion and Crescent Guard. There's a lot of tools there.
But if FPX ever find Jaculov, I think he dies anyway. And one of the big problems about the Braum in this comp, you don't stop Cyclone and you don't stop the Care Bear. If the mid-jungle gets a good angle onto Jaculov or Cream, FPX can blow open the fight in the opening stages of it, especially with the Senna all over the top team.
Vice versa, the Senna, if the Shinzao or Talia or Scion manage to weave their way through to you, and they've got tools to do that, particularly the Shinzao, that audacious charge, one of the reasons we keep seeing him, it's actually very difficult to keep a Shinzao off your backline for a whole fight.
Yeah.
He will get to an AD carry because audacious charge, especially when you got that wind becomes lightning mark, you can just fly 30 miles, and once you've got Sundered Sky, once you've got the Crescent Guard rolling, people aren't going to be able to save you. No one wants to join the Thunderdome. It's a bad time.
That it is. So top esports, they'll be relying once more on their team fighting. I think both these teams, again, have similar archetypes to them. I don't think either lane, I mean, maybe bot lane is more favored for top esports because Braum into Alistair is kind of a pain, but Senna doesn't hate that lane. Anyway, it does kind of feel like both teams have brought similar weapons to the table, just more engage on one side, more disengage on the other. Similar outside of that. And that means that we get to see, hopefully, fingers crossed, some really cool team fights. Where are they playing? I believe they're playing in Shanghai as the neutral venue. The coaches have given themselves the fist bumps. We'll get into the game so you don't have to see our faces anymore. There.
That's rude. I've got a very pretty face. Are you going to disagree with that?
Let's get into game. And love you too. Let us know. Turns out it looks like the clean feed volume is a little bit different today. Let us know what the volume is like when we get into game, and let's test it out with some of those gyos. Little bitty headphones.
Gyro!
公牛角力，你会尝到牛角的滋。
Lagandia Joes and 1,000 kites. It's okay, Sam. Chat thinks you're pretty. Thank you, kites. I needed that after being emotionally destroyed as Jachi. Just need to be a little bit wary here. Run into too much. Both our supports running Spellbook means they get to go over the heal early on in lane as well. We've started seeing that with the Spellbook supports actually quite a lot. The value in heal in the two-person speed up, the two-person empower with the heal feels really good. The Ghost on Jachi as well. Potentially, if you are trying to run away from the Lucian, Shin's out. Engage being a little bit reliant on people being quite close to you, really, with things like that Braum passive. Be able to manage. way. Back on his Alistair. He has been one of our better supports bluntly this year. His Nico, his Nautilus last split were really extraordinary. I like his Alistair too. See how he does in this split. Again, FPX in a bit of a weird spot. Lost core part of their identity in Shadow, who really did give the team shape. Give the team some...
He was a leader.
Yeah.
And I think that he revolutionized FPX from a team that was kind of down and out when they were playing with Sorrow, and then he came in and they took some series up. They took series off of JDG, who were a top team last split, of course, and did well in other moments too. Of course, now the reports are that Shadow might be joining BLG. Apparently, he's been spotted in the gym with some of the BLG players, so likely will end up towards that roster, and BLG will make another change again at some point. Really does feel like the LPL has just thrown the dice into the air for this split as a whole. Cohort. Every single team pretty much has made a change at least. Some have made multiple. And in the case of something like NIP, they've actually made 3 changes to their roster technically. 1 on their bench, 2 on their starting roster. No team really happy, I think, with their spring. I think that Anyone's Legend succeeding now by virtue of the fact that the one team really that hasn't made big changes. WE the other one. Those are the 2, I suppose, top teams. And WE are actually a top team now, that have succeeded by not doing anything. Choosing immobility as a mode of transport, it's not always my favorite thing. 2v2 coming in, level 3 to level 2. Going in for the 2v2, Jackalope getting a decent vigilance spot. The bounce back from the Lucian Braum, nasty that. This is one of the things about 2v2 wave control. Sometimes you think you've got it all done when you've got the early push, but if you early push and can't reach the 3rd wave quick enough, they can actually... Oh, that's a great flash in!
And the headbutt back. Jackie's now in danger, needs to run away. Good stun onto that Alistair by side. Kanavi's here, looking to punish. What is this? Kanavi here at level 3? I don't believe it.
Top esports ganked the bot lane early, but Jway gave it a great shot. The flash pulverized, very nearly getting a turret shot onto Jackalope, which would have seen him dead and buried. Of course, we've got a marital dispute in the bot lane of Senna versus Lucian, and we'll have to talk to the counselor about that one. As Cream actually forced it back from mid lane too, as Care, as you were saying in draft, comes online a little earlier with the Annie compared to the Talia, i.e. went on a little bit of a wander into the enemy jungle, and gets a free summon from Cream for not doing that much.
Pretty valuable there. Does, however, survive as the Wukong was wrapping around. If he'd stayed under the tower, he would have been a dead man.
Top lane, tank versus tank, not the most exciting thing. Cassandre can actually do some damage towards the Sion later in, because of course he gets a ton of Omnivamp when he goes all out later into it. Sion doesn't really have that same kill pressure. Lucian has reset, goes top lane. Now, top esports love doing these early swaps. I don't always think they should. I think that, when you got the Lucian Braum, normally pretty lane dominant. Shit, he was stopped on his recall there. Normally gives vision. I didn't see it there on the spectator, but his recall will be stopped. He'll back off from the tower. Senna, Alistair going topside. Of course, down a little bit of gold now. The Caulfield's in first for Jackalope after that first blood. Senna gassing. Are the German lessons still a thing? Not for now. We took a break for them because we realized we had a little bit more time to figure stuff out, and bluntly also getting up at 9 AM for them while we were also doing this was too much on the plate really for that amount of time.
And I was also casting in the evenings with NLC and G2L and stuff, so
The
it's basically
workload.
like it was pretty insane.
The workload, but yes, for those of you who don't have the context, Sam and I, our visas are getting renewed soon, so that's missing. Really nasty if that does hit with the Lucian Vigilance passive afterwards. That double taps a ton of damage. But yeah, so basically we had to...
Is it a light slinger, or is it kind of both, or is it the two double name one?
It is both. Light Slinger is your your double tap. Yep. And then Vigilance is if you have been buffed in any way, or if a champion has been CC'd near you in any way, then you get extra damage on your next 2 auto attacks. So it means that your double tap applies both of them, which is really, really nice.
Was one of the ways they changed Lucian to stop him being so much of a solo laner, because he was really, really oppressive in mid lane for a very long time, and top lane.
And then somehow Lucian returned for a while and was just insane into the... because what we had was Corki Tristana last summer, and then what we saw was Lucian get played... Oh no, Zeri get played into those matchups, because Zeri could actually deal with the Corki in a way that others couldn't. And then we would see Lucian into Zeri, because Lucian could deal with Zeri, and he kind of found his way back into mid lane through the individual AD carry matchup. It was Ucal who was doing some really cool stuff on TT at that point. Blue Cal back then, of course, dyed his hair blue for the TT colors, which was really cool. She's actually going to get the quick double tap onto... Of course, she has a double tap passive too, just when you hit a champion twice, you get souls from them, which is kind of cool.
Auto cute, very valuable on center for that reason. All well in the river, i.e. ganging up on a poor scuttle crab. Us junglers are horrible crab
What?
pummelers.
Do you imagine? I mean, I did do an edit of this meme. I remember around 21 MSI when DFM beat Cloud9 because Blabber did the crab thing.
Yeah.
And by the way, people forget the context of that. The reason he went for that is because Ebby beat Fudge so hard in the Gnar versus Jace matchup that he thought he would have Jace Prio for the top Scuttle Crab. He didn't because Ebby was playing Halo Blades Gnar and he won out the early matchup. Forced that out. And I made an edit of a meme which was the Deadliest Catch, the Discovery Channel
Oh, excellent. Excellent.
Alaskan King Crab, but it was with Blabber instead. I was personally quite proud of that one. That was one of my better memes.
My first phrase, your bin day is changing.
Oh,
with
yeah.
basically just having
MSI
bin
23.
with bin just going through different opponents.
Yeah, and your bin day is changing, just putting different top laners you face just in the bin. Because it was MSI held in London at that point too, I could put like the
Mind the gap.
Yes, I also had that too. Mind the, and I had like JODG and BLG on the train and everyone else off the train. Oh, those are good times. Back when LPL had double teams in finals of international events. Been a while now since we've had that. The region struggling for international consistency and top-end success. I mean, anyone's legend have been
Yeah, they've
have
just
actually
come off a great streak, yeah.
they've actually been consistent. They are the only team outside of the LCK to compete with the LCK, which is insane to me. It's great to see them get some success between this split and now. We'll see how they do coming back. But the rest of the region needs a second representative to hold up that kind of performance.
Yeah, I think that's fair. And then you're looking at it. Obviously, anyone's legend taking the likes of Gen G to 5 games is very impressive, right? You want to be able to do that and make it a 5-game in your favor.
Grub's now being started. Sion has an angle to sweep that ult through the fight. This is the first big play of the game where we could see that tank frontline making a difference.
Colin comes one down, not that much value. Care Bear! Welcome to the Cuddle Puddle, and down goes Kanavi. Backline goes Cream, looking for a bit more value here on the Taliyah as the Tibbers continues to run, and 369 now in danger, flashes over the wall, and will get out alive. Last embrace into the Dawning Shadow. Good shield buys the time. The shovel way onto IE in the squad buys. Oh! But Dway on the Alistair, flashes for the pulverize. Value secured. Another kill comes on through.
I couldn't help but think the way you said Care Bear sounded like chicken jockey.
It was a little bit, wasn't it?
Sorry, I just had to have a bit of a laugh break midway through that. But FPX,
Ursine jockey.
they find the Care Bear. Care lands the Tibbers onto multiple members. Well, not onto multiple members, but onto that clutch first kill of the fight. And Top Esports couldn't find themselves to disengage. FPX have the extra engage with the Annie and the Wukong, and they make it stick in this fight. This is the danger of this comp from Top Esports. If they miss position, the Annie Wukong will slap them hard. Right here, they clear the vision in the brush. They think the culling, the culling's pretty decent value, but Kanavi gets caught out against the wall. This is one of the worst bits to play as a red side team. Against that wall when you're playing with champions without a way to get over terrain. Shinzao would have to flash back over. It's not like you can, I don't know, use like a Zeri E or whatever to fly over it or something. Gets caught out against it, lined up and shut down.
Gets messed up there. Flash on him from the Cassante and the headbutt and that pulverize and the flash. Beautiful stuff from Dway.
I really love that Sheer and Dway both realized that they could continue to play. I really like that. The fact that they knew, actually, you know what? A lot of the damage is not there. Shinzao is actually a lot of the early damage too, and he's off the table. You can go for this. So, FPX, they find themselves 2 grubs out of the 3, get themselves an early kill onto each of their carries, the Senna and the Annie, which is important. I don't think they have the most damage in the game, not gonna lie. I think Lucian and Taliyah do have better DPS on the whole than Annie and Senna, but if you get ahead of the curve, you get towards, Black Cleaver onto Senna, and Wukong, actually. You're wondering if one of them... Actually, no, you know what? Wukong could, weirdly, most of the time, he loves going for the Black Cleaver.
Could he go Starak second?
I actually wonder if you could, just because you can go towards the Black Cleaver on Senna. I mean, Wukong's so good at doing it anyway. Maybe you drop the Black Cleaver on Senna and go towards Mortal Reminder instead or something like that.
And then you go like Rapid Fire second or something. Just save from the Taliyah out, outrange the Lucian a bit.
Yeah, which will of course be very important. Senna, if you get, if Senna is hitting a champion cut down by Black Cleaver and then also the Crushing Blow, armor removal from the Wukong, they do a lot more damage.
What do you think the crushing blow is? It's just like, I'm really sorry you didn't get the job.
Oh, no.
The tip has just come out. Sorry.
Sam, we don't mention the J word on stream here.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Dway is literally the bot lane. I've got to mention that word.
Well, that one's that's different though. But you know you don't mention the one related to employment. Sheer going
you
to
mentioned the E
collapse
word.
on. Oh no, I mentioned the E word.
Bot side. Sheer is in danger, has a wall between him and safety pathmakers, but there's a decimating smash waiting, and Cream ensures that he will be seasoning that kill with a little bit more value.
Nice play there from Cream. No flash from Sheer, and you can't use your Pathmaker to get over walls unless you're in all-out form. But Sheer couldn't find an angle for the solo lane combination. Getting good value there. 369 will use that gold, which he gets from the assist to buy his Sunfire Cape. Go up towards top side. Top pieces will go towards bot side. Cream will start to get some plates on that tower.
Yeah, please censor that word. I don't know what word you were talking about. Definitely never mentioned anything to do with the earning of money.
No. Ah, no, you even alluded to it. You know we don't earn money on stream. FPX will send their top laner back towards the bot lane. They would love to be able to get a break in the waves to get their 2 grubs to hit towers, but top esports, I really like how they shut down these Cassante pushing in bot side, teleport the sign immediately towards top side, and make sure that there's no push there either. Top esports have pretty good ability to hold most of their lanes now. FPX, they need to find a play to break open the map a little bit to use the 2 grubs. I'm a little bit worried they can stall now, because top esports, I think they're just going to slow down the game. Play around the Talia ult cooldown, use that to make some big plays, and then use Braum to try and neutralize, Braum and Siren actually, to neutralize the aggressive angles from FPX.
2 dragons, couple of the grub, one of the grubs. Top esports in an alright position on that front. We have got a second dragon soon.
Senna has the Shiv now. This is a pretty big item break point. A lot of people, I think people just think, oh, you know, first eliminated carries is a good thing anyway, but specifically realizing why Shiv is good on Senna tells you a lot about the champion, why it's different from, say...
She's British, mate.
Oh, Jesus. Coming down my end. Coming down my end.
London, bruv. You get me?
Tell you what, there's this one TikToker who's just very, very surreal. They've got themselves like a cat balaclava, and they're being like roadman cat. It's like, what's a man got to do to get some pets around here? Yeah, don't hit me with that shit around here.
Oh, so I used to live in Archway, right? And we used to have a cat like that.
Really?
I also, yeah, legit. Because we used to live like this. We used to live near this little park, Cardinals Way, for those who know.
Yeah.
But anyway, but Care actually needs to be a bit wary. Throws out the Care Bear, and Cream is immediately sent to the tea party. Needs to leave.
And yeah, the Care Bear used to weirdly block out the threaded volley a little bit there. But anyway, tell me about the Archway cats.
Yeah, so we had like a cat ranking, because it was 2 that were ridiculous. One which was basically the tomcat of the place. We used to come around and would barge his way into people's homes and just be their cat for a couple of days.
That's adorable.
Jackie gets a bit of a culling off. There's 3 people around us, so I'm not going to go too much further. Right, cat story. And the other one was this like ridiculously lovely purebred Persian who was like not allowed out of the house. Whenever she was seen on the street, it's like, oh, she's out. How did she get out? Look at this gorgeous cat. And like, the 2 of them clearly had a thing going on.
Aww.
Like, it's basically Dungeon Crawler Carl story. That's all I'm saying.
Great call out there. Herald Spawn, top esports get themselves the pro. Off of using the culling, forces FPX back in the mid lane, gives top esports away towards the Herald first. 369 and Sheer not going to be at this place. It'll be a 4v4. Cad doesn't have ult for this.
Fisher comes on down, doesn't get that much value. Hung with the exhaust, keep your eyes on it. Spellbook making some weird choices. Dway looking to go on in! Headbutt flash! Pulv is glorious! They lose the objective. No, wait, they did get it. I take it back. IE got into the backline. They will lose that Wukong, but it's already a gorgeous play from Dway alone. Dawning Shadow comes on through. Headbutt pulverize only knocks Cream away.
Yeah, he ends up, I think, getting stunned by the last of the minefield. Can't combo it through, but Dway is on a mission. Big plays coming out from the Alistair player of FPX, one of our best supports in recent years from the rookie pool. And top esports lose the Herald, and they trade 1-for-1. I don't think they would have expected that going into that fight.
I think they'll take the Herald claim. That's pretty good value. Unfortunate to lose the Wukong. Jackie who picks that one up, but on the other side, Senna gets her own kill. That's good value. Not sure who got the first kill there actually towards Vita Strands. We'll check the tracker afterwards. Here's the replay all over again.
So Cad didn't have ult because he had to use it in topside, and then also has to flash away. Surely this should be, alongside the chunk that got that the culling got earlier onto the bot lane, that actually would have thought that would have solved the fight for them. but the wall doesn't quite stop the engage coming through. Minion taxi off of the Shinzao, flash in for the pulverize so it can't get stopped by the minefield as well. Cyclone into the backline, does get IE killed, but it means that the damage is done. FPX, fantastic engage play again. This is a worry because top esports, if they get engaged onto and their carries get caught, they will lose fights.
Gold lead is about 1,000, just under for top esports, and worth noting they were the ones who got the first 3 kills first, just about by a second or so. So they got that mark towards feat to strength. Next objective sells it. Top esports in the river first on bot lane as Dragon is spawning.
Yeah. Dragon, of course, would be sole point for top. This would be their 3rd one. And they're once again at the objective first. FPX, they don't have the Alistair flash this time. They don't have Annie with flash either. I think with both of them down, FPX will say, we can't find the engaged in the way that we did in that last fight, so we're going to chill for now, use the Herald mid lane. It will be able to charge over the Talia wall there. Will it? No, it needs the direct path. Oh, that's a playable time.
Oh, that's a bit awkward. Doesn't get as much value as they were hoping for there, and they lose the objective.
That's the Talia combo. Yeah, that's the Talia combo. Fully denies the Herald. That's a huge win. Cream, great knowledge of the micro there. Walls it off to stop it getting the direct charge, then stunning it with the minefield afterwards. Kind of keeps it perma locked up, and the Herald gets no value.
Maybe that's it. It's that max security prison for Heralds.
Right. I mean,
How would you imprison a Herald, Alex?
taking away their megaphone? I don't know, what else do Heralds do? They tend to shout
I mean, that's true. I was thinking about the League of Legends Herald, but you're right. This could be like, are Heralds all one shape and size? That's the question, isn't it, really?
Yeah. Does this count as a sensitive? Questions upon questions.
You've not responded to my conversation about Heralds, Alex.
I'm actually censoring the communication of it. Therefore, I'm again, the greatest thing you can do against
like
the Herald.
threat.
Yeah.
See.
You know how when Aragorn went up to the Black Gates of Mordor and just cut off the head of the mountain?
Sauron.
Exactly the same thing. Now, there is actually going to be a Hex Flash over the wall here, Dwayne, looking for a play. Teleport defensively, though, coming from Hung, who's using the spellbook.
Doesn't find that much there this time around. Bot side shit, finds a pathmaker. Don't really think he wants to take 369 all out towards his own turret. That would be a bad time.
Kazante can beat Sion in a 1v1, especially at the 1 to 2 item mark. Is a little bit behind though, and takes a long time to cut through the sun, which is, you know, a pain. FPX struggling to get...
Pain.
Yeah. Well, as opposed to, you know, Metal Gear Solid 5, the Phantom Pain.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to...
the Phantom Menace, which would be Star Wars.
Exactly.
Right,
you know, you have to clarify. It's so easy to get, you know, such discerning individuals as ourselves know that there are many pains out there.
Yeah, exactly. As opposed to Phantom Menace, but then you can get Menace, which would of course be the MTG keyword.
Of course, it could also be Phantom of the Opera as well.
Of course.
Which is of course a stage show, but it's also a song by Iron Maiden, and the Iron Maiden is of course Rel as well. And we're back to League of Legends. The circle is complete.
Genius. Fun fact, by the way, one of my really good friends from university is currently the Phantom in a touring show, Phantom of the Opera.
That's very cool.
And his fiance is the leading lady in another Phantom of the Opera show that's also touring China right now.
But not the same
No,
one.
they're not. They're on different shows.
You know, what I would find very, very funny is if Beryl won another Worlds and got an Uma Musume Rel
Yeah,
skin.
it's true. Oh my... Would it just be Rel running really fast when she's mounted up? Like, Kali's coming on down into Dway. Alistair will press the R button to make his will unbreakable.
Beryl would be the gold ship of League of Legends. This guy just inexplicably just loses things which he should win, wins things which he should lose. Just it makes no sense.
I did make a banger tweet which should have popped up harder about how much power Beryl would get from Uma Musume.
No, he is the kind of guy that would get like a random mood down and -10 speed just before the big race. FPX getting pressured out across the board. I really think Jackie Love's Lucian has been critical to how top esports are playing the game, because FPX can't push up in mid lane as easily. We were going into a conversation a little earlier about, you know, why is Senna powerful at the Shiv site, Mark, and then we started talking about Archway, Gangster Cats instead. But Shiv typically allows you to insta-wave clear in mid lane, get pressure, and then allow your team to play more confidently across the map. Because Jiachi has not been able to control mid lane, because it's a Lucian with culling, doing well at getting good shots on target from that, FPX have not been able to push up in mid lane, which means that they have not been able to push into enemy jungle, look for the big cyclones and the big Annie stuns, and it's shut down FPX's aggressive game plan. Now they are slightly ahead in gold, but Top Esports have had first entrance toward the objectives, and that has meant that they get more from this game than I think they potentially could have done. They've managed to escape the mid-jungle engage combo from FPX, backed up by that center ult.
Dragon in 50 seconds. It'd be soul for the side of Top. He's about to say soul point and have to stop myself as I've actually got soul point already. The 2 item spikes largely coming on through here. As you know, it is actually the Black Cleaver on that center. See what the Wukong does go towards. The Tunneler could go to a number of different things. It might well be that Sterex.
Yeah, no, but it's not the Black Cleaver is the thing. You've got the Black Cleaver on Senna, so he's going towards more survivability, which
we did news about that, yeah.
Yeah, we asked that question earlier. If Senna can get the Black Cleaver stacked on someone, you can double stack it with your auto Q as well. It gets 3 stacks immediately. Top Esports now choosing not to go for the setup early. For once, they are giving up first priority on the objective, choosing to trade for that tower on the side lane.
It gives them feats of strength as well, importantly, because that is first turret. They already had the first kills, so that is a
late first turret.
Yeah, it is quite at that point. I'm going to try and find a bit more value here. I can see that they already got 3 dragons, so actually they already had that in that point then. FPX in the river first, as you noted.
You can also see 369 is getting Black Cleaver stacked on him, but Senna is just not an anti-tank champion. The flash forward, but Care Bear misses!
Oh, he tries to go for the hug, and they're just not interesting. Dawning Shadow comes on through. Hung stays alive as Dwayne tries to headbutt them out. 369 has been dragged all out. Tries to find an angle of his wall into the pit. It's not doing all that much value. Cream potentially dangerous. Hung flashing on forward Jack up to get some more value, and the Annie dies. But a flash on forward from Sheer, who's trying to go all out with the end top for strikes. Jachi is somehow in the enemy jungle off to the right hand side of the screen. Sheer going on forwards. The culling comes back up. IE now here. Flash away, trying to stay alive. Piercing light's not enough. It's a triple to the Wukong as the fight gets messier and messier. Kanavi is here, still full HP. Dwayne flashes on out, and Sheer tries to put some footwork. The Wind becomes lightning, gets the double slow, knocks up Kasante with the 3 talent strike. Decimating match, and the Bash Bros are here to keep whacking onto the Wukong's got nothing left somehow. It is 4 for 3 in Top Esports' favor.
The Care Bear misses. No one wants any of that Labubu shit. The Tibbers goes wide, and Top Esports find themselves to fight with the Sarge being unkillable, completely unkillable. Top Esports find themselves their soul, and FPX lose a crucial fight, even with the triple kill from new jungler IE in his first few games in the LPL. Top Esports just outclutched the fight.
Well. There's the soul. The gold lead is nominal, to say the least. But we'll have a look at this replay, because I don't even know where to begin. It felt like we had about 3 separate 1v1s happening in 3 different locations simultaneously. Exhaust comes down to Care after the Annie misses that Care Bear, as we were saying about. And then Jachi ends up in a 1v1 with Kanavi and not having very much fun for it. And the Weaver's Wall plus the Crescent Guard splits the fight into such bizarre angles, with the All-Out also having dragged Sion miles away.
The fight is so split, but the problem is, once it got split, the way it split was bad for FPX, because the carries got massively outspaced and mobility by the enemy team. Senna and Annie are not good at peeling for themselves. Luckily, Wukong cleans up a lot, but FPX, this is the kind of play which does, sadly, lose you the game. If they cleanly caught the carry, maybe we'd be having a very different story.
IE tries to go back in to save a bit more life, can't do it. Then because they've gone back in, there's a decimating smash, and IE goes down. Dwayne, the lone survivor, mooing plaintively.
Moo. Yeah.
Joy, when did we get the cow game as opposed to the horse game?
The cows race? They can, I guess.
I suppose so. Or maybe it's like you know those ones where you run away from bulls charging.
Oh, like Pamplona.
Yeah.
Oh man, that'd be great. Yeah, sure, cool. I'd be down. I mean, I wouldn't want to run away from the bull. That's how, you know, people get hurt.
Yeah,
I'd try explaining that to life insurance, you know.
By the way, I assume you can't get insurance for that.
I'm sure you could if you paid an awful lot of money, but that's a different story, really. Okay, bot lane of FPX trying to hold this choke point, not able to do so. Top Esports walking around with Kanavi's shins out. Has the... he's gone Sundered Sky, not for the Stark second, but he basically doesn't need that Black Cleaver because Sen is doing that for him. The Sundered Sky does give him good extra damage on that first auto on someone, and then, of course, the extra healing across the fights.
Navi, and Cream all around. FPX looking to come and contest. TP is now coming on in. Blue buff being fought over. Piercing Darkness does come on down. There's the blue buff secured. 369 TPing in.
Cream.
And Cream on the side. Cream is in danger. Gets hit by the Care Bear. This time, he's forced into the group hug. Dawning Shadow comes across. Needs to think about flashing out. Doesn't have it up and available. Now Kanavi's in the back line with everyone there. Crescent Guard bought some time. Charge on forwards. Gets the kill onto Joy's Alistair. Decimating smash. Knocks him shit. Care in danger. The cleanse ensures the stun means nothing. Jachi's running out of mana. Can't keep throwing out spells as IE needs to back away. And they lose additional members. Jachi needs to blast cone out, surely.
369 is an utter menace. Kanavi going to fight against IU, be able to get the kill maybe.
Very, very low. Now the whip becomes lightning.
Kanavi gets the kill, and Top Esports play so well around the unkillable front line, and Jackie Love's platform behind it. The Lucian can free fire because the Scion just doesn't take damage. The Annie in the center, not great tank killers, and the Wukong's not picking up enough damage onto it either. Top Esports much better now at peeling back around their front line.
Congratulations on your 4,000th assist in the LPL. Getting up there in the numbers now. Around for a little while. Good showing so far on this Braum. Kanavi really off the race at this point of a while. Atakan has spawned. Been there for a little while, and Top Esports will claim that as an additional prize. Baron and Atakan, and of course Soul on top of it all.
This is the real breaking point, right? Where it's so hard to finish off kills because of that Chemtech Soul. And even if you kill the initial carry, just having Scion is such a big game breaker in this kind of fight, because look how much work he does. Double knock up there onto a bit of the damage from Senna. Senna also runs out of mana through this. Scion ults through the stun, gets another 3-man kind of like slow there too. Care's caught out after he's kind of not been able to retreat from his flanking position, but all during this, the Scion just doesn't take damage.
Care gets a really good stun onto Jack Love, half his HP, and then there's a cleanse and a heal, and all of that work is undone in a moment. He doesn't have flash anymore, or he didn't get to use the flash.
Oh,
Jackie's got a mega cone, should be all right here.
Yeah, they should really get Monster Energy to sponsor that cone, like the Monster Energy Blast cone. I'm telling you,
Mega Mice. It would turn them all into like big blue Mega Mice.
Oh, my giant blue head,
boy! Exactly.
Jumps into the backline and gets
Monstrosity!
You were right. I was less right. For those of you who never watched Megamind, go do it. It's a modern classic in terms of comedy. Didn't do as well at the box office as it should have done, but who cares?
Did very well afterwards.
And then the second movie didn't exist. Is what? Yeah. They couldn't get Will Ferrell back for it, and it kind of killed the show, really.
Yeah, love it. They had
Scion is behind the entire turret, by the way.
Jachi, hit by the wind becomes like needs to start backing away. Weaver's probably going to come on forward. Jachi flashes on out to safety. Important that could have been problematic. The problem is the rest of the fight. How on earth do you kill this Scion?
He's part of the furniture. He's part of your bedroom.
Like, part of the ship. Part of the crew.
Part of the ship. He's just the ship. He is
the ship.
What do you do about this Scion? Like, he's just here to stay. He's set up. He's set up shop, and this Scion will not be moved. Top Esports clear the inhibitor turret.
He's the wolf of bot lane. He's not leaving. He's not leaving. They're going to go into it. Gets a double headbutt pulverize. IE does sidestep that seismic shot. A pull back on the 369. He was finally lost. More than a third of his HP after 1 minute of fighting. Yes, folks, it's happened. Double seismic shove. Actually, it's onto the clone as well. I do take that back slightly. And hello, Davels in chat. Member of DMG's backroom staff here. For those of you who are NLC enjoys, he's a really cool guy with a lot of really passionate ideas and plans and love for the Nordic scene and the NLC as a whole. We give them some love, and I think they'll be doing a bit of co-streaming for DMG this evening as well, which should be a good time. Just to keep your eyes on that one. Some love if you're in the Twitch chat. 369 steps forward into 5 members and does not give a damn. Neither does Kanavi. He's got the Crescent Guard rolling. Care is exhausted. Out comes the Glacial Fisher, buying some time. I tried to back away with the Cyclone. But again, Kanavi, finally about to go down, does so. Potentially big pick. All out on the other side. But it's dragging the Scion into your backline. Why have you done this?
Reasons are beyond me.
Jackie, can he get the penta? He's got the triple. There's a lot of low health bars. Now they've all split apart, and the blast cones get them out to safety.
FPX have just run out of steam. Top Esports. Cream flashed on his own into the backline. That's how safe he felt. I.e., try to play around the Cream.
He's standing between the two clones. That's a bit awkward.
He thought that he pressed the S key. He pressed the S key and baited him into thinking the clone had gone down. Baits him into the both of them. Cream dying. I don't think it saves the game for FPX? I guess with 15 seconds left, maybe it does. IE, great mind game there. Ends up getting the kill onto Cream, who was playing very fast and loose in the last minute or so.
Key gaming, always my favorite thing with the Wukong. 6-3-3, in fairness to IE's actually having a pretty solid Wukong game. Been able to find some key picks. He had that triple kill in the fight earlier as well. Again, to fill in some relatively big shoes here as Jackie steps on forwards. He's also desperately terrifying. That's a 4-item Lucian at 6-1 and 3.
And he's got such a great platform to play off. This is the biggest thing about this Lucian is that they can stand pretty behind a Scion and a Braum. The fact that they also have the tenacity from two dragons, the Chemtech dragons, and also the Soul, which makes it harder for him to get closed out for a kill by FPX, makes it so hard to play. And 369, he can stand here for forever.
I do agree with you, Alex. And Elder Dragon's happening, so perhaps the memes and jokes from White Protectors are going to get knocked up by Knavi with that 3-tower strike. Dawn Shadow comes on through the Crescent Guard that was well timed, means that railgun does nothing to him. Someone like the Mikoto is very pissed off that someone can mitigate her most powerful skill like that. They get the kill on the Kazante. Jackie finally dies, but does a lot before he falls. Dway in the backline is there alone. The Alistair has nothing left of the tank all the while. 369 is in a 1v3 and brings down the Senna. Weaver's Wall comes on forward. Kanavi's here as well. And IE just goes owie, and he'll fall as a triple kill goes the way of Cream.
369 takes matters into his own hands at the end of the fight. This Scion is my MVP for the game by a long shot. 369 on tanks is a match made in heaven. Top Esports will use the spellbook from the support to make sure he can be there for the photo finish.
We all come in, say cheese and smile for the camera. Top Esports come out on top in game 1. Just better in the engages, better in the fights. And my god, the Scion was a bit of a menace.
I mean, what else can you say, folks? That was an insanely good tank frontline team comp from Top Esports. I thought for a little while FPX might have some options to play around the aggressive Annie Wukong, but they couldn't get it rolling in the mid game. They were shut down by Lucian in the mid lane and Scion holding side so well. And when it got round to those 2-item fights, they didn't have the anti-tank damage to deal with the front line of Top Esports, and that's a bit of a hard one to swallow for them, because it felt like they were actually in a pretty good spot after the early Grubs fight.
Yeah, it was. Cream getting a fair amount of votes. Yeah, he actually had a very good Weaver. He had a very good Talir game as well. I think that's fair, with the exception of getting caught that one time by the double TP, which in fairness, it was a double TP on off vision, so you weren't necessarily expecting two people to jump at you from that angle. I can get that. All the same, became a bit problematic, and again, you went for Annie Wukong plus a Senna, and on the other side, they end up locking in Xin Zhao and Scion. Like, if you don't snowball, if you can't blow up the Lucian and stuff, you do run into the problem that you then have to fight frontline v frontline, and their frontline is just better than yours post a certain point.
Yeah, and I think just the lack of anti-tank damage really hurt them. Senna doesn't kill hyper tanks. She doesn't. She can help another physical damage carry sometimes do that, and I think in the past, like Divine Sunder or Wukong could, but it just wasn't enough here. You'd need a full minute trying to kill that Scion, and it just wasn't possible against that much HP stacked up. So Top Esports walk away with a much more confident game than we've seen from them recently.
That's the one. How you doing now?
I could use another coffee.
That's fine. Do you want to go do that first, or do you want to do the horse girl game and I will get the coffee?
Not going to be as strong. This is something that Team WE does, and I have mixed feelings on it. I think it can leave you without a lot of damage. You need to have a good backline. I mean, the draft that we saw from WE just yesterday was awful, realistically. Zyra Khan for FPX, decent on 2-3. Yeah, that's decent on 2-3 actually. Gives you disengage against the Ornn, very good anti-tank damage. We're seeing the Team WE Trundle Ornn to kind of secure, because it means that the Ornn can't get countered by the Trundle later.
And I suppose you can all knock up on the
Yes,
pillar.
exactly, and you also have that too. I'm actually just going to get myself a coffee.
I've actually got them both on. Yours is currently being made in the kitchen. I was going to get it after draft, so worry not. I've armed and dangerous for you.
And I can play horse girl and a horse game in the break now. I've set that up. I did one race on screen, but I'll do a career while we're in break, folks.
Fabulous, fabulous.
Yeah, I actually have a pretty decent account now. I rolled some very good. I rolled one of the best support cards, which means that I can get like really good stuff. Basically, we're in draft. I don't want to talk about horse girls. God damn it!
I knew it.
The Civet locked in for Jackalope gives them some extra scaling as well. I mean, like Sivir on, that is the scaling front to back combo. You have great engage, you have great damage, you have a tank frontline to stand in front of the AD carry as well. Top esports are the front to back fighters through the tank frontline team within the LPL.
Yeah, and again, Jachi, big Xayah player. A lot of the LDL AD carries were, basically, because a lot of them when they were coming up were part of that meta, which was Jinx Aphelios, with a background in things like the Kai'Sa and the Xayah, and then behind that, you, of course, you had your Lucians and your Samiras and those kinds of things. But basically, anything that allowed you a bit of lane dominance or some hyper carry later on was always a bit of a favourite. And certainly comfort there. And of course, Dway, I'll trust him on a Rakan any day of the week. Something with that snap engage sounds good to me.
Karma for lane dominance to help them get through that as well. Your engage is just on right now, which worries me a bit.
Yeah, it's not fantastic.
And that's not, that doesn't feel that fantastic, really. So
what can you get from mid lane? Is it a Rise angle?
Rise is a bit short range to deal with all this. It's not bad. No, Rise isn't bad, actually, because you can phase rush and get out of the way of a lot of damage. I don't mind that for care.
Syndra, maybe? I suppose
No.
into the Rumble.
That would be, in fact, I think, one of the worst champions they could pick there, because there's Trundle Pillar, Ornn, and also Sivir just presses on and runs you down.
Well, they've got the Ornn.
Now, I know that it looks really good when Nemesis plays it. Not every player is Nemesis.
I was thinking for Cream, basically, because obviously they've got the
sorry for Cream, right?
Yeah,
I was like, if Cat plays that, he'll be worse than the Annie.
It'll be horrible, yeah, no.
They lock the Nocturne in, which
is it Orianna then?
You can do. I mean, it helps you. Yeah, I suppose at that point it is. So what you're trying to do is get to the Sivir and hope that Sivir can't spell shield everything, which she can't, actually. It's not like she's got a Tahm Kench. You need a second damage source now. Cream, what does he go towards? I mean, I don't mind the Rise suggestion which you had earlier, but I guess it's quite low range to play into that.
Okay,
going towards instead. Okay, and you're trying to hope the fact that FPX have 0 tank, which is going to make Trundle worse, by the way. There is no tank stats to steal from them, but that does mean that the Akali can sometimes just dive in and get a ton of damage.
Yeah, and the thing is, the Pillar still has a lot of value. Orianna, Rumble, Xayah all hate the Pillar, especially because it can force you to blow very key cooldowns to get that value. I'll lose Alex for a second too. My coffee's on the side and bring it through, but yours we just finished making. So there you go, I've sent him on the coffee run. It's very helpful. For top esports, effectively, you've got the Akali being backed up by Ornn, by Trundle Pillar, by Sivir, speed-ups and Karma speed-ups to go be a mess in the backline. Your engage is effectively getting someone in the mix and using the fact that the carries are largely immobile to throw down damage and kill. But a little bit of engage. Your Pillar, your Ornn, not exactly bad. Maybe a Karma tether here or there, but it's not exactly a Leona engage, is it? We'll keep our eyes on it. On the other side, of course, Xayah Rakan, Nocturne Orianna. Their engage is just fine. Layering an equalizer, the early power. Pretty scary there with that initial set of ults coming on through for FPX. Turn the camera off. We'll get ready for our game. Number 2 of the day. FPX down 0-1 currently to top esports. In very convincing fashion in game 1. See whether they can strike back in game 2, where the top esports are looking to right the ship after an underwhelming end to Split 2. Nice chunk in there. And there is our crowd for the day. Of course, they're here for a lot of different teams, so solid news there from top esports. Is Jachi forced to ghost early. Ran the ghost last game as well, but just run it with a ricochet. And the back here, I think, should be able to get back to lane early enough, but that's left Dway in an awkward spot. They really want to try and catch, I think, that Xayah recalling in an awkward spot, but is wise enough to get towards that tier 2.
Yeah, Jachi at least not making the mistake of walking up too far and getting the back cancelled again. If that had happened, would have lost minions on the first wave. Losing Ghost, not the worst thing ever. It's in, like, you can lane without Ghost. Now, if that was a heal or a cleanse or something like that, obviously you've lost combat power at that point, but you can still lane with this. But still a mistake from Jachi walking up so brazenly at level 1.
Na'Vi on the Trundle. Here to whack some people down to size.
How hard is it to match Xayah Rakan skins? It is something which I didn't pay that much attention to it, and then Angie started pointing it out to me every time the champions were played without, you know, the right skins. And it's now annoyed me quite a lot, really. Ricochet level 1, definitely going to get prio. Double Mantra Q is going to get a huge chunk as well.
And again, Karma's a weird champion. Doesn't at least in the support role, scale all that well, because to get serious value, she just needs a few more items. And her base, once her base damages fall off, you do end up in a tricky position. But for lane, oh my days, Karma.
Yeah.
Priority machine, my folks.
Kazel asking, why don't you split the map bot lane here? Because Nocturne is really good at defending against that. I know that Trundle is a very good duelist. Nocturne is one of the other best duelists, but only if you walk into him. He's not a Lee Sin where he can hit a Q on you and follow you across the jungle, but if you walk into him, you tend to lose those fights. If you get hit by the Dustbringer, the extra AD that he gets is just so nasty. Hung, very good accuracy with these Mantra Qs, but also Jackie and Dway should not be stacking for those Mantra Qs, giving the double value to the Karma.
And Jackie as well, really good cross angle there to get the Boomerang Blade across 2 at the same time as well. That's multiple AoE skill shots hitting early on and forcing pretty much all the sustain out.
I wasn't convinced by the Karma when it was locked in, because I thought Zyra Khan, good laning duo, we shouldn't really be able to get that much of a leg up on them. But because of the level 1, because of the mispositioning from Jackie and Dway, they have great push in, they have great chunk in. The feather pullback is nice to give them a little bit more presence, but the Qs just keep landing.
And the Ricochet at level 1, yeah, Xayah is pretty good once you get some items and some skills to her, but at level 1 at the very least, the Ricochets are problematic because you can keep just doing this.
Yeah, Jackie has to recall already. Doesn't have a ghost to speed back to lane. FPX is bot lane, making major mistakes in the 2v2, just giving huge openings to Jackie Love and Hung.
Cream gets the Q down, won't find the Shuriken flip. That might have been a nice angle otherwise. Level 4 now coming on through for Cat. Of course, Cream with the Door and Shield heals up a fair amount. And Kanavi looking for a bit of roam through mid lane, as actually is potentially IE coming on down.
Might force the flash with the pillar, but IE is here to defend. I don't think they can go that aggressive.
They're thinking about it. Flash for the chomp. In comes the Twilight Shroud looking to get the thing. The Jericho Whip lands! That means a 5-point strike secures first blood.
Oh, you have to do one of two things. Stand and fight or flash early. Kind of does neither, gets hit. And the double flashes from mid-jungle secure the kill after Care overpushes and is punished.
Can't go for the Scuttle Crab though. The roam down from the Rumble would have been too much to play with, so that's at least picked up by this Nocturne. Trundle will head towards the bot side river and pick up his own Scuttle Crab.
We'll do potentially even look for something on bot side too, because bot lane is pushed up very hard right now. He'll get the Scuttle, clear that quickly, and see if he can disrupt bot lane.
Charge forwards. Actually, the flame's going to go in the wrong direction. 369 gets away with that a little more than he might have done in another scenario. Still, eats a bit of damage on the back end of it. Tether now onto Jachi, who may be forced to flash. Knock up onto the Trundle, still has a pillar to work with. The heal comes on through, and the feather pull doesn't land. It's the heal burn from Hung nonetheless, then.
Goes away from Jachi again, though, and the overpush from bot lane. Punished again. Something which has just become apparent in the first 2 games now is just, flash forward.
Jackie now going to get rooted. Goes from Jackie. Boomerang Blade after. In they go. Can't quite secure the kill, but Hung really feeling it.
And what he's going to do there is deny another wave from Jackie. Potentially, does he have to get the full recall in? I think he will do. He won't be able to cancel. Doesn't cancel the Xayah recall. And that's the important thing. The Rakan doesn't care about it. The Xayah wants to be back in time to get as much CS as possible. It is the cannon minions, so it will die a little bit slower, and there's another wave coming before it. They'll die, the cannon minion will die, they'll miss cannon, but they will at least catch most of this wave because they backed on the cannon wave.
2 minions, 1 being a cannon. 3 minions.
And we'll get the XP for the rest of them and of it. So that is the best you can hope for in that scenario, but still a 20 CS lead from Jackie 11 and Hung. Lane Kingdom from Jackie and Hung.
Which does have a big wave there to catch that. Hopefully gets a bit narrower. Engaged there from Dway, but Cream already in the Twilight Shroud means nothing really to actually put the damage down onto.
All that, well, the most important thing for now is just hitting the Q so you get the extra heal, really. You are pushing up again too far.
Remember, Care doesn't have the flash after the earlier play, gets the heal from that Q. The Gleaming Quill buys some time. Grand Entrance comes on through, but the Shuriken Flip lands. Cream, not at level 6. Will it matter? No, it will not, because the 5-point strike means the Command Dissident speed up means nothing at all.
Care's lane management has been very, very poor in this game. He's had 3 times where he probably should have been killed, and he's ended up dying to 2 of those attempts because he's overpushed without the support from the rest of his map. After missing a couple of crucial tibbers in that first game, Care not having the best series of his life. He's always been a very spiky up and down player, and sadly it looks like we've caught him on the downswing here versus Top Esports, who on the other side of the coin have done very well to punish him. I think Cream has done very well at making sure that he has been over pushed, and that Kanavi and Hung have been there at the right time to punish. As we go into the next phase of game, Jachi, again, still 20 CS down. That is a problem. Design needs to be the lion's share of the damage now that the Orianna has been killed so many times. You've got 20 CS lead in bot lane. You've got 2 kills on mid laner, FPX's carries who need to be doing a hell of a lot of work to cut through the Trundle and the Ornn later on, especially with Karma Shields involved, is a bad platform for FPX to team fight from later.
Very much is. Yes. Up 1,000 gold, largely through bottom mid. And a 2-0 Dark Seal stacking Cream on Akali should scare you, especially when we said, look, the engage is limited. But your target access, quite high. Double speed ups from the bot lane on the hunt. The Mantra of Ease. You've then got Trundle and Ornn to try and set up a pillar, and then Cream just goes careening into the backside. And if you're strong enough individually, you've got 3, maybe even 4 if you count the Nocturne, 4 key carries here that you can just run at who, without flash, don't actually get to escape from you that easily. A Featherstorm and a Prayer.
Poppy Sports, their early game has been very, very good here. And the worry for me is just how do FPX play in the mid game with so little lane pressure? Again, that's what happened last game where mid lane fell apart because Jashi was getting out-traded by Jakilov. Jakilov had an awesome series just the other day as well. He's had some very good moments in his first few series back into this split. Obviously a player that is very beloved here in the LPL. Has had some of the very highest highs that AD carries can ever dream of. And also had some very visible lows on the other side of it too. He's one of the most entertaining players because of that. She's going to get pillared back. Let's see if the charge lands. No, it doesn't because of the flash away.
Still flash earned there from the Rumble for a drive-by, so to speak. Roadworks come on down, and Sheer has to take a detour.
Herald up. Ooh, not an Orianna available.
There's the Knockwave combo, getting a decent chunk there onto the front line of that jungler. Will go down, but now Cream is here in the backside. Goes sliding on through everyone. Perfect execution. Gets 2. Care trying to trade it on back for the Bellows Breath. And a triple kill to Akali.
5-0 for Cream's Akali. A famous pick for him. He's played it ever since his debut and has always been praised for it. We said there was a worry about FPX's comp that they'd picked no tanky members. It helps against the Trundle because he can't steal stats, but it means Akali has so many options to assassinate.
Well, there's a rumbling, there's a gurgling, lactose intolerance I think FPX might be this game. This Akali looks deadly indeed.
Would you like your Akali with dairy or not? Yes, I would. The equalizer's not bad here, the combo's okay, but all the damage goes onto the Trundle. There's nothing left for the Akali, and when you get the, the not insignificant burst damage of an Ornn combo coming through, the Akali can clean up from that. 41 HP was the lowest that the Ornn got there, and Akali just got to free hit the entire fight.
Tried to get the kill with the Command Protect recall, but on back steps it can't get it. That would have been the kill early on, remember. Command Protect actually does more damage than Command Attack for a little while. It's a little hard to land, obviously, but if you can get it to drag through some people, can be pretty valuable there. And won't quite find it this time around.
Fight in the bot side, Cream getting into the back and doesn't have ult this time.
Does he need it? Because Hung comes on over. He's still got the tether on Jachi. Now going back on forwards. Has the Shuriken flip. Cream now onto Care. Just autoing away. Another 5-point strike can come on through shortly. Won't burn it quite yet. FPX now low. Jachi, no ghost, no ult. I think they just have to give this up.
Yeah, Jway ends up losing his summoners as well. I wonder whether Jachi could have positioned his ult a little better there to get the pair that pull back through the choke point. Ended up being to the side, so we couldn't put any extra damage down. And Top Esports, they're not giving breathing room to FPX. What can you do? They're losing their lane super hard, and feels like FPX just have zero presence. What are they going to do? Hope that Top Esports messes up and gives them a chance to get 2 items or so? What?
They have presence.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't that great. I'm sorry about that.
It's like Darth Vader, knowing what you got him for Christmas.
Yeah.
I can feel your presence.
Yes, I can sense your presence. Cream now potentially looking for a Shuriken flip angle there. There's another turret plate going towards the Akali. That will hit a melee minion with the Shuriken flip.
No, it's just, that's the only under tower poke you can do as Akali, where you Q flip backwards before the tower hits you. It's literally the only thing you can do. It's really good with Alternator when you have that.
Yeah.
It procs that on it too, but that's about as good as it gets. She's gonna get comboed out by the Ornn, and yeah, Ornn's got hands. He do be doing some damage.
Hang on, this is gonna get a bit interesting. No flash, Equalizer comes on down. It'll be Equalizer for Ornn Horn trades.
And Top E's also happy with that. They are so far ahead and they are passively winning lanes. As long as FPX don't have their big combo, which might be able to break the pressure. I think top esports are very happy. So trading ult for ult, I think top esports at this point in the game, always happy to do so.
I mean, the thing that worries me here is about the Ornn is up in CS by like, what, 2 waves, wave and a half? That is not pretty.
No, it is not. It's not the pretty derby either, you know.
Stop it.
You know, 369, really the, what is he? He's the, I don't know, there's the knockwave.
There's your front of the pack runner doing some work, and the featherball comes on through. Glue in the mid lane.
Yeah, and Silent Suzuka comes through with the view from the lead is mine, gets the combo through, his hung goes down.
Stop this.
No, nay, I say.
No.
Nay.
Get him help.
Get him out of here. Cream. Ooh. Missing the shuriken flip. Shockwave back now. Okay, taking a decent trade now.
Does Cream feel like he can get some more value flashes? The command attack distance would have been in danger.
It's a really good trade, actually. Care getting the shockwave on the way back, just spacing out the 5-point strikes as well to deny movement speed and damage from the Akali. Good trade there from Care.
Still got the door and shield. It actually ends up ticking up a bit more than perhaps they might otherwise have done, but IE is here. Can maybe look to punish Cream if he overplays this. Won't. Look to reset shortly, but that is very good work there from Care in a game that has largely fallen away from FPX.
It is. They need moments like that. IE does have ult, has members coming towards him.
As well, the tether comes on down, the unspeakable horror. TP now coming on forward, and speaking of unspeakable horror, thy name is Akali, looking for some damage. Rocket Bell into the perfect execution. Nocturne ends up dead, can't quite get the R2 execute on the way out. D2 survives this time around.
Man, this Astromech droid just saved our fight. Cream comes in with the R2, 6-0, 10-stack Dark Seal. And it really begs the question, who is the C-3PO of top esports if Cream is the R2?
369 probably.
Oh my
Done
god.
with all their crap.
369PO.
Right.
Oh, I'm trying to think of it. And suddenly, I can't think of any C-3PO quotes in this one.
What does that make Kanavi?
That's a very good question, Sam. Oh, Obi-Wan Kenobi!
Obi-Wan Kenobi! It's all there, Liz.
All I know is old Ben Kenobi. Ben heard that name in a long time. You know Obi-Wan Kenobi? Of course I know him. He's me.
Oh, my days. Hung Solo? No! It's all working!
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Who's Jackie then?
No, Sam, I need time to think. This has got to be right, you know, to complete off the set. Jesus. Yeah. Anyone in chat have any final Star Wars related name for Jack?
Love Skywalker.
Love Sky. Oh god, that actually works. I don't have any follow up on that. We peaked, Sam. We peaked. That's it. We peaked. That's it.
The thing is, the cream one only works if he's playing Akali, for the record, because you need the R2 reference.
Well, I mean, he plays a lot of Akali, and it works
It's
in
true.
this instance. So
That's
you
true.
know. I'll take it for now. Take it for now. Massive gold lead for top esports, kind of playing with their food. Cream has completely taken over this game, and every so often you were reminded that Cream did rise to prominence on the OMG roster, which allowed him to play every single melee assassin in the sun. His Silas, Yone, Akali were the trifecta of doom. His LeBlanc was great too. He started shifting more into mages with stuff like the Victor and the Ahri, and he played mainly like Karma, bits of his ear for top esports when he joined them. We thought, okay, it's a new era. Here comes the knockwave.
Trying to make it happen. Just get onto 2. Flash away from Hung by some time, but there's a good kill nonetheless onto the Karma. Trying to make this one now a turnaround. Pillar comes onto Vai, who can't escape. Ornhorn onto Dwayne, knocks him up. Is there more of a follow-up? Where is Cream? Coming around the back end of this. Dwayne could now be in a lot of danger. Or if Care face checks, they don't know the Akali is here. Finally spotted.
I think as soon as you pull the Ornhorn there and the rest of the team's out, the play reasonably disintegrates. But when there's a 6-kill Akali, you do just have to keep your ears perked up because that champion can do some silly things. FPX, not bad there. Getting 2 out of that play is not... Was it 2? Was it just the 1? I think it was just the 1, actually.
The 1. It was a 1 for 1.
And they lose taken low. Harold taken down. Sheer not able to follow up more than that. FX, yeah, trading 1 for 1 there after spending so much hurts, and here comes the Akali again.
Oh, Jachi's in danger. Has to flash, and understandably so. There are 10 stacks on that Dark Seal. He is become sour on this game. Just 700 gold or so, purely from that. Not end up face checking anyone he shouldn't. Gets away with it.
FPX has to be so respectful. The envelope they have to play within this game is very, very small. They can occasionally find the Shockwave Nocturne combo. Sometimes you can get that. It's hard to get through the heal and through the shields of the Karma. It will be the mid lane outer turret going down. Top Esports will claim another objective. But FPX, every time they don't get everything they come for in the engage, the slap back from Top Esports is incredibly strong. You've got a Kali flanking, and he's going in for the ult.
Oh boy, there's another flash end.
And Cat has to be so careful. You see, he had that one trade on bot side which worked out well for him, but it's very hard to get it. Besides that, Connive will bully wage away. Very hard to actually get the Rakan down when he still has his WE and extended E range desire away from him. But FPX, where can they play? There's vision all in their side of the jungle. Nocturne can go nowhere unseen.
That's it. And again, you will have the Knockwave combo up again. And again, it's not my call to name, the pros will call it that. It's the nickname that's been decided upon by the pro player community. I'm sorry, Arisuri, who's like, why not Power Wave or Shadow Shot? Which would also be cool, I grant you. But alas, take it up with Whippo and crew. Dragon secured. The bounty for top lane was at least taken by FPX, but they are still down 4k. The majority of which is split between mid and jungle, which is very concerning, because you've gone for a dive comp, and the Trundle's ahead, so you dive into him, you don't kill him, and then he runs at you as you try to escape, because that's the problem with the Nocturne this game. It's a one-way journey.
You know, I really, really need EDG to play the Knockwave combo, because then at that point, it's actually just like it's Orianna Giratina combo. So you've got Palkia in the bot lane, you have Giratina in the jungle, the Lord of Darkness, and you've got to find somehow to get. You need Zillion in there too.
Zillion, that's it.
You need Zillion or Echo for the Dialga trifecta.
And then that's true. Then can you get like Kyogre and Groudon in somehow?
Well, Groudon is, I don't know, fire. I mean,
Maybe Ornn?
either Ornn is close, or Malphite, one of those two.
Then do we have a whale?
Less so. Oh, could you imagine a whale champ? Be so cool.
That would be cool.
Like,
Big
imagine
whale ult.
No, but like you know the what's his name from Genshin, the guy with the whale ult. Child. If imagine like that kind of whale, just like the giant kind of imposing one.
from Marvel Rivals, it just throws a whale at someone.
That's right. Ooh, here comes the shockwave.
That's big damage. Going to get damage onto the AD carry. Jackie God taken away, but now Kanavi and 369 looking to trade it back. Nice Shuriken flip. Dway will put the quickness down. Equalizer comes on forward. Scream want to go on forward. The Sheer goes over the wall. Flex Spitter coming on through with a redemption heal is going to be brutal. That means Sheer has gone too deep. Over goes Cream, looking for a bit more value. Won't find that much. Another massive knockup, though. Featherstorm immunes that at least for Jachi, who gets to keep firing. Cream blow. Gets one on the way back out.
2 for 2 at the end of things. FPX feeling like they could get more with the Sivir going down at the start of the fight, but I think they overstay their welcome a little too much. Sheer flashing in too far. I guess the mentality is, if not now, then when? That's the play you can use. Yeah, the Giratina combo comes out, and removes the Sivir, who is way too far from the team. They can't get the shutdown onto the Akali, though. That would be a really good prize to get to someone on their team. Atakam's going to spawn. FPX don't have the combo up again. Well, they just about have the combo up for the Orianna, but they won't have the Xayah ult, which is so crucial to their disengage.
What they will have is 2 smites. Dway's got a smite, IE's got a smite. If they can find a way in here, 2 relatively mobile players could potentially cause some trouble. Paranoia not up there will make IE's job very hard.
They're not even contesting.
Yeah.
They're not moving towards it. They're, you see Nocturne getting pinged out on the minimap as well. Top Esports have just pinged him out, maybe knowing that he was just out. He just cleared a ward out. Atakam will go to Top Esports, and that will increase the amount of petals they have and the value of them, 31 to 6, plus getting the extra 25% value as well. Go back to a replay of this. Jackalev way too far from his teammates. The Nocturne only at the level 1 ultimate, but still gets in range somehow. That's actually incredible. I thought that's just on the edge of range. That's a bit of a harsh one, actually. I thought Civ would be safe from that. And then play after this, you think, well, I've still got the Fat Akali, Top Esports can still a fight. And then Top Esports go into the choke point against the Xayah. The only reason this fight is not a wash, and with Akali cleaning everything up, is because Jachi has a really good ult through the knockup of 369, puts Feathers down into the choke point, which causes a huge amount of issues for Top Esports.
Jachi had an ult of that would have been a 4-man knockup, but I think things could have got very interesting. Very clutch there from Jachi, who's not had an easy game on this side, straight from the level 1. Is now at least 2-0-1, hasn't died this game. Maybe a turnaround with the Knockwave combo, gets good damage, and that's a shutdown on Kanavi. Suddenly finding an angle. Ornhorn comes through though, and again, we said it's often a one-way journey. 1 for 1 right now, but support for jungle probably still favors FPX.
Well, funnily enough, it's not the guy going on the one-way journey that dies. Jway just tries to get the extra tap with the quickness, tags someone else into the play, and another fight now where FPX have the initial good entry, then overstay. Jway is the one that falls down this time after trying to chase away. FPX, though, punishing the flashless Trundle well and making sure the jungler is off the map for the setup of the dragon and gives them, again, just a little bit more breathing room and potentially a bit of time to recharge that shotgun, the big combo, to at least the big routes.
Also, slightly frustrating here, of course, some of the ornaments beginning to come on through. Cream has got a lot of damage in between. There's a Shadow Flame there. Kill on the Rumble, 12 seconds until Dragon.
He didn't even need the Astromech droid. R2, he's got a bit of a holiday, some paid time off. Doesn't need to be used there. Stop Esports. They just see the Akali pop off again. 2,500 gold lead, 9-0-0. Cream's Akali, a legendary game for him.
Getting a Verdant Barrier in as well, just to stop himself getting picked off so freely from things like the Orianna and the Nocturne combos. Onto the Dragon we go.
Dragon being started down. Also a bit of housekeeping news as well. Uzi's wife is pregnant.
Oh,
Congratulations to him as well.
congratulations to Uzi.
Dragon to go down, smotes it away. Jway trying to use the spell, but not able to do so. But congratulations to the icon himself, Uzi. He will be first-time father, I believe. First child on the way. Congrats to him.
Off the Rift, anyway.
He's fathered many and he carries on it for sure. Cream going about on his way again. Has the upgrade. Oh man, he's got the upgraded boots as well. He's got the Spell Slinger's shoes, which give them the percent and for extra flat.
How does one sling with your feet?
Well, there are people who can do archery with their feet.
That's true.
Some people do it
That's
as like
true.
party tricks,
I
which
can
is
say-
really, really cool. You can do a handstand and you can.
Can you do archery with your feet, Alex?
Yes, but very badly.
Ah.
So no.
So no.
No. I mean,
so you just lied to me.
no. You said, could I do it? Technically, yes. I
okay.
wouldn't be able to hit a target. I'm not bad at that.
I had to have this conversation with Jamar the other week, and he said either I'm telling the truth or I'm lying. And I was like, what? What do I do with this statement? So then the desk had to have a whole segment trying to break down whether Jamar was telling the truth or just actively lying.
About doing archery with his feet?
Well, no, not about archery with feet, just in general. Because obviously the question was because he can never be wrong. It's either he's lying or
right. Yeah. Or he's rage baiting.
Yeah,
Occasionally does that too.
That's true. It is
Tell you
Jamar.
what,
He's bestowed an award, by the way.
But the problem is, he's not someone you can punish with the combo, so that's kind of bad.
Is that the truth or are you lying?
Is it truth or shrubbery?
Truth or shrubbery? I require
No.
shrubbery.
Bob Mortimer and Joyce will know. They're arming up the combo again. Oh, 369's really caught out now.
I think he might have been lying. I think he can be picked up by the combo, potentially going very low and down. What about the rest of the fight, though? After Cream on the side, going into the backline, looking to get a huge amount of threat. Don't care. In danger, flashes to no avail. The mid jungle fall for FPX.
369 goes down, but it's not worth it. Jaculov trading back heavily. Jachi has flash popped that ghost, and Top Esports again finding a little bit more out of the fight after the initial combos down from FPX.
10-0-1 on the Akali. He's a bit of a menace.
Bit is understating it a little bit. 10 stack Darcy. Get yourself some reading material, Cream. Get that Magi's. Top Esports will break the mid lane inhibitor turret on the next wave. They'll break top lane inhibitor on this one. Top Esports exploding their gold lead even more. 7k the advantage.
Dragon up in 2.5 minutes. They're at Soul Point. They are very, very scary. I wouldn't be surprised to see Akali just pick up the Medjais at this point. But instead just goes safe, picks up the Banshees, happy enough with the buy.
I would have built the Magi 7. I mean, Jachi, good on him for just gunning down 369. It's good DPS onto the Ornn, and that opens up the opportunity to drop the Equalizer into a choke point. Still think this is not the combo you want. I love how Top Esports don't stack on top of the low health Ornn. It's quite obvious that the combo is going there, and they make sure that they don't get a multi-man combo. And Care forgets the first rule of horror movies: you never separate. If you go alone, you die. You are the person going down the alleyway and getting attacked by the zombie, and he dies for the attempt.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, I don't blame FPS for trying. They've got to pick these lower percentage plays because, let's be real, the rest of the game ain't any higher. The making plays is step one to finding a way back. And you've still got 3 kills on the Orianna. The Xayah's still farming well, got a few kills of her own. You are starting to get some damage coming on through, especially if the Xayah can finish up her 3rd item. We'll still realistically want an Infinity Edge, I suspect, after all of this. But hey, you've got to work with what you've got to work with, and this is the position you're in. It's 20% place, not 50.
Also,
for sure.
interesting from IE as well, going for both the hex plate and the stride breaker. Almost every single Nocturne game, you get one or the other, because you really need something like a Black Cleaver or a Starix, depending after that point. But he really wants as powerful ultimates in that initial burst as possible, and he wants it as available as possible. It's all about that first shotgun. Everything else falls apart. Now he's 2k down. Obviously, he's not going to be able to stand in the fight that much. Cream has flash, has ult, has 3 items.
Ooh, that was a very smart command attack over the wall. Bringer comes on forward from IE. And I appreciate the last fight where they tried to use, they tried to bait with the paranoia to expect the shockwave would come on the Nocturne. Instead it came on the flanking Rakan. It just wasn't enough. You have got to start getting creative, and I don't blame them for looking. Far side alteration. Just check to see whether the Baron was started. It wasn't. 30 seconds on Dragon.
But down one lost to Bro. That's incredible.
That's Bro, right? That's expected.
I mean, Bro are, in fact, the best team in the world. The reason why they don't qualify for international events is because they realize how unfair it would be.
It's very true. The rest of us would cry.
Yeah, much like the Jin Air teams of the past, you know, just you have to, you have to believe in them enough to see the upset, but also be steadfast enough to understand they will never go international.
Little Nas bro walking for him, you know? It's just the trick.
Soul now on the table for top esports. Dragon spawning. FPX, how the hell do you work your way through this? There is a Lord Dominic's regards onto Jachi. He can DPS the front line down. Well, now, however, Sivir, if she gets to auto attack, those ricochets will just end the game, and Cream is threatening to do exactly the same on this ultra fed Akali.
Here we go. Paranoia comes on down. Pops that Banshee's Veil, going into the backline, looking for some more value. Now going to get to force the flash away, stays alive. Tway went looking, gets a bit of an entrance, he gets back out. Dragon secured though by Kanavi. Jachi up into the air. Ocean Soul now rolling as 369 begins to careen forwards. The feathers are full, but it's a triple kill to Kanavi, who's hunting for more. Trundle, the long arm of the Troll Law, looking for the pentakill!
The Trundle pentakill from Kanavi, the one-man army, seals the game for top esports in an incredible show of power from the jungle.
He is the one-man army. It's been his nickname, and he went from 1 and 2 to 6 and 2, and suddenly it's all about him.
I mean, gets the smite, gets the pentakill, his second ever, I believe, and his last one was back in 2023. We're also on Trundle.
What is it with Trundles and Pentas?
If he had a dime, every time he got a penta on Trundle versus FPX, he'd have 2 dimes, which is so weirdly specific. Gets himself a ton of gold, 4,000. He has now got more gold over his opponent than Cream has. I have no idea how that happened. Kanavi, welcome back. Had a bit of an off series for his first 2 in, but this one's looking great in this game.
Towards the Baron we go, top esports. It is now a victory lap, isn't it? It felt like that for a little while. We'll have a look again to see exactly how Kanavi picked up his second penta.
Initially, I thought, okay, well, you know, the Ornaut's been stopped. Maybe that's something they can play around, but then Cream gets caught out too low HP. You think, okay, both solo laners' ults have been kind of meh. And then the extra damage from Jachi is just not really there onto the backline. And you can just see how hard it is to actually get damage onto Jaculov's Sivir, and the cleanup of Kanavi just runs him down.
You can't watch the rest of the replay because top esports
they're ending the game.
Yeah, they're not taking any breaks here. The crazy train keeps rolling, and a shout out to our dear lost Prince of Darkness, Ozzy Osbourne out there, for the way of the day. Well, there'll be a few more references to Black Sabbath occurring over the next few days. I have no doubt.
Well, top esports have already been faced with not just the paranoia, but paranoid as well from that. FPX sadly not making a #1 hit from that one. As yeah, top esports doing a very good job of making sure they can close out this game.
Well, in general, Darde's gone, but they're still gathering in their masses in this bot lane, looking to ensure they lead the armies of minions into the base. Jachi chunk low, paranoia coming on through, but to what end? Where's it going?
And the equalizer does nothing. So little. Top esports, they're going to try and... Well, Cream just dodges the shockwave.
And he just gets to stay alive. He's looking for more. Nice vision toggle. Cares in danger. Shuriken flip just wide, but the horn comes on through. Jachi up into the sky. Cream with another massive chunk. And they just get a triple. It's not going to be any more for Jackie. You just wonder whether it was that kind of game. Ends up being something of a full house. A quadra to Jackie Love, as they'll end the game here in stylish fashion.
Top esports run into the enemy base and take no prisoners. Fun plus Phoenix will not be rising from the ashes. Top Esports stamp their authority in this series and clean it up 2-0.
Sets them to a 3-series record. Looking very scary. Not perfect, obviously, the other day, but today, that's what we were asking for. Much better stuff from a team that is supposed to be one of the very best in the league.
Yeah, Top Esports, we criticized them for not having clean series before this. This game, and rightfully called out in chat as well, I was saying, hey, in draft, the Trundle's not going to have that much value against the non-tanks. Trundle, 30 minutes later, ends up getting a pentakill. So what do I know about League of Legends sometimes, right? Sometimes it's just a Kanavi diff. Sometimes it's a Top Esports diff. FPX, I think their laning firepower was really called into question this series. I think they were just bluntly diffed across the map. I think,
Game 2 in particular was
369 was beating up Sheer in laning phase. Cream was destroying Care in lane positioning. And of course, the 2v2 was really good from Top Esports too. A very confident series.
And I think, the early game, we have to shout out Hung and Jackie for their very, very oppressive lane. Jackie was kept out of it. Then we look mid lane and the Trundle and the Akali start rolling over it. And then it kind of just gets worse from there. Ornn was up 20 CS against a Rumble. I know there was that one gank where the Rumble goes down. And of course, that's where Cream ends up with effectively a 5-kill Akali. It just kind of gets really worse from there. But still, very tricky. And I think it's going to be a bit frustrating one for Kanavi. For all that he picked up the pentakill, I suspect Cream is the one that gets MVP regardless, because it was an immaculate looking.
Okay, we'll do a campaign. I'm just wondering which one. Ooh, I might actually be able to get a better. Ooh, one of these two is fine. Let's go special weight just because I haven't used them as much. Try and get affinity bonus. That's not bad.
Question, that gonna be alright for a title?
No, because the spoiler's in the title. You've literally put the spoiler in the title. You can put Trundle Penta in LPL, or but you've literally just said which player gets it, so it would be. Ooh, that's really good.
I mean, the question is just. But I guess the question is, really does Penta mean that it's a one game?
No. Yes, but that's fine. But you don't tell. But you're saying which player and therefore which team won.
But it doesn't actually mean that Penta wins you the game.
No, just don't do it. Just say Trundle Penta with an LPL, and that'll be fine.
对，我们要恭喜滔博战队拿下了今天这场比赛的胜利，有请到的是上单选手
No, I
369。
don't.
你好，先跟大家打个招呼吧。
大家好，我是滔博369。
欢迎九哥，今天呢，恭喜你们，首先是取得了3连胜，而且今天是以2比0这样的比分轻取对面 FunPlus， 继续领跑积分榜。
You always, yeah. If you get a friend with Kidsan Black, this card is super broken.
What does that card do?
It gives you a lot of very good events and some very good skills. This is just the card set I'm running right now. But, I mean, there are plenty of events you can do. This is fine. I need a better speed card, but I just don't have that right now. This one I kind of need. Maybe I get rid of this for another speed. No, do I have another speed one? I don't really. Oh, I got this one. Yeah, that's fine. This is fine. So that means I get 3 speed this way. Perfect. That's fine. Cool.
好好休息一下呀，调整一下呀。
养精蓄锐，这个也是非常的重要的啊。那想问问，今天其实刚刚有聊到，第一局和第2局都用的是比较肉的英雄，并且第一局用的 MVP。那对于偏前排和偏输出这样子的英雄，在上单位上的话，你自己更喜欢哪种呢？
Oh, sorry, I planted check. Okay, so we get training. Ooh, 4 on speed is perfect start actually. So you always want to train for friendship at first if you can. I still got half one, so I'm good for now. 2 is good there. I really want this for... If you get swinging Maestro, you are completely set. So if you get the hints from that character, from... Ramp Up's also very good, actually. Ramp Up is very good. I need some... Hang on a second. I need to...
好，大家也是非常的友好和团结。那
Dance less than what you get from that.
其实今天还有可能要
Guts or stamina, we always go stamina. Guts is useless stat.
这个本赛段的五杀的。
Why is the LPL during my horse game? That's a great question.
想问问当时的情况，大家语音里面有什么沟通吗
This is... You know what? No, we keep going... No, we keep going speed. Actually, I was wondering whether we go for recreation at that point. But I think this is fine. Skill points or power? I actually think skill points are really good. Because there are a lot of skills which I want on most characters, really. And it helps you get away with not training. I don't want to go guts, but 3 is really good for friendship. Getting a bit tired. 15%, that's fine. We can rest for this one. 150, that's good. Speed. Everyone needs speed. Some people need different combos of power and the other one. Should probably get a little bit of that. Ooh. Again, I really do want to get that up, but... It's okay, this is fine. This gives... Pink tends to give scale points. Oh, practice perfect, perfect, awesome. Practice perfect is awesome. It means that you get less chance of failure on practicing, which is really, really good. Let's get a little bit more power. Wait, what kind of character are you? You late surge? Pace chaser? Late and pace, okay, so you do need some power. 2 on power is decent. Also gives you some stamina as well when you do power, which is a good thing. What is that? I have no idea what that event is. Ooh, second one, what's that do? The front round, not a front runner, so I don't care about that as much. I actually think this is good just because I want the extra skill points. Three left, 14%. We'll go for the 15%, just because there's 4 on it. Come on, come on, come on. Let's go. Nice. Failing that would have felt really bad. No, we rest now. We rest. And you recover by 7 or 70. Awesome, cool. Because you get either 30, 50, or 70 on your energy regen. 4 on that, perfect. You just want to get maxed early as possible, because that allows you to get like rainbow training, which gives you really good stats up. Trainer's handbook is I think that's good, isn't it? Okay, it's 237 skill points. It's really good for this point. Ramp up is good. Hydrate is really good too, though. I definitely want Hydrate at some point, but this is fine for now. Because that'll cover the fact that I don't have as much stamina. And you really want Swinging Maestro. Swinging Maestro kind of fixes any kind of game. And we get to our first race. Number 1 favorite. Good in all stats. Let's go. Maybe I should have gone pace. If I go pace, then it means I don't get caught in the packet late. That might have been a mistake. Because if you get clumped in with the other one of the ways you can like do worse in early races before you get enough power is you're gonna get crowded out. Run, little horse girl. Okay, we have... What's the skill that we got again? Ramp up, right. Ramp up's pretty easy to activate in this kind of thing. That's a point. If I'd gone pace, I wouldn't have been able to get ramp up, I don't think. Go get him, horse girl. This shit is so addictive, by the way. It's very easy to get emotionally invested in the success of your horse girl of choice. So we're faster than everyone else in pace, which is good. We should be winning this, like, no diff, really. But we're playing a late surge, we're playing a late surge comp, so... Oh, this could be really weird having, like, all of the stuff overlapping as in terms of volume. Come on, horse girl. And we're in Xi'an for the second series. And her ult is when you overtake someone on the last corner, I'm pretty sure. I've learned more about Japanese horse racing in the last 2 weeks than I ever thought I would ever do in my life. Yeah, same, honestly. Okay, so now we get the late surge. Hope we get the ult from this. There we go. Shooting star's really good. And this is the animation, which you want the animations. Oh my god, magical girl transformation. Perfect. Special week. Oh shit, she's actually just caught. I don't know if she has the power to win this now. That's really bad if we lose debut. Okay, we're good. Okay, we're good. Holy crap, though, it got close. I think. Oh, no, no, no. Is she losing it? Oh, shit. We actually lost the debut race. That's fucking awful. Oh, God, we've actually just thrown the fucking campaign. Oh, Jesus. That's really bad. Oh, shit. We should have gone with, I knew we should have gone with pace. Oh, that's so bad. I knew we should have gone with pace. I knew that would be a problem. Oh, I'm an idiot. It's a pain. That's really not good, actually. I am big stupid. Should have checked that. I just normally assume that pet debut is fine. God, that's really fucking bad. Speed, perfect, 4 on speed. Well, we can make up for it just by doing this stuff. Okay. That's a very bad start. I don't think I've ever come 5th on a debut before. I should have known that we didn't have enough power for that. Okay, that's good. We need to get a big race at some point. Can we only race in maidens until then? Maybe we can. Oh, Jesus, really? So we're gonna have to do another one soon anyway. This is okay. I do want to get some extra training in when it's good training. Sure, that's okay, actually. Actually, don't mind this for now. Should we get rainbow training already? We try it, we try it, we try it. 18%, we try it, we try it, we try it. Nice, cool. Okay, now we look for a race. Now we look for a race. And I think we just look at the results of this, because we should be fine. Change the pace. Best, okay. That we should have gone pace. God damn it, we should have just gone pace. 1 by 4 lengths, perfect. 5th in debut. Blech. It's fine, extra 500 fans, perfect. Cool. This gives energy back, right? Hang on, what does it do? Early afternoon, something or other. What does it do? Yep. And we really need that whole... Wait, we can race if we want. I actually wonder if we do this, just because we've got very low energy, and we can do this anyway, basically for free with energy. We should be okay with this now, right? Yeah. I just want to get some more fans, because getting more fans means you can level up your ult earlier. Also, by racing, you get more... what was I gonna call it? You get more ults and skill points. And we'll watch this race. Come on, girly! So what we're looking to do is pass someone mid-race and it'll activate map ramp up. I don't know if we've got the width for it to always open up, but it's pretty good. And then if we overtake someone on the last corner, which is likely with the styles that we run as, we get our ult, which is a very strong ult. So we're a pace chase. Yeah, we got ramp up, that's good. Most people won't have that many skills at this kind of level of race. They do get their own skills later on, but yeah. Oh, so annoyed about that debut race. This lost us a lot of pace in this early game. Normally we wouldn't be able to run in the races like this because this is a mile, which she's normally not as good at. But one of our inspirations, one of the horses we used to inspire then had miles in aptitude, so it worked out pretty well. Yeah, yes, that sounds good. Should be. Okay, can we get the... ult? There we go, and the ult should steal this now, yeah. Because again, most people don't get their ults at this kind of level either. Okay. It's actually gonna get pretty close. I don't know, that might be a second. That's not great if it's a second. Okay, we get second, not great. I don't think I had the stamina for that. Okay. Still, we did it on low energy, we'll get some extra skill points. This is not the best start to a campaign I've ever had. We do this just for the random... Yeah, cool. Timing and strategy, that gives you home stretch haste, I think it is. Cool. Now we must rest. This is good as well. You get a corner adapt, straightaway adapt? Yeah, straightaway adapt is very... 3 hint levels? Awesome! That's a very, very good one to get. So we definitely want that. We will then also want hydrate as well at some point. Front runner, we don't want that one. Home stretch haste is very good though, as well. Straightaway adapt's the best one because you almost always activate that. 2 on that. I actually think we won a little bit. This gets us to rainbow on one of them. Yeah, that's good. That's fine. This one is the best one, I think. Level head. We're not going to get that skill, but it's 40%. Nah, we can't justify that. Oops, 30 up. Okay, that's okay though. Do we friendship max here? I think we do. And we're really looking for Swinging Maestro at some point. Swinging Maestro is the kind of thing which kind of breaks the game. Four on speed. We try it 12%. It's a little bit harsh, but nice. It's good. We're getting really good stats now. Mood went down. Oopsies. 50's good. Can I... Done this there? Do that. Oh, I didn't unmute the other thing. Rainbow training on speed, pretty good. We're getting a lot of good stats at least. Ooh, this is pretty. This gives us 1-up stat. No, this gives energy. This gives us skill points. Skill points are pretty good to go after, I think. 3% failure. Yeah, we do it. Okay. Nice! That's a very, very good skill to get. That's very, very good. Then do we rest? Or... We didn't get... corner adapt also very, very good to get. Hydrate's not bad. But also I want discounts on it if I can get it. Let's rest. We get an event through this? Nice. It's good. Ah, no Swinging Maestro. Let's just predict, see if we need to buy anything just yet. We should be okay, right? Top contender? We don't need any extra, we don't need any extra skills then, because I just want to make sure that we get to... If we get to April... Okay, we'll do one more race, and then we'll get into a game. I know that obviously a lot of people aren't here for fucking horse girl game, but it's nice to do in the breaks, right? Skip the intros, and I might have to speed it up towards the end if it goes long. Okay, so what do we have now? We have Ramp Up, which is pretty good. What else do we have? Actually, I can't remember the other skill we got. Did we get another skill? Did we buy another skill yet? I am so ADHD gaming right now. Okay, being a pace chaser means we're less likely to get boxed in the pack, which is often how you lose a lot of these races, really, because often you just have so many stats it doesn't matter. Major on the queen. Okay, this is where ult starts kicking, I think. Or is it next corner? We didn't get any of our skills, but our stats are so good it shouldn't matter too much. Come on, there we go. Ult's good, ult's good. What is this? This is horse game. This is Umu Musume, which is gacha horse racing game, but the horses are not horses. It's, yeah, a lot of people have been playing it recently. I've been playing it. It's surprisingly complicated. Okay, we actually trained a lot more stamina this time, so we should... Ooh, I don't know. Do we have the stats for this? Oh, I don't know. I don't know if we win this one. Ah, shit. We're just not getting... I don't know. We're just not getting the first place. Getting second with fucking everything. Yeah, exactly, Senka. Yeah, for sure. I've been trying Pace Chaser because of that. That's annoying getting second, actually. That is actually really annoying. I thought I had the stats for this stuff. Maybe not. I guess I didn't proc my skills that time, which is annoying. Getting top 5 is still fine, though. Now, this just isn't going to be like a fantastic career. We'll still be able to complete it, but it's not going to be, you know, top tier. Do we have anything to friendship max? That's not awful. Are there any other big races we can do? No. Okay, we're going to draft anyway. Perfect. Good time to stop things. Let's get rid of that, and let's get into the draft for our second series of the day, WBG versus Weibo. I know I hadn't talked that much about it, but we can talk about it now. So, Weibo, have Crisp back. Crisp is back on the roster, which is a huge thing. For, it's a huge change. Hung left, has gone over to top esports. Hung playing quite well in that last series, but he was playing awfully for Weibo. You understand why Weibo wanted to part ways with him potentially. Chris going back to the roster has raised some questions about Light and Chris playing together again. Apparently they didn't want to play together again. And yet, here they are. What's available? Varus let through. Rumble is up too, so you have to split the duo. You can't get Varus and Rumble. Does Breathe just take it? I don't want to give over the Rumble, presumably. Now, Breathe could play the Ambassador into it, which could be okay, but I think you take it pretty obviously, right? Taking a good Varus player, so it's a risk. Give that over, but...
Question, do we want to restart the TikTok? I know we were debating doing...
try now, yeah.
Alright, guys.
There's only 4 people watching it.
We're going to restart the live because we're starting a new series, so back in a second. Do come join us again.
How's pre-roll looking? Oh, did I forget to do pre-roll? Yeah, I did. Oopsies. I gotta run ads now. Pain. I just got lost in horse game. Okay, so Shinzo up as well. I mean, you could go toward... I mean, you need a little bit more lockdown for the Rumble. The Shinzao's not bad, of course. Basically nothing beats Shinzao early, besides... I mean, Trundle can do a little bit, but Shinzao's still fine playing into that. Varus Talia, very, very good anti-melee, very, very good disengaged to a certain extent, but they're not very good against the Equalizer, which could be a bit of an issue. And there's a global, which Karis is good with. Karis and W are good at playing with them. Thank you for the follow, I appreciate that. And the NFL on Fox, damn. Didn't realize we had those American soccer fans.
Oh yeah, American soccer.
Yeah, yeah. Because, you know, there's no difference between soccer and football.
No, no. Hand egg.
Hand egg, yeah. Third pick for WE. If you get the... Yeah, I mean, Vampire's a good Nautilus player. It's a good big comfort pick. It's good against the Shinzao because you can pop his ult for free with a good enough hook. And there's no one to really tank it up for them right now. Now they can kind of play at that mid-range, look for the Varus ult or the Nautilus hook, and then follow up after that point. So WE, I think they're quite happy with the champions they've got right now. That being said, this is definitely a team which needs to ramp up their drafting again. It was very poor in that last series against IG, who demolished them really in that second game.
Definitely was. Weibo, of course, got a very nasty skirmish comp already because Shinzao setting up with a Jin and a Rumble. Wherever the Shinzao goes, the follow-up will be pretty extreme, and Monkey, and well, actually it's not Monkey and Cube because I was looking at the champions that are on top of those names. I doubt Monkey will be playing Talia. Talia Jungle has fallen away a little bit, it has to be said, but there is still some potential threat here. We'll keep our eyes on it in terms of like having the good poke core, good pit core, Nautilus, Talia, Varus. If you do catch out someone, we'll also have a pretty rough time. And I do think that CC chain could potentially be pretty brutal, whereas the AoE team fight also strong for Weibo Gaming. I'm seeing the kind of shape of the team fights and team comps to come.
Yeah, Weibo banning away some of the champions which can kind of hold lane versus the Rumble and then scale later into the game. The Ornn, we saw 369 really master that matchup in the last game. And coming into this one, what else have you got that's decent into the Rumble? Choosing not to go towards the top lane matches at that point, actually using the Wukong, which I think makes sense. Again, Wukong, really nice kind of counter engage, does decently versus the Xin Zhao in mid game, if not early game. Leona banned away from Chris as well as the Alistar. What does he go towards now? Do you have to go towards something like the Braum? Doesn't feel great into Varus and the Talia. What else have you got, really? Rakan might be okay. Not fantastic versus the Talia, but still fine about like. Oh, of course, there's Rel. Of course, there's Rel.
Would make sense. Again, Chris, in fairness for all, we've had some. His champion pool's been a bit weird. I think his Rel is still pretty solid, but I think Rel in general is just very strong right now. Her and the Alistar, I know, were big question marks for the balance team. For Alistar saying, look, I remember Freak posted the recent patch notes and saying, look, Alistar slam dunking in solo queue, slam dunking in pro play. Clear nerf target, is getting nerfed, and understandable, right? They've just been very, very safe, reliable, consistent, whatever the team comp, and they do get some value there. Need a jungler here. These are fun hovers and monkey specialties. I'm never again seeing him on things like the Zed and Graves. He actually was one of our first Zed
I don't mind
appropriators here in the LPL.
I think Zed Viego are fine for me, honestly.
Okay.
Viego comes through. You have enough first pick that if Weibo miss position, let's be honest, they will do, you can get that reset. That's basically a free objective fight one. So they're playing towards that. I think they are. These kind of comps are very good versus your mid-table teams, which are a little less confident, because you can get those quick resets, which can be a win condition in themselves. Shahu, I don't mind the Orianna, actually. I think it's good for kind of holding the mid-range. You outrange the Talia. The Ahri is more aggressive and allows you to get more playmaking, but the Orianna, I think, would be better in the laning phase and holding fights. Goes towards the Ahri, a bit more engage, a bit more ability to go forwards. Xiaohu was one of the best Ahris in the world around 2022, which was when Ahri came back into meta after her rework. And he was very good at being that initial engage. It is fine in lane versus the Talia. Obviously, Talia later on can be a bit annoying at denying you entry into teamfights standing behind the Scion, but if you catch her in side lanes, you manage to combo up with the Xin Zhao, you are very strong in the mid-jungle 2v2. You win the mid-jungle 2v2 with Xin Zhao Ahri versus Viego Talia quite handily. Weibo, good early game playmaking here.
A lot of very good work here. We'll see whether the pick and the skirmish from Weibo Gaming can go versus all of the pick and skirmishing from WE. A little bit more AoE for Weibo Gaming, a little bit more single target CC from WE. So different sides of a very similar coin, and I think that means we're going to have some very fun early objective fights.
Yeah, for sure. WE coming off of a loss versus IG where they were bluntly just kind of embarrassed hands check wise. They were out hands checked, really, out laned, out team fought. And I think particularly Vampire in that second game going 1-9 on Rel has a lot to prove again. He's a player which had a very good split the last time around. He is the hard engaged champion player. He loves stuff like the Nautilus. It's a good comfort pick for him. It's a good draft for him. And I think he needs that to build his confidence back up. That last game was really not it. Weibo will see if they don't fall prey to that one, because it felt like they were also similarly a little bit troubled in their first couple of series.
Hello, one and all. Welcome to the Rift. Let's listen into those crowds, shall we? WBG chants come down. Yeah, is that how they pronounce the G for Mandarin speakers?
And for those of you, this is a fun fact to throw out there. For those of you wondering why the skybox is unique here, it's because each arena has their own skybox when it kind of zooms out and does that look up into the sky over Summoner's Rift, and the reason why it's got camels and ancient buildings in the sky is because Xi'an used to be known as Chang'an, and it was the start of the Silk Road. So WE's home arena is in the city that used to trade with the world, one of the very largest and most important trade points in the whole of human history it is. So yeah, a little bit of history for you. 2v2. Varus Nautilus, very strong 2v2, and Vampire is good in that laning phase. Light using that dancing grenade to get some extra damage down there where he can. Xiaohu trying to get that electrocute. Will just about do so. Ah, my dude. Misses the Q level 1. Just start the W into the Talia, my friend. Ends up losing a big trade there. Crash down miss from Crispo. He's just thrown himself into the enemy wave. Will be fine though. Vampire and Taeyeon not, but they did get forced off a little bit from the minions. So actually, Crisp, you know what? Credit to him, because actually that's actually a mistake by Taeyeon and Vampire, because they see the Rel miss the combo in front of them. They're like, well, but can't we just get level 2? No, can't we just damage the Rel? But because they're hitting the Rel instead of the minions, they don't get the level 2, and to Light and Crisp avoid one of the most dangerous parts of the Varus Nautilus lane, where they early hit level 2 and force summoners.
Good value, for sure. Too much more happening here. That the Jin Rel getting shoved into a Varus, not always easy. Again, Taeyeon, well, we had this conversation already. We might have done while I was busy doing social media-y things. Obviously, very, very good on the Varus. That and the Ezreal, two of his more comfortable picks. And Varus right now in general, probably the S tier AD carry, really. Every other AD carry is compared to him.
Like how Chris just broke the shield there as Vampire used it, and then Vampire got the fourth shot onto him. Not much, but it's nice to get that extra little bit of poke. Level 3 now hits. What we saw in the last couple of games, and this is a very common thing in 2v2s, is trying to get the bounce back to get, if you can't get the level 2 to level 1 all in, sometimes you get the level 3 to level 2 if you miss that first one by getting that bounce back. Might potentially over the bottom scuttle as it comes through. This is why the bot lane really matters. Level 4 to level 4, double buffs on either side. Monkey doesn't have the E for the extra stats rather. Monkey getting engaged onto.
Flash over the wall. Spectral moves towards that wall to get in range for the flash, but is going to be forced to blow that early. Retreat now down towards the other side, but I think Tien should just go to smite and run away. Vampire
Good
misses
though,
and now gets rooted in place, but Tien, smooth move to escape there.
So bot lane of Taeyeon and Vampire, because they didn't get that first level 2 and they didn't really get the bounce back level 3 either, cannot roam into bot side jungle. So Light and Crisp overperforming and outplaying a little bit in the early lane, but it has a big consequence there. It gives Tien an easy first scuttle on that bot side of the map. Monkey will be slow to get his now. Tien will get his first back of the game, and he'll get himself Longsword and Ruby Crystal, which is quite a common first back, and he'll be back out on the map a little bit quicker than the Viego.
Of course, at least Vampire didn't end up hooking towards the wall, which
He's
could have
done
been
that.
bad.
That is a bit of a Vampire classic where he just randomly hooks into death.
Who was the one who did that recently? Was it Ming when he was back in playing a year or so ago, just hooked into a wall and died?
No, it was Vampire.
Yeah,
Vampire did that
well.
too.
Yeah.
He flashed and hooked a wall, missing it, and he died that way. We did see one at first stand, I think it was. I think Maker did that at first stand as well. But yeah, Cube teleporting over to the other side of the map now to catch that wave. Hasn't got his own recall in just yet, but not going to be pressured out. Jin going to be a little bit late on the recall, but he's fine. Weibo, again, looking for a confidence-building game. This is a team which has a bunch of players with high aspirations. They've been on top-tier teams in the LPL before. Weibo's been a top-tier team in the LPL before, but not really this year. No, they brought in Tien. Tarzan was outgoing after their semi-finals exits. Teleport down now from the Rumble to catch the wave on the other side of the map, where top lane is doing the same thing. But yeah, Weibo trying to make sure they can stay at least near the top of the pile. WE, on the other hand, haven't been a top team since 2021. Last split, they got top 4, which is incredible for them. Both IG and WE, some of the oldest teams and fan bases within the LPL, both having a resurgence.
And it feels like good news on that front, of course.
Finally, BB.
I knew you were going to say that. It's like it was like the rat joke for a while ago. Oh man, I feel upset for Jin there. Managed to get the dancing grenade that just put everything on 1 HP. Didn't kill them all. That's always the worst as Jin.
And if you get the first kill, it does the damage, does more damage on the second bounce, and it would have been fine.
Exactly.
Arrow hits onto Light. This is going to be the on-hit Varus. Don't think we mentioned that just yet. It's the lethal tempo, so it'll be more damage towards tanky targets and a bit more extended DPS if people are in low range. Not necessarily the same amount of poke, which I think would have been quite valuable here.
I kind of agree. I mean, I'll have a few people diving for his head, namely the the Xin Zhao and the Rel, and often I find it's either that you've got jumping on your head that you sometimes just want to stand and deliver, and I'm not convinced of either especially.
Takes a bit of work sometimes. Grub's not up just yet. Scuttle spawning on top side and Monkey's coming over towards it. They do have bot lane with Prio, but Rel's roamed first, actually. Is that gonna help? No, I don't think so. Rel could have gotten into River, was spotted there. Will be a Scuttle over to the side of the Viego. Monkey gets an extra camp, which is nice. You know, the Viego getting some extra resources really does help. Tien gonna be sent packing there. Level 6 for Monkey early too, which is important. No smite for Monkey. If Tien gets this, he'll also get his level 6.
Wait to see how this one goes. Down to 900.
There's no smite on Viego. This isn't going to be a fight. He'll get that now. Doesn't get the level 6 though, importantly, actually. I thought he would get it off that.
Close. He is a minion off, actually.
Yeah, which is why that top scuttle was so important. If I think the person who got that got the level 6 first. You see that Vampire really trying to back up Monkey and get him ahead of the game. By not getting that first scuttle crab, it meant that their game plan is a little bit derailed. Not too much, but it would have been a lot easier if they had done better in that 2v2, which normally Nymaera and Vampire have been pretty good at, but this time I think Light and Crisp getting a little bit better of them. In fact, to the point where it's a 15 CS lead for a Jhin over a Varus, especially against a Varus Nautilus. You expect them to be winning lanes. So this is not a great game so far from Nymaera and Vampire in that level.
It's edging towards 20 CS actually, which is really alarming. Not what you want to see at an 8-minute mark for sure. Some very suboptimal results there so far. Grub's just started, but Monkey's coming over with Vampire and Taeyun. Taeyun with the level 6. Things can be forgiven here with a good fight.
Yeah, Talia can get a wall on a good angle here. Ari's roaming up now. First thing comes in, Hook comes in.
Crescent Guard down, Chains of Corruption also there, but it means actually they flash out now of that seismic shove. Taeyun's got a good angle. What about Xiaohu on the side? Can't really find all that much.
I think as soon as the Jhin W misses, the fight is over from Weibo. It will be 3 grubs to Team WE, but again, they had a very good setup. They'll feel a little unfortunate that they don't get any kills from that, but getting 3 grubs is definitely a win in itself.
I really like Taeyun's positioning there. Managed to land the Chains of Corruption, then go round the wall to just start free-firing from across it. Tien good value out of the Crescent Guard, but did have to flash that seismic shove, so down that additional summoner, and really get all that much there for the contest. Don't blame them for looking, but couldn't quite avoid the necessary CC there. Nice hook there from Vampire to kick things off, and then, as we noted in draft, the CC chain is a little dangerous from WE.
However, you know, WE would typically expect to get a couple of kills out of these plays. They've just been a little imprecise. I think Weibo have been playing quite well on at least the disengage side of things. However, Weibo are still being put into difficult scenarios. I think W are setting up the plays much better than Weibo right now, but Weibo are just mechanically hands-checking them a little bit more. However, first fight then, the first time that comes through, Viego will start to reset and Weibo will be given a hard choice at that point. Dragon is up and available. Neither team has gone towards it. Typically, we do see the first Dragon having been started right now. Not happening here. Mid lane Prio secured by Weibo. They'll be using that to move onto either side of the map.
I feel like I should make a no way joke at some point.
Wait, why no way?
As in, there's no way that happened type thing, but just like with a name pun on it being Weibo Gaming.
Yeah, where there's a will, there's a Weibo. I've done that.
That's a good one. That's a much better joke.
I've done that so many times, in fact. Tramp started up by Jhin using the 4th shot on the Dragon. Monkey is over the wall. They could use Karis. No, they don't have Karis' ult, actually.
It's the Scion coming in. Monkey blast coning. That's still the Dragon secure, but the bounce house is brutal. Shinta immediately deleted. But the equalizer! The curtain call getting scary. Reset for 1. Hop away from Xiaohu. It's a 1 for 2 right now, and Monkey can't get any more resets. Look dangerous with the ults coming on through, but WE had done the damage beforehand.
Yeah. Big mistake from Tien, not early ulting. That was something he did around the grubs, which saved his life right there, potentially giving Monkey a game-winning kind of play. They do get the Dragon. They do get 1 back. It's not lights out for Weibo. They get themselves enough there, but that is the threat of Team WE's comp. You get that first pick very easily and think snowball from there. Gold lead now established for WE.
Flash from Karis and Monkey to secure that alongside Vampire, so quite a lot burned alongside the TP from Cube. Breathe just roamed down, which is partly why he was there a little later. So Weibo Gaming deciding to be a bit more circumspect with their summoner uses, so can maybe look to get some advantage out of that in the next few months. Of course, there's no real objective to play for until Herald, so those cooldowns will be up and available. Have a look at this replay as Scion comes TPing in and Monkey Blast comes to the back of the pit.
Using the Dragon to block the direct hook, you have to ult early. You have to ult early. There's no excuse to that, Tian. I know you want to use it onto the first bit of engage, but Really kind of sucks there. Using the flashes from W could come back to haunt them, as you were saying there, but getting the 2 kills shows what this composition is meant to do.
And exactly that. You lost the dragon, not the end of the world. You did get a couple kills onto key members, the Talia, the Viego, you're happy with that, of course, for Light. Has been one of our more consistent AD carries. Kind of had a little bit of a fall off towards playoffs last bit, I think it's fair to say. But on the whole, we've had issues with our bot lanes in LPL this year in general. Part of that's been support synergies, part of that's been support play in general. But a lot of it has also been AD carries sometimes absolutely popping off, and sometimes kind of inting trying to do that. There's not been a lot of risk-averse play. Light, one of those players who, just generally speaking, you can always expect a really stable level of play from, and that consistency has been the, no puns intended, shining light for Weibo in splits gone by. Here on the Jhin, early lead with that additional kill is nice stuff, and as we said already, did have that very good early CS lead as well, which was a little unexpected into Avaris.
And we'll see what that Jhin can do. I mean, this is the kind of game where there's a lot of targets you can actually blow up with the Jhin. You know, especially if you manage to get a good W onto someone important, you can lock them in place for an extra charm, blah, blah, blah. The CC chain's pretty big. Normally, you'd be a little bit afraid of dealing with the Scion, but I think in this kind of game, there are some extra ways you can deal with that. Cube, got Monk in the back pocket. Breathe is going to get potentially stunned up here.
Boy, that decimating smash will very much be the death of Breathe.
This is not how you play against Scion in a side lane. You never go up to that brush. That is the #1 thing you don't do. WE, great capitalization, but Breathe, huge, simple mistake. Full tower will go down. Scion ahead over 1,000 gold because of Breathe just brain offing a little bit.
There's the cleanse from Crisp, who had that on the spell book. Now actually Chains of Corruption and shut back onto Tien. Actually goes over the wall onto Karis. Might not be a problem because again, he doesn't have the flash, remember, but Tien has to flash away in turn. Too much damage from Taeyun across the wall.
Yeah, Taeyun has the on-hit, remember, so if he's actually in auto-attack range, it's a big moment. But this is the problem with a team like Weibo. They do just sometimes make that one brain-off play, and things start to snowball from there. Breathe is the one to do it this time, and now he's behind 1,200 gold. Monkey is 1,200 gold ahead, and his Viego really starting to have some impact. The early game was good at denying the initial picks from WE, but you can see Weibo are responding to these plays. They're not making plays. They have to play defensively because they've been set up on very well, and WE, despite not landing the first few blows due to the, the misplays from the bot lane 2v2 and losing lane, they are getting to a point where they're much more comfortable with their combo.
Agreed. Slightly problematic with WE now. Very ahead. 1,000 gold for the Viego, who wants to be resetting off all of the CC. The frontline Giga ahead, and we've not really got a very good anti-tank squad. Rumble will be fine, in fairness. Leandri's builder, all of that jazz, but individually he's down 1,000 gold, which isn't helping that. And then you've got an Ahri and a Jhin as your 2 other carries, and a Shinzo, I suppose. Well, he'll probably go something like a Black Cleaver, which might help a bit, but even so, no easy feat then to bring this Scion down in good order. Tien, hit with the hook, overcomes the Weaver's Wall, goes charging into the backside. Seismic Shove goes wide, then was Taeyun in a dangerous position. Has to flash away. Monkey now coming on over. Cube's also walked up. Curtain calls did come on down. Cube. And also Crisp going forward onto Cube, trying to get some value. But again, this Scion is so damn tanky. Xiao, who speeds himself up with the Foxfire. Tien trying to heal up off the wall.
Great charm.
The charm comes on forward. Cube goes down. That's a big shutdown. Tien split off. Has got Crescent Guard here. Vampire also low. He's in a really weird spot.
Oh,
Crescent
Vampire!
Guard! And Vampire hooks the wall!
The Vampire Classic comes through, hooks the wall to death, and Taeyun goes down. WE, for a team that's meant to be popping off right here, that's a huge mistake.
Oh, hang on, Heartbreaker doesn't quite get the reset on Monkey. I feel so bad. He'd done all the hard work in a losing situation.
Weibo hands diff WE, and this is the kind of fight which they should really be expecting to win. Bad mistake there by Vampire, not catching out Tien. Horrible moment from him on an iconic champion on the Nautilus. Vampire haters eating good. Say that.
Let it go.
Sam, every time this goddamn team plays on the stream, I've got people calling Vampire. They go, wow, watch this guy Vampire. I've seen him do 1,000,000 of these plays and you never talk about them, huh? I'll do it for you. I'll do it for you. Weibo, great. Okay, pantomime aside. These are the kind of fights which they should really be winning.
Yes.
But they cannot get that first pick this time. Tien, much better fight this time. Does get hooked. Doesn't have the Crescent Guard, but the CC chain is not quite there. Manages to dash out onto Taeyun and get some healing down from his passive before Karis can follow up. And the fight gets really, really weirdly split. Tien realizes he can actually start healing off his passive, get onto the wolves, and the follow-up is just not there. Vampire's too low to initiate that kind of play. Tien starts healing with his jungle item, his passive onto the wolves, waiting for his Crescent Guard cooldown, and somehow outplays this, and Vampire There was no reason for him to do this. This is such a bad mistake. It really throws parts of the game.
Tien now in danger. 2 seconds on the crescent guard. Has it now! Could look to turn it around. Knock away with that one. Gets the kill on Monkey. Backline though. Crisp is somehow way too deep, but it's keeping 2 people busy. Makes things interesting. Kill goes down. Deadly Flourish lands. Curtains called. Vampire in danger. It's the body block from the zombie. Good work, though. Xiao looking for the charm. Will get the cleanse out, but he's hit by the chains of corruption. Shoved back by that seismic shove and goes a little too deep as a result.
Ends up being, what, 2 for 2?
Yes.
Chris dies as well. But another big mistake from the jungle support of WE. Vampire very nearly going down. Lucky to be saved by the rest of his team. Tien can go around the back now. He's healed off the jungle. Oh my god, this is a great angle.
Oh,
There's flash on Karis, not on Taeyun.
And he's just put down the Unraveled Earth. Misses the wind, becomes lightning, though. So can't go any further forwards.
Well, Charity. Oh! Can't dodge that one, though.
And there's the Audacious Charge back at another kill. As Breathe comes across from the river. Dragons up, and they just lost their jungle and their AD carry in mid lane. Wind becomes lightning. Monkey needs to ult away. Deadly Flourish forces the backstep, and Monkey's dead again.
WE are outplaying themselves. Their hands are just not as slick as Weibo in this game 1 as Tien. A couple of duff moments, but largely outplaying the whole team of WE. And you can see how flustered WE are. They had a great split last time around, reaching top 4 for the first time in such a long time. But we were worried that maybe the pressure could get to them. I think it is a little bit here. They're not as precise as they were last split.
They're really not. Now they're down 1,500 gold. They've lost another dragon. This Jhin is 404. Enemy health bars not found. Is Collector rapid fire, wanting to make sure the picks and the safety are through. And I get it this game, right? You've got so many people be looking to pick you down. You can't afford to go Infinity Edge straight away. But let's have a look at this one again. So Tien clearing up vision. Vampire jumps him.
And sometimes the obvious hook is actually a mistake. Trying to jump onto the Shins out here is a mistake. This is a problem with Vampire occasionally, where he'll just see the target and knows he can hit the skill shot. It's not the right play to make. There's too much follow-up. Your damage is not in range, and all you've ended up really doing is giving your team an opening to lose that fight. Tien has flash, has ult. Vampire another hook there, but again, not fantastic.
Cube trying to find an angle on him. Tien may well be forced to Crescent Guard. Does. The Equalizer splits people off. Taeyun in danger as Xiao looks for them. Magnet Storm from Crisp. Damage coming on for Xiao. Still got an ult to work with. They lose the Rel, but again, it's bought time. Damage back, though, as they lose their top and mid. 1 for 1. Tien secured the Herald and backs out.
Ends up being 2 for 1 as Breathe dies, but the Herald does go to Weibo. They'll be happy with that. Monkey not able to, again, get that game-winning play with the resets. Tien, his Crescent Guard has been so crucial. Every fight has basically been determined by how long Tien can stay alive. Right there, he does a decent job. 3 grubs to W will get them this top turret. They already have themselves the feats of strength. And with those couple of kills, again, they're not too far behind in gold.
Xiao couldn't quite secure the kill on Taeyun. He backed away, and then Crisp has kind of been the sacrificial rel a little bit this game in that last play in the jungle. Basically spent a solid 5 seconds keeping Karis and Taeyun away from the rest of the fight, which was massive. Otherwise, you have to feel that one of Tien or maybe Xiao would have gone down there, but this time around looking pretty risky.
Jhin, 504.
Yeah.
Has the fire cannon build, which normally I don't like, but when you're this fed, I think you're so far ahead of the curve, it matters a lot less. He'll be closer towards something like a Lord Dominus Regards or an Infinity Edge towards the next few big fights of the game. Also, Xiao, I really appreciate how he's been playing for the utility beyond that first fight. No Dragon up just yet, and Weibo, for once, will back off.
I do also feel like Rapid Fire this game just keeps you
a little
out
bit
of
safer.
arm's reach of Seismic Shove, Chains of Corruption, Dredge Line, all these things which make things very risky to step forward.
W starting up the Atacam. WBG not really in position for this right now. They do have their ultimates coming back up. They have a lot of flashes as well to work with. Not that Shinzo one, which is important.
Chris just pops the Ghost, looking to get on in.
Oh, double on this.
Oh! Magnet Storm in the backline. Look at Xiao on the other side! Blows up Taeyun and lost his flash in the last play. Vampire dead. Monkey dead. WE! You guessed it! Dead!
WE with their bot lane ultimates. Taeyun and Vampire shake hands and say, let's miss our ultimates together. The hook and the Chains of Corruption going wide really start the fight off well for Weibo. The flash in from Crisp, utterly sublime as WE miss their crucial fight starting engage.
Over towards the mid-tier 2 we go. Weibo Gaming looking to shove on forward. 2,500 gold ahead. Very, very strong. Make that 3,500. Sorry, I can't do maths. No, I got it right the first time. I'm just going to stop doing it. Tier 2 goes down. That's more like what I'm talking about.
Weibo are a team that pretty much only win on blue side as well. They're getting into a huge lead now after taking the Atakan and those kills on red side. This is a very big moment for them. Watch right here. You can see the fight very nearly starts off well, but the hook misses, the Chains of Corruption misses, the flick back misses, every single skill shot misses from Team WE, and then the flash over from Crisp is insane. The Atakan DPSing them down at the perfect time as well. That is a horror show mechanically from Team WE. They just miss all their skill shots.
It's tough, and of course, Xiaohu on that other flank as the Manga Sword comes on through, it's tough. It really is. Now he's got the Dark Seal stacking, he's got the Horizon Focusing. Do you still think Malignant's Horizon Focus is the correct 2-item build on Ahri after some of the changes?
If you're playing this kind of game where you're meant to be supplementary engage and you're not hitting tanks, then yes, it is. Horizon Focus is a very cost-efficient item right now. Go towards Deathcap 3rd if you can, and then you start to pick up a lot of value because the Horizon Focus gives you 115 AP. It's 2,800 gold, 115 AP, and 25 haste. The passive is just vision now, it's not the increased damage, but it's so crazy. He's got the Dark Seal in inventory anyway. If he goes towards the Deathcap, he's going to get a ton of extra AP, and this poor Varus and poor Talia will not be able to withstand that kind of damage.
TN's also now starting to really accelerate. He's the second richest player in the game.
Dragon spawning in 20 seconds. W looking for that first pick into a fight again. Mechanically, they have been very poor this game at starting the fight. That must change. They can work their way back into a fight with the Viego resets, but Weibo have been hands-diffing them so far.
W have at least got second items now. There's no third items completed for Weibo Gaming, so at least in terms of combat power, a little more even than it might otherwise be. Dragon down to half, hook lands, it's only really onto the rel, shoved back, in danger now for the Chains of Corruption, gets to lock it down, by some diamond from Chris, goes down, Xiaohu over the backline, trying to get a pickup, can't quite do it, Spectrum Wall goes wide, Equalizer splits the team, as they have to walk across the red carpet to escape, Curtains now called, needing to run away towards that bot lane, and the bullets just go wide.
The CC chain lands onto Chris this time, that's how they're meant to play the fights. Last couple of times, they've just missed all their skill shots, this time, better for them. They stop the soul points, get themselves a kill, that's nice. There was no flash for Chris to get that mega engage again this time. And WE, again, another reminder that their composition is very strong if they hit their stuff.
To do that, looking in the inventory of this Varus ball, looks like it'll be a Wit's End third with that Negatron cloak in there. I think when you're into a Rumble and a... are we? That's the way around. It is, yeah, I can see the value in that one for sure. A little bit of time now until our next bit of action. Atakan's already gone down, Baron's in a minute. I don't think it's a game realistically. We're going to see huge contest around Baron straight away unless someone full sends it.
Weibo will be getting towards their third item soon, and that's where things get really scary. Infinity Edge for that Jhin will be catastrophic for WE to deal with. Deathcap potentially for Xiaohu, similar story. Tian maybe going towards a GA. If you hit the GA, that's also a big problem for WE. Makes that first pick even harder to do. So WE, they'll still be walking around the map. I will say one thing that's been missing from their gameplay, which typically was a strong point of theirs last split, was that global usage. The Talir's not really been able to pull that wall as effectively. Quite hard to dive into the enemy team when they can immediately click the Shin's out E onto you and Ahri ult to follow up after it. But Karis, I expect more from him on a champion that's been better for him.
Observe Light's inventory. Observe the big yellow sword.
Oh, God. Yep, Infinity Edge is very, very difficult now. And one of the big problems for Taeyun is he can never walk anywhere close to the Jhin, ever. If he's out of position, a W hits onto him 2 levels down for now. Light is going to be in such a big position. Keep angling maybe for an ult across mid lane if an ult were to hit onto Light. Force Cleanse, Flash, something like that. Crisp playing a little bit with fire there, using that little pixel of the wall to keep himself safe from a potential hook.
Well enough there. Of course, you've got to be a bit aware. Lollipops are a thing with Nautilus. Sometimes you think you're safe around the corner when you're very much not.
It's nice there, actually. Rocking the Horizon Focus to give vision onto Monkey, which is niche useful when poking over walls like that. Cube still doesn't take that much damage. It's not like Jhin is going to be killing the Scion that quickly. You leave that to, weirdly, the Rumble and the Ahri, actually, because they be shredding down with the Bloodletters. Tien can help with that too. Black Cleaver, bit of armor from that Steel Sigil. Keeping camp in this top side, fighting over that vision. They're winning the vision battle right now.
Bit more vampire hit. With that, wind becomes lightning. Deadly Flourish goes wide, but it is Weibo just looking to see whether they catch someone out. Monkey, Vision, Xiaohu, and Monkey in a bit of a stalemate there.
Wonder if it's a mind game. I wonder how much each other know about that. They don't see Monkey right now. He's been here for a while.
Hang on, Xiaohu's just got in danger. He's picked up on the side. Disrespect as Monkey helps ult him down to size. Cube goes forward. It's onto the Jin. Cleanses, flashes away, staying alive. Crescent God from TN bikes time, but Chris needs to back on now. TN's in danger, flashes on out, but hit by the Spectral Maw. Cannot heal up enough, and WE find 2.
A huge in by Xiao, who went way too close to that fog of war, and Monkey knew where he was the whole time. Monkey looking for the reset. We'll go into Jin.
Oh, flash audacious charge caught under the turret, but can look for another. My goat from the LDL comes on up and will surely die, but takes 2 with him.
Gets 2 kills. It will mean that WE will find it harder to go towards the Baron. There will be Ari up in a few seconds. WE might have found the fight to get them back into the game off of a horrific misplay from Xiaohu. WE's reset comp comes to play, and I think the Baron, well, there could be a teleport in from Ari. This is still not game over yet. Teleporting from Ari could potentially make this an interesting conversation. No, going bot lane instead. Wonder if that's a mistake, actually. I think that actually Breathe and Xiaohu could have potentially stopped them from doing this.
And get those waves shoved. It's a minute until Dragon, so they're going to try and make sure that means the Baron gets less value and they can just spend this next 30 seconds safe around the objective.
Xiaohu just goes way too close to this fog of war. Had flash, had ult, goes into hook, just ult straight into the Nautilus.
Yeah.
Xiaohu, that's unforgivable. That is unforgivable. Just ult straight at the Nautilus. He was going to get hooked regardless, and he was in range of something like a Varus ultimate. Very bad play. Had the flash too, could have stood just back around that wall. That is exactly the kind of play which Weibo is sadly known for from time to time.
Yeah, we were wondering how much knowledge was there. The observer was showing as Monkey just using the Xin Zhao body, flash, audacious charge, tries to steal the Jin body, but gets interrupted by Monkey before that can happen. Does end up dying, but the damage still done. Claiming an additional set. Really good stuff from the jungle there.
Dragon up in 10 seconds. Weibo a little bit behind in gold now, actually. It's Varus who's picked up the gold lead, presumably from shutdowns. Monkey, weirdly, not actually in a gold lead, despite getting that double kill at the end of that last play. Baron buff being available for WE means that it's hard to contest from Weibo, and it really feels like they've thrown away a golden opportunity. Xiaohu in particular must be just head in hands after that one. It was very poor play from him. He's close to his death cap though. Third item will be very powerful for him too when he finally completes that. Weibo trying to split the map and stop the Baron buff from being too deadly. Top lane turret taken by Breathe.
They give up that second Dragon. Monkey, a nominal 200 gold ahead at this point, gets himself that GA, and again, considering he was down like 1,300 gold, you'll take that swing.
Yeah. Now the problem is you don't have the armor pen on Jin yet to deal with the Scion. And, you know, actually Jin can kill tanks nowadays. He absolutely can do, but he needs like 4 items to do so. And he's not at that point. He's fallen behind in gold. Again, just off of a huge misplay from Xiaohu. And the rest of the fight going the wrong way from Weibo. Trying to catch that cube now. Doesn't have flash.
Needs to be a bit wary here. Does eat some damage. Again, you've got Bloodletter's Curse, you've got Black Cleaver, lots of ways to shred armor for the rest of the team there.
Xiaohu using the true damage of the Q to clear through Baron creeps fairly effectively. Still, WE power play puts them into the lead. Weibo no longer able to play with such impunity. Crisp going around the flank with the Hex Gates, but the fight starts already.
TN, Crescent Guard buys some time, shoved back into the rest of the team, now in danger. Equalizer comes across the whole squad. Crisp looking for the angle, onto Taeyu, onto Karis. Xiao hits the charm. No follow-up damage though as yet. The final curtain call's beginning to fly, but they just don't have enough in the tank at the moment. Monkey gonna force the flash out of Xiao. Another reset coming on forwards, but now he's called the base. Needs to get the reset. GA still active. Finally falls, but not before the GA can proc. Another GA comes down. Monkey hides bodies. WE slaughter the fight.
Weibo ints in the mid lane, and it throws a 1 game to Team WE. A game of throws, but WE pick it up better. The resets coming through. 7, 5, and 7. The Viego doing work.
It's gorgeous stuff from WE at the end of it all. Well recovered, well played. And we go to a game 2 with Weibo Gaming, questioning how the hell they threw it all away.
WE getting a bit of a freebie there, Weibo. We thought they'd finally get their win on red side, a rare scene phenomena from them. But they can't get it done. Huge misplay from Xiaohu, undoing what was actually a game of a lot of good work, denying that first pick on the whole from Team WE. And Weibo now 1-0 down in the series, WE breathing a sigh of relief in front of their home crowd.
Oh man, I mean, we see some of the flaws in WE still where they overplay, thinking they've got more space to make a play than they do. And sometimes we just see the fact that when they do in fact have enough space and they have made the right assumption, the plays look quite good. Xiaohu, what an awful flank that cost them so much, and Taeyun gets a load of gold, Monkey gets a load of gold, and suddenly the burst that was ahead of Curve was right back behind it, and they couldn't kill anyone anymore.
No, that is just an unforgivable misplay from Xiaohu. That's just a... There are a few things you don't do against Nautilus. Dashing right into his hook is one of those things. Mince immediately blowing up. That was... I'm flabbergasted. That... Very rarely do you see a play so poor that it loses you an entire game, but that's exactly what just happened.
I mean, it was like, it's Lee syndrome. It's Ari.
It's one of the reasons Nautilus is very good versus Ari on the whole.
Ari Roy Jenkins.
If you trade Charm for Hook, you typically lose that trade as the RXE procs Aftershock or just manages to get you in range for the ult, stuff like that. The follow-up is so crucial, and yeah, huge misplay by him. Not that it was the cleanest game from WE. I think... What's up?
Yeah, I made a really good pun.
Which one?
Ari Roy Jenkins.
No, I heard that, and I was just moving on from it. It was funny stuff. Good job.
I had fun with that one.
It's very cool stuff.
Thank you. Into champions that can make your day very difficult. Crowds have got an opportunity to yell first up. The Giles finished up for now. Can WE finish up the secure? There's our statistical forecast for the game. Weibo Gaming with a little bit of a mid-game spike. WE with a bit of a mid-game spike. Maybe about 1%, and then it flips back towards Weibo Gaming. So slight edges one way or the other.
I mean, the late game is somewhat of the Azir factor, but I mean, late into the game, I think Aatrox can do a hell of a lot of damage. Early game, really need to see WE's lanes do well. Need to see that Q can play the Aatrox well into Breed's Ambessa, who is arguably our best Ambessa in the league. TM starting on Raptors will be seen doing so. Karis puts down that wall. They'll have knowledge of jungle start. Weibo will have the same technically by process elimination by having wards on enemy Raptors and seeing that Monkey is not starting there. And they'll have some information about that sooner rather than later. Fight for the early levels starts in this bot lane now. Where is the... Oh, that's a really good Q.
That headbutt away, very necessary from Vampire, but the problem is he's now hit by that passive. Won't lead to as much danger, but dangerous statement there.
And what it is, it's also, think of the amount of time auto-attacking minions that's now been lost by WE. Another good Q through the wave by Light, trying to save that double tap for a passive, can't quite do so. Good Q accuracy, very good Q accuracy from Crisp, and the level 2 is won by Light and Crisp, expectedly so.
Q, really good level 1 there onto Breathe, who is going to be forced back off the wave.
Breathe needs to stay in range just for the XP, doesn't want to lose the XP, can lose everything else, but not that. Does get to the level 2, good start from Cube, that another Q hit, that's 100% hit rate I think from the Qs, besides maybe the first one from Crisp, didn't quite see that. Great play from him. And WE's bot lane, last game, lost 2v2 quite hard. They lost they lost the level 2 rush, didn't manage to get the level 3 rush, were 20 CS down in a winning lane matchup as Varus, Nautilus versus the Jhin Rel. This game, we'll see if they can do any better in a harder lane.
Tien's at half HP here. Monkey's still full. This could get a bit dicey if Tien misuses his ability. He's going to spot out Tien here. No idea what's going on. Wait for it. Wait for a call of the pack. Using that to summon all of his dogs. Missed the Dark and Daggers 1 and 2. Still gets some autos down. That's into the dog flying. Breathe now coming on over. Has got the ward in the bush and sees Breathe coming on down. Can't quite get enough work done. Has delayed his own clear for a fair amount here.
Really well played by Tien. Will smite away, seeing Monkey coming over the wall, but the W is such a long cooldown early. Can't do that much about it. Monkey seeing that Cube was winning. Just wants to go for another big play. Has his W coming up in a couple of seconds, but did manage to get the Dark and Daggers that time.
Well, got a smite does Monkey. That means this blue buff likely going to have to go over, especially with Cube roaming on Don. I think we got a fight in the jungle here.
Tien doesn't have his passive up. He doesn't know he's on vision, I suppose. They could stop the recall here technically, and Cube might go for that. With the Cube, flash away from the combo.
Stays alive, looking to get some more. Now the shield comes up to prevent any more turnaround. Vampire and Taeyun both avoid getting hit with all of those concussive blows and avoid having to do a head injury assessment.
I think Light's actually okay giving up the flash for the trade. The HP means an awful lot in this lane, and Vampire, yes, decent combo on target. Light flashing back kind of wins the lane again for Light and Crisp. Been playing well in the 2v2 so far.
Blue buff secured. Monkey comes towards the bot lane. Still hasn't touched his red side quadrant, by the way. He's going to try and double scuttle here instead, and then I think he'll probably reset and look to clear from there.
Great early game from Monkey. Didn't quite get the trade onto Tien in the jungle, around topside, around the Grom, but he has managed to take away a bunch of farm now. Big win for Monkey on the Neferi. It has been nerfed. Monkey just came off an MVP, great game in game 1. If he can get a leg over Tien, it's a big win for WE.
I think probably what he's going to do here is he'll do Raptors, Krugs, then red to give as much time on the red as possible. Back, get the buy-in, and look to clear and get involved from the bot side.
Keep continuing to have a good game in this top side. Craft's going to come through from Breathe. Tanks up the auto attack in return with the repudiation, so he gets the heal and the damage down for not much else in return. Breathe doing as best he can in that situation. Q's back away from the wave. This time does actually manage to land the... taking the tower shot, though. And the wave's been frozen. Breathe has actually managed to somehow work his way out of this early lane, which wasn't working very well for him. Cube will have to teleport back first. Breathe can set up the wave how he wants to. 2 cookies for Breathe as well. Cube had used one of his already. Just pushed the wave, though. So now Cube manages to win the extra mind game.
Yeah, nicely done. Sticks in there for long enough, of course. Needs to hold on some of these Qs. And again, Aatrox a lot less scary when his Q's on cooldown. And actually, early on, it is quite a long cooldown. Again, you get 3 charges, and that's all very lovely. But the moment that goes, your wave clear, your damage gets significantly less dangerous than it might have done otherwise. Tien on that roam top is going to force Cube to finally take that reset. Now it's got level 6. We'll be able to come back in with a tunnel. I'm feeling a little bit happier about life.
You're getting the level 6. Yeah, Breathe needs to get away from that wave now. He also hits the level 6, though, which means he's safe. He can recall on basically the same amount of farm. Rest again, good Q accuracy. 10 CS lead in the bot lane. Corki, Alistar, not the strongest at early levels, and the Braum often does bully around the Alistar. Good to see that Weibo are doing well with that matchup in mind for them. Getting to the point where we're going to get our first skirmishes. Level 6, not too far off from junglers. That'll be happening in the next clear of camps. Grub's up in 2 minutes. Again, another Q. Chris hasn't missed one of these. He's so good at that. The poke becomes quite reasonable in the early levels because the base damage from Braum is so high.
Too much is, of course, WE. Still in an okay spot here. And again, Monkey getting this opportunity to start the dragon. There was a reset through from Tien, who's got the coal field. So this could still theoretically be a contest.
Especially with the Braum early game. Tien on the Pantheon gets the stun, gets the triple auto attack afterwards. Passive onto Vampire there, which again is actually quite scary. Dragon's going to start going down. Q will be back up a cooldown from timing now.
Over they come. Xiaohu and Karis looking to get involved. 1200 HP. Tien doesn't want to flash in there, I think, and so it's looking like Dragon will still be WE's. A little bit of a look in might delay WE getting to lane here, and the wave does crash, so Taeyeon's going to lose a few more CS here.
So they've given up bot lane priority for the dragon. They get the dragon, but Taeyeon is now in a really difficult spot.
Yeah, he is.
Lucian's in a good position right now, and Lucian's got a great draft to play around. I think that there's not many things which can stop his culling. Only really the Alistar on a good angle can stop that. Sometimes Aatrox if he gets a really good flank. So I think Light's eyes on him for the first fights of the game. He's been given a good platform, good CS up. See if he can capitalize.
Carl's with a question about whether Breathe should have gone for the fleet because he's just not going to get a grass proc.
Shield Bash is too good to give.
That's true.
I mean, you can get it from secondary, but having the biscuits and having inspiration secondary is really nice.
I see that.
Yeah.
I see that, and therefore you say, well, at that point, I just have to do grasp and pray I get at least a proc here or not.
Yeah, no, the Aatrox has been bullying about in the early game, but I don't think it's to the point where he's lost early lane so hard that the game plan falls apart. I don't think that's the case, and grasp tends to be better the longer the game goes on, because you stack it up more, and the more HP you get, it means more damage. Call an ambulance, but not for Breathe. Xiaohu, a bit quiet in this early lane so far.
Because he's breathing, right? He doesn't need an ambulance. You know, if you weren't breathing, then you would.
Sam, there are many reasons you can have an ambulance while you're
it's only if you don't breathe.
You know, if you have heart palpitations or something, you should probably also call an ambulance.
That's a kind of
unexplained chest pain.
That's part of the pulmonary system.
Grubs of Spawn. Let's see whether it gives a heart attack to either of these teams. Monkey has that level 6. Shield blocks out some of that. Taking a good angle.
Potentially got a really good angle here. So he's going to have to flash and go away.
Monkey.
Ooh, he's going to be fine. Hound's Pursuit will be okay because he can still press the W, but gets flash, gets heal.
I mean, Chris was completely happy with that. Vampire's wasted a big cooldown for himself now. Monkey doesn't have his ultimate. For him repositioning in a fight, I think W just massively misplayed that.
Yeah, Whether Chris can now be punished after gets interesting. TN starting up these grubs. Chunk coming on down. Crisp a little bit vulnerable. Shuriken flip goes wide from Karis. Look at Light on the other side. Public execution now wide. Breathe goes forwards in a bit of a disparate position. Darkin Daggers going forwards. Breathe has to flash over the wall. So actually does a few other members. TN's out and they will get 2 grubs, but again a lot of summoners burned by Weibo there.
WWE's entrance to the play, not fantastic, but Weibo miss enough skill shots that they can't capitalize either. And we are reminded of what happened last game where both teams misplaying crucial moments of that game. Neither of these teams are fully confident right now. Both of them have a lot of ramping up to do, a lot of confidence to build. And Weibo missing out on those players and giving up that last grub. I suppose it's a little bit awkward. They do get the 2 grubs though, so they do get largely what they came for.
Keep your eye on Breeze's ult here, because I think if it's not onto a stun target, and there's a couple that can do it, the Pantheon W in particular, may well be enough to lock someone down. There's a lot of people here who can dodge, dip, duck, dive, and dodge away from that ultimate. Neferi's whole kit, the W, the E, big deals. Corky's got the Valkyrie, Akali's got the E and the R. Alistair can just say sure.
Light down here is doing an interesting thing, by the way. To freeze, you need a 4 minion advantage for the enemy waves. So if they have 4 minions than you, then the wave will actually freeze. And if you just last hit, it will basically stay at that point in the lane. You just clips that wave to bring it down to those 4 minions. They can keep it there now and force WE into a bit of a crap spot where one person in that lane has to overextend. They'll have to move people around that lane and lose farm on it. And if you build up the wave, you can obviously end up crashing and moving as well. So good there from Light to recognize that. Start to build up again a little bit more CS. 20 CS lead drop down to about a 10-1. Can recoup that again by removing it from Karis instead.
Neferi will be there in about 30 seconds. Can't really afford to drop her own camps here, especially considering Monkey's going to have to be a serious carrier.
Yeah, they're slow pushing it out now. Tien on the bot side of the map. How's that ultimate? Misses the cannon. Lights. That's not great. Come on. That kind of gold does actually go a long way. Karis trying to clip the wave as it comes into tower. As you were saying, there is the Neferi behind that turret.
Yeah, gets most of it down. Early Shroud is important. Neferi gets a hold of her Gromp. Got Dragon in 50 seconds. Do we want to see a reset here for buys? Where it's going to stick her? Oh my god, Monkey! That was a bit bold to blast Cone over into the Dying Blind River. Hex Flash can look to go for something more. Karis down a flank angle. Double knock up. Weibo in danger. The culling comes on down, but to what end? Tien low, but will not quite fall until just now. That's the reset. Where's the Hound's Pursuit Part 2? Do they want to jump onto Light? No, they don't, but they're happy with the 2 kills.
That Hex Flash was game-changing. Tien presses his E in the wrong direction, obviously caught out by that. And a big problem with this is I think Weibo pushed that bot wave too early. They couldn't end up getting that wave crashing as they went for the bot side play. Karis had cleared the wave already and could respond to the bot side play. If there was a huge wave under turret, much harder to do so. Watch this, Karis can drop off of that wave and come to the play. Monkey goes over the wall, obviously not expecting them in bot river. And I think Weibo at that point just get a little bit too excited. You don't have a Zero at the play just yet, and your wave is not into turret, so it's not like Karis will be forced to move away from that either. Bad macro from Weibo and a great punishment by WE.
Yeah, and Vampire, that's a great Hex Flash. There's no doubt about it. Gets the double headbutt there, and the pulverized value should get them Dragon here as well. Worth noting, of course, Tien does have the Grand Starfall, so could theoretically go and join, but has decided to go for camps instead, kind of aware that the setup's just not there.
No, Monkey's doing really well, given how difficult I think the draft is to play, how nerfed the Fury has been as well. WE, significant advantage. Having the Dragons and the slight gold lead as well is a great moment of power for them. First item onto Monkey has been is really big for his champion too. And Weibo, for a team I thought had a very good start in both of these games, it's quite disappointing to see them not be able to capitalize with quite simple things. You know, again, the wave crush happening on the wrong wave, I think, was a bit of an issue.
Okay.
He's got the Valkyrie, just a quick tap away. There was no culling to follow up on that. If there was, I think that would have actually been kill threat. Monkey in the deep in the enemy jungle. If they overstay, maybe.
Yeah, Vampire's going to make his will unbreakable. Double pulverize, flash away. Monkey can eviscerate over the wall. Is he going to need to? Using the cinders for the move speed instead. Xiao's now coming. Dark and Daggers. He's stuck around. I think he's going to be more alright than I was afraid he would be as Karis gets to roam up and contest. But now, Light taking an opportunity to throw the culling down. Taeyun low, but not down. But now WE taking the opportunity to look for a bit more. Red buff being fought over.
Is it WE moving better around this side of the map? Vampire does blow his flash and his ult. Yes, he has Spellbook. He can get himself an extra... Well, there's no one in mid lane, so we can't really do much with that. But Vampire blowing the flash and the ultimate doesn't matter that much because there's nothing to fight over for the next little while. I mean, the flash being down is more important. He'll have his ult back up for a potential Herald fight. There's a Spellbook teleport back out onto the map, and Weibo not being able to capitalize from Monkey invading again. It just feels like Weibo don't have a clear idea of how to move around the map.
Right now, they don't against the team with Xiaohu on, with Tien. And the whole squad is incredibly experienced, and Xiaohu in particular, notorious for being on quite cerebral teams, actually, with really good management of fog of war, of rotations around the map to take advantage. Not been happening today, and Karis at this point on the Zakali getting quite scary. He is an Akali player, does love to find angles on this, and I think last split had some really significant plays on that Akali in playoffs in particular. Flash on top of Cube, who flashes away, now in danger, does manage to get CC'd up, trying to get some decent healing though, and manages to stay alive using that flash in ultimate, but I think you're happy to trade that.
Rank 2 ultimate, Sundered Sky bonus healing. You're realistically not killing this guy, but it does get a good chunk onto him, and that'll happen just before Herald comes up. So Breathe will have full HP, no ultimate, but Flash. I think Weibo are okay with that now. If they do want to go towards that Herald, maybe that will buy them a bit of presence on the map. Also, should really mention this too, Tien hasn't ulted this game.
No, he hasn't, has he?
Weibo, the criticism I've been leveling at this game is that they don't know how to move around the map very well. Even with the Pantheon, they've not been able to find openings on the map that well. Typically, he's been walking his way to places and then been caught out. He needs to be the one shadowing a lane and then ulting into it to change the play. Not been able to do so.
And again, I call back to M-Test, who was saying, look, Pantheon can be a bit of a bait. You know, actually, you'll see teams start to leave him open a little bit more again, because if teams aren't using the ultimate correctly, his value is significantly lower. Crisp gets exhausted, doesn't have the flash, all the heal is now in danger. The Glacial Fissure is solid enough, but he's still going to die. Reset now available for Monkey. Vampire makes his will unbreakable, decides he's likely dead, so we'll try and find an angle in. Audacious charging away, Relentless pursuing away, will maybe make that a 1-for-1 as Monkey goes down to the shuffle from Xiaohu. Karis gets out 2 for 2 right now. Shroud comes down, Breathe now around and about. Xiaohu also low on about 10%, has got soldiers working. Tien hops on forwards with the shield bomb, but Taeyu flashing in, blows up the Emperor Shurima, gets the barrier down. Breathe trying to hop, public execution, should make that one another trade. 2 plays versus 2 players right now, misses the Darkin Blade. Karis off on an angle, can look for more. Crisp has respawned, makes this a bit more interesting. Needs to get more of those Darkin Blades down. Decent healing against Thunder Sky is ridiculous. Karis to the backline, onto Tien. He still comes off. Vampire's here again. Respawns, allow for more violence. Shield Vault comes on through, quite can't kill Paris. And I'm saying Paris because I don't know. I think I want to be somewhere else.
Neither team knows when to quit. WE will finish things off with a headbutt pulverize into death. And Weibo showcasing again that they're not really confident at picking the fights on the map. Tien doesn't ult into that fight either. He could have used that for a bit of extra damage, open up another angle. Tien yet to press his ultimate key, and WE have been picking up this broken map play from Weibo. Breathe, try as he might, cannot get the damage he needs to, and it's Cube with the extended play with Sundered Sky cooldown. Running out of his ult cooldown, still getting enough healing and damage to turn the fight.
And you go and now look at who's got the kills. The Sakali, 303. Monkey, 2-1-3. The Aatrox, 2-0-2. Let's have a look at the replay, because it was a long fight.
So Chris caught out way too far, gets pulverized, gets exhausted, has to jump back, but because he's had to move up for that, pulls Light a little bit out of position. Tien, you had ultimate. You could have actually solved this by ulting in earlier and then getting some disengage. Tien, if he'd ults a little earlier, I think he can end up disengaging the play before it really starts and maybe saving your carry. Tien, out jungled by Monkey in the early game, losing some of those trades in the jungle. I know it's hard for the matchup, but not using your ultimate the entire game, like it's like he's taken back to basics in Arena. Your ultimate is locked.
Here we go again. We're back to live and more violence is occurring. Monkey to the backline will call of the pack to avoid the passive coming on down. Vampire also low. It's gone for the Zeke's Convergence here as a first item. A little bit lower now as a result, having burned that Unbreakable Will. They don't secure the kill, and actually because of that, might now be in a tricky position around this dragon.
Tien presses ultimate key. We shall find out. Crisp, another Q on target. Has exhaust, has ults. Weibo pushing in mid lane, actually, rather than going straight towards the dragon. Breathe pushed in that wave.
Herald was dropped mid lane, I believe, just before this. Karis off vision, spots Tien, lands a 5-point strike. Not land the Shuriken flip.
Tien off on the flank, no flash. Again, is he going to find an angle with that ult? I just want to see if he can press the ult key. I just want to see it. He's not cast it one time this game.
Been removed from his keyboard.
Karis, level 12, very strong as you were noting before. Breathe, no flash. I mean, there's no flashes at all in Weibo. That could be a bit of a problem. I feel like they need them more than WE do.
Oh, jumping on him. Public gets too short. Karis, he's gone!
He's gone, and the dragon isn't low enough to force the fight. What's Weibo's plan now? He's pressed the ult key!
Here we go. Vampire will try and jump onto Chris, but it's just Chris. Tien will shield vault onto Taeyun. Now shoving him back, and actually Q beginning to run rampant. He's pressed the ult key, but his man drops into the grave.
Tien drops into 4 members and achieves nothing. WE winning the 4v5 and will take the dragon.
And they've still got a spike keep on Vampire, by the way. Makes things quite interesting. Cube will slide over. Cube, huge heroics in that fight. Actually left Tien split up. I think perhaps a little unfair, and Tien got headbutted back into the wall while Cube kept 3 busy. They couldn't get past the Aatrox.
I love this game, folks. LPL at its... Okay, I'm not going to be at its finest, but definitely at part of its cinema. WE outplaying. They just have a better...
Family.
What?
Family. I'm going for which cinema.
Okay, right. Yeah, Fast and Furious, I guess. Yeah. Breathe. 2 items now, trying to trade onto Cube. Doesn't realize that Alistar's on the side of the map, though.
Fine. Breathe. Survives. People were around and about.
Sorry, I just had to deal with some Vampire Glazers in chat. We're not letting you forget that game 1 where he ended up throwing the entire game, almost. Great cut, start of the play. We were saying that actually, Weibo need the flashes more than WE do, but, I mean, having the flash there would have saved his life. Not able to do that much. And this ult is just a little off. If it was a little closer, he could have gone onto the Aatrox instead and maybe killed the front line and stayed a bit closer to the team. Cube is having a magnificent Aatrox game.
He really is, and we were a bit worried about the Aatrox saying, okay, Weibo Gaming actually got quite a lot of tools here to make the skirmishing style of WE quite tricky. The Braum could be dangerous here. Lucian's got a good platform. All of these things. And actually, we said, look, if they get ahead, then maybe things change. And they have. They've now got so many threats to deal with that they can't just deal with the one problem. Everyone's a problem, and they got none of their own right now. Maybe if the Azir gets enough gold, if he can get to 2-3 items, maybe if the Lucian gets another item, then maybe there's something to work with. But it's just not been happening so far.
I think at this point, you're not able to DPS check the Aatrox enough for him to take bad trades, overrush, and not get into the fight. Atakan starting now. This is where WE really threw the last game. They probably should have lost off of that, but of course Xiaohu had an awful game just after that point. Q misses there from Chris. Breathe not in range right now, and Chris caught out.
Gonna get headbutted back into the team. Should just die. Actually managed to jump back with the Unbreakable Will, but Wonky now gets to go forward with the Hound's Pursuit. Dies. Little bit deep. Couldn't press the call of the pack in time. Breathe trying to jump around. Gets knocked over the wall. Nice headbutt there. Now Cube looking for more. Flash out of Tien keeps him alive. Cube's got the Sterex to work with, so won't take too much more damage from the soldiers. Ends up being a 2-for-1, but you've lost your smite.
You have, and you do have an Azir on the table who is very good at clearing waves and cleaning up after fights. Mid laners, if they stay alive after a play, tend to be very good at punishing you on the map, and he has the 2 items. WE, do they see this going down? The shots didn't happen that way. They're teleporting in with, is that going to be Alistar, or is it? Yes, it is. That's from the spellbook. He'll be back. Does have flash to force the fight.
Down to only half. Flash, headbutt into the wall. Tien now endeavoring to get the Aegis Assault off. Now they're taking damage from the Atakan. Taeyun burns out to nearly only a third, bluntly.
Vampire using the spellbook to teleport, that's fine. Losing the flash is a bit of a problem now. Tien, he can go back, use his level 11 ultimate and ult back into the play. He can reset quicker, even though he's gone back. It's still very low, though. He needs to be here ASAP.
Yeah, Monkey's about to come on over, convince right over the wall, and maybe it's just bought enough time looking for that play. Chris can't get there in time. Monkey gets the Atakan. Chris now in danger, hit with the Shuriken flip. May well just die to the Hound's Pursuit. Great shuffle from Xiao, who denies the engage. Now looking for some more. Call the pack use, but the Braum passive still there. Concussive blows on the dog. Vampire dead to the Comet Spear.
Ends up getting caught out by the sweeper. Tien outplaying him. He doesn't have the passive. Let's see what he can do.
Shield Vault comes on now. Cube got the Aatrox ult. Breathe into the backline. Taeyun in danger. Flashes away. Staying alive. Cube will manage to hold the line well enough for the squad.
Breathe misplaying there. Knew that Corki had the flash and still dashed away from turret, meaning that he couldn't get in range for the Q2 after Taeyun flashed. Weibo lose the Atakan. They do get an exit kill. But you can see that W, again, just getting the slight leg over on Weibo, who are seriously struggling in this game to make those plays anything resembling clean.
And the Braum passives are nearly getting to lethal levels because the amount of time you're stunned from them now is enough to kill off someone like Monkey, but it's not happened quite yet, and I think the moment those Merc Treads come on to it, it'll get harder again. We'll have a look at this replay because it starts with some overplay from WE that nearly gets them in trouble here. They go 2-for-1, but they'll end up losing. Their jungler is part of it as Monkey goes forward here, and the Braum passive keeps him CC'd until he is dead.
Xiaohu gets a great position to stand over the wall here. It's just he's just too far behind the game. Too far behind the game compared to what he was at. does decent damage, but you'd expect Azir to be shredding people at this point in the game. You know, level 13, your Q and your W maxed out, getting a couple of items. Maybe you can get to that point now, but it feels like Xiaohu not getting the impact he really wants. Dragon's up in 20 seconds. It will be Soul for WE, so Weibo will be really forced to play around that. And I don't see how Weibo get themselves the big fight. It's too hard to get onto the carries of W and actually have the damage to finish them.
4 seconds on Infernal. Monkey should get that. Rather, it's the ward I'm talking about. The dragon itself will be much more of a contest. Karis on a flank angle.
He was killed off this time last dragon fight. He didn't have flash then. He does have it now. Breathe, typically one of the best of better players in the region. At a struggle game, I think you can tell the panic from Weibo. They've not had the damage they needed to, not as coordinated as they needed to be. Dragon started, Karis still on the flank, Cube on the other one, he also has flash. Weibo, you can't afford to get pincered. Oh, Cube's gone too far.
Oh boy, he's got Sterex, gets out of the public execution, enough CC and tenacity to get out there. Karis now on a flank angle.
Cube just walks out of the ultimate. Karis now found on the flank. Cube can't teleport back in though.
Cube gonna come back on over. Half HP, doesn't have the world underwear with, but Karis in the backline gets the shield down, binds him down, Hounds pursuit down, but it means the jungler's not on the dragon. Taken by TN. It's way too far from WE.
Monkey dies, doesn't get to smite the dragon. Xiaohu will go safely, and despite the fact that Breathe messed up.
Oh boy! Vampire trying to buy some time, does go down. Now Taeyun needs to Valkyrie away, buys a little bit of time, but Cube so low, no ult to work with. Taeyun in danger, has a barrier and a dream. Breathe goes looking for him. Cube cancels the reset, light low, but not down. Cube caught under the turret, goes down, and Weibo Gaming are right back in the game.
How do they play like this after the game that they had? Weibo, I didn't think they'd be winning team fights at this point, but Cube getting caught out, walking into bottom river, removed a powerful disruptive tool from WE. Weibo will somehow stop the dragon. It was a messy smite fight, not actually a clean smite from TN. He gets it with his E, of all things. And WE will lose the fight, not get the soul, fall behind in gold, lose the tower as well, and much like last game, whereas Weibo making that big mistake which allowed WE back into the game, this time it's Cube. Breeze just misses his ult. I mean, he's just too short. He should have used the skill to dash closer to him once they saw him moving towards it. Big mistake from Breeze, missing that ult. Could have been very useful later, but even with that, it's not enough. No, Crisp, great play from him, typically caught out at the start of the fight, but applying a good passive onto Monkey so he can't determine anything, and it's the E which somehow kills the dragon.
Monkey was just leaving the dragon fight. He went way crazy deep, didn't get the kill. As a result, was also not able to get back to the pit super easy, and then afterwards, they get to chase for more. TN ults towards the turret, gets a kill on Vampire and Cube, and Taeyu then left out in the 1v4. Cube cancels his reset, not able to get back. Dodges the Comet-Sphere, but Xiaohu's able to throw some soldiers under the turret. Just pick him up, and now suddenly look at where the gold is. You've got a 2,000 lead right now for Light over Taeyu. TN right back in the game as well over Monkey, only slightly. You need a much better fight from your Aatrox, I think, if you want to make this a better play. Mid lane turret about to fall as well. Only the third turret of the game. And WE, by the way, have only picked up one this game as well.
Yeah, it's been more about the brawls, and they do have decent wave clear on both sides. I mean, with the Corki on one side and the Aatrox on the other side, the Azir and the Lucian able to clear off waves quite effectively. I think basically both teams have been scared to push onto turrets because
the punish is quite high.
The punish is very hard, especially with spellbook teleports in the game. That does add an extra factor to that too. Weibo typically very good at trading objectives. One of the big things we talked about in their last series.
Yeah.
If I was them, you know, they can trade objectives that have some good value from that. TN will be able to move through topside jungle, spots a ward going down just there, and by that information we'll be able to see that.
I know you're talking about the TPs. It can be triple TP and a ground starfall from Weibo.
They knew they were there. That's dangerous, man.
Crisp is the one who's chosen to face check and does get away with it. TP now behind. It's Breathe looking for an angle. Taeyun got flash, but needs to be careful. There goes Breathe. Drake kept stepping forward with the last race. Flashes out of the public execution. Vampire tries to play time, but Light hops in and blows up the Corki. Cube doing his best as he can, but where does he go? The range is gone, and the TP value too high.
It's only one kill. Is it enough to start the Baron properly? Monkey gets some damage down, heals up from the Q2. Alistair, does he have a spellbook teleport? Might be able to make it back into the play.
See whether he does. Keep your eyes on those summoner spell. Down to half. In goes Monkey. He just gets eviscerated. We worried about this in draft, but they got so ahead, you began to think it wouldn't matter. But they dive into the Lion's Maw, and everyone falls.
The Azir proccing the Braum passive so frequently through the fights is so nasty. Vampire doesn't have a smite, has a flash, but it won't matter. Weibo will get themselves Baron onto 4.
What's he looking to do here? He has just switched over to the smite. Flash, no ult. He's going to have to give it up. Dragons in a minute. Maybe they just try and play around the soul instead.
So Weibo get themselves the Baron, and they are well and truly ahead of this game now. Dragon in a minute. It's not like a Weibo will have to worry about an immediate counterpunch towards the Infernal Soul. And Xiaohu and Chris are doing such a good job of setting up the front to back, where the shield goes up and the soldiers go down. The culling's not fantastic here, but it does blow the Valkyrie, and that means that Taeyun has precious little way to outplay this. Xiaohu gets forward again with his own little shuffle forward, and Taeyun, what can he do? The Valkyrie was blown too early. And they were way too deep in the topside jungle, which Weibo spotted out miles in advance.
And they try to make the rest of the play around here, but going forward, Monkey goes in, Karis goes in, and they just melt.
Would have thought, Monkey. I mean, the shield goes up, the Q goes in. Monkey has been choosing very poor dives in a lot of this. Karis did manage to get the one kill onto Light, just about, with a little bit of help from Q's Q2 going in. Dragon now up in 10 seconds. WE, they will want to force that Infernal Soul. That's potentially a way back in. Monkey has flash, has ult. Maybe you can go untargetable to try and get a good smite down, but that's their angle right now. Without Karis being as strong as he was before could be a problem.
He's level 16, so less squishy than he might have been earlier in the game. Bleed out a little here, but not a huge amount. The Darking Dagger's doing their best to cull a little of that HP, but the Dragon is started. The second Dragon for Weibo. Crisp is body blocking, preventing them getting anywhere near here as Xiaohu turns off the Dragon, carries onto the back and looking for an angle, flashes and has to go golden. They do kill off the Braum. Reset now for Monkey. Starex popped on the Q, who's hit by the public execution, flashes away. Now Breather's in danger. Hound's Pursuit does not get the kill on the Breathe. And of course the daggers don't quite work until just yet. The bleed finally enough, but they still lose 3.
WE lose the Dragon fight. They don't get the smites, and they end up losing 2. It is a 2 for 2. Can Tian fight it? He can.
Oh boy, he goes into the Shroud, buys some time. The Age Assault comes on down, trying to hit the autos here. Where is Harris going? No flash, no R, and the Comet Spear brings him low.
Protobelt dash and not effective, and Weibo, this should be the fight which wins them the game realistically. The base will be broken 40 seconds now on Karis. I think they'll be able to survive the game on this push, but Weibo do just enough to get the Dragon, get a slim advantage in the fight, and get themselves towards that inhibitor afterwards.
Well then, folks, it's been a game of throws, a series of throws. That guy from the NFL earlier. Maybe we've just got quarterbacks yeeting the game to each other. Vampire flashes away. Ooh. Why?
That's a bit of a tilter. That's why. The early game was great from Vampire. As Hex flashed into double pulves. As Hicks onto the front line looked good, but he struggled to have value later into the game. He's getting Braum passive, getting stunned up, and he's just dying for free in this late game. I think Crisp has been very impactful in the late game, whereas Vampire was much more valuable earlier on in the skirmishes. Both supports providing value at different points in the game. And WE feels like they just ran out of steam.
They have a bit. Taeyun still caught at 2 items, by the way.
And he's just so for 3,000 gold down. That's ridiculous. That counting, of course, the double infernal value onto light stats as well, which are really nasty on that Lucian. Tian, rough early game. I think he was massively out jungled by Monkey early on, but later on into the game has been much more valuable himself. I think the early game, jungle support for WE looking good. Well, I say that, I think Crisp laning phase was very good. Vampire struggling in that margin in game 2. Mid game started to look really good for Monkey and Vampire, and then the later the game's gone on, the more the Pantheon, the Crisp, and the Crisp Braum have done so much work at stopping WE from guarding covered fights. This is a flashless Alistair caught out trying to get wards.
Yeah, we'll try and burst the ult and the heal, but to what end? He's just dead.
It's another Vampire flaw of his. It's an understandable one, though. When the game falls away, he tries to put himself at risk to get the miracle ward that will get him the fight. However, much like we saw a lot from last year, he will often die doing so. He does that again here. Realistically, they're not winning standard fights. He tries to put the wards down. Can't blame him for looking, but it does mean that he's double dipped and died.
Look, earlier on, Weibo were not using their teleports, their globals effectively. They've got 4 of them potentially. Now they are. Now they're beginning to flex the muscles a little bit. Finally got a third item on team. He's gone towards the Immortal Shield bow, actually, to try and give himself a bit of burst protection. Don't blame him on that one. Zonya's done for Karis. You've got the Death Dance on the Aatrox, maybe. You've got enough survivability now to look for a play. The problem is I'm looking into Lucian's inventory, and he's got a Hex Drinker and a Infinity Edge on the buy.
And this is the problem, right? You can get survivability. I don't think that makes enough of a difference, and it also cuts your return damage trying to kill someone like you know, the Braum on the front line or Breathe Deep diving in very deeply. The level 16, soon to be level 17 Ambassador is going to do bits in the back line. Minute and a half till Dragon comes up. Weibo have great... Monkey just used the W, and Light gets some good damage onto them. Use the Calling to go forward. The Dogs tanking up a lot of that damage, though, so he won't take that much.
1.5 minutes till Dragon. It'll be third Dragon for Weibo. Soul for WE. Been Soul for WE for a little while. Not been an option ever since that unfortunate cube entrance to the play.
I do really want to call out Light as well. I think that he's been focused an awful lot in this game. Mechanically, he's been very slick at finding his way into fights, despite the fact that he's had a lot of pressure put onto him. 5-2 and 9, 3,000 gold advantage. You have to dive him, and W have done, but he's still been managing to ice skate around and get good damage down in most of these fights.
Monkey now in danger. We'll call the pack briefly, and so we'll be able to immune some of that attempted engage. Cube here to pick up the wave, but unfortunately for him, the tier 2 is still falling.
Harris on top lane. Not really been able to determine the game with assassinations. Level 16. Decent items, feats of strength. Of course, they earn these feats of strength. Gives them an extra bit of an upper cap in terms of their scaling, but hasn't felt like he's determined that much. Monkey losing to TN heavily in the 1v1. Jesus, he'll have to recall. Now, where's that Q going? I don't think it kills. Well, this will.
There's the call of the back. Means nothing. Val Vampire potentially in danger, but from 3 and 1 to 5 and 6, it's been rough.
But Monkey's just died. As Dragon is spawning and Baron is spawning, you have 50 seconds. What's the plan? You go towards the Dragon, I presume, to stop the Soul. W will try and bush break Chris. I mean, I don't think you kill him that quickly.
We'll try their best. Vampire will finally make his will unbreakable, but over they go into the backline. Karis immediately goes golden. Culling cancel. Vampire.
Oh, the cancel!
But all the while, Light gets value as he brings down 2, and WBG are looking real nice at this moment.
Xiao, who breaks the ankles and the neck of Karis, cancelling out his R2 and then sliding onto the other carry. Good late game fight from him. Good late game in general from Weibo after a very, very off and on mid game.
Weibo Gaming hold the line, come back. One Dragon fight was all it took, and it's just a mirror of game 1. We're going to 3, and these two teams just won't have a clean game.
Realistically, game 1 should have been Weibo winning, if not for a misplay. Realistically, game 2 should have been WE winning, if not for some crucial misplays in the team fights as well. These teams are not confident and they're not looking clean. However, it is damn entertaining, and I'm loving seeing these bloody team fights go back and forth.
The best and worst of both teams on definite display here. How you doing? We've not done the spiel today, have we?
No, you should do that.
Hello, guys. I'm Initialise. That is Nymaera.
Hello.
You may have seen us here live on this channel, or one of 4. We're live on Twitch, YouTube, and Nivea's YouTube, and of course, the first time on TikTok. Thank you for joining us on one of those platforms. It does make a huge difference to us. We do appreciate you all being here. We cast the LPL every day that it's on here, live for you in English. The two of us who are, at this point, 2 of the most experienced casters in the region. We've done a lot of LPL casting at this point, and we're very happy to come and do that for you all live. And I don't know, I was going to come up with a better adjective there, but I don't have one right now. Slightly unfortunate for someone who's just waxing lyrical about their own skills, but there we go. That's completely fine. The way you can help us have more words and more skills by supporting us. Follow us on those various channels. Follow us on the social. You can follow me at Initialise Cast. Follow Alex at Nymaera on most platforms. It does help us with things like sponsorships, right? The viewers, the subscribers, the followers, all those things do help us get that kind of in on that front. The other thing you can do, guys, is sub on Twitch. It makes a massive deal to those of you who've got Twitch Prime. Great place to drop your Twitch Prime sub. For those of you who feel generous and want a gift, thank you very much yesterday for all the gift subs as well. We hit a bit of a hype train, which was really cool. And of course, new this split, we've got ourselves a Ko-fi as well. So if you do want to link over to that Ko-fi, throw us £5 for a coffee or 2. That would be wonderful. Much appreciated to those who do. We love you all dearly. And that way also you don't have to sub on Twitch if you're not a Twitch user, which is completely fine.
Horse game.
Go enjoy your horse game. Do you want anything else?
I've got enough coffee for now. I'm
I'm
good.
get myself some
Okay,
water.
we're gonna go.
Glue factory
No.
time.
Angie has requested that I stop calling bad runs glue runs. I'm sorry, folks. I got a little bit too ahead of myself. Sorry, folks. My bad. Whoops.
That's too good. Does Northern Line call them that?
Yeah. Yeah, a little bit.
No, glue runs. Oh,
It's yeah. Oopsies.
that is just excellent.
What have we got? Ramp up's
Oh.
not bad. Corner recovery's not bad. What do you get from this? Oh, these are really good skills. Long corners is bad, but these two are pretty good. That's pretty good too. What kind of closer are you? Pace or late, that's fine. Yeah, that works. Do I have any of these? No, I don't have any daily borrows. So let's go for this. Let's do bonus. There we go.
Get myself some water, stretch my leg, my knees feel a bit funny again. All this sitting
45,
down and.
yeah. Oh, this is good, I think. Yeah. Corner islands.
You were happy with
Don't
how things are
know.
going?
This is pretty decent. I could go for extra on third. No, B's fine. B's fine. I raise your corgi pentakill. What do you mean?
Finish your croissant.
I will do at some point, yes. Okay, horse game. Okay, we'll try a, whatchamacallit run. I actually don't know who this is, but we'll try it. They're a sprinter, so we want some extra speed. And they're a pace racer as well. This is fine. This is a good card set. No worries, and good luck on your exam, Amber. Good luck. Sure, nice. Maybe I'll actually listen to the character a little bit in this one. Oh my god, that... Jesus Christ, that's a character design. They know their audience. Bloody hell. That's a bit over the top. That's like... That wasn't I call it misfortune skin. Okay, whatever. Actually, no. I'll do that like story stuff in my own time. Because like I actually want to get to races. Otherwise, this will take a massive time to get through. Okay. 2 on stamina. 2 on guts. I guess we do some stam training just to get double friendship here. The audience, I mean, technically I am the audience here. You're not wrong, but like, you know, nothing on speed. Okay. I really want one of the events to give me a mood up. That'd be really big. That was good. Because they're a pace chaser, you really want them to be LPL starts early, love this region. Hey, off the grid, good to see you. Extra training, that was for stamp. We can rest next turn anyway, so that's fine. Now I think we rest, maybe? Get skill points up. Let's rest this turn. What the hell is that? Draft. So we'll close down the horse game, and we'll get straight back into Game 3 of WBG, our last game of the day. Team WE should have won that last game, but then again, they should have lost Game 1. Neither of these teams being clean. York banned away from Cube, one of his better carry picks. What have we even got up that's left up and available? Wukong springs to mind. Annie banned away there. Any bot lane as priority? Not that many. I think most of the big ones are out of the way, with Jhin and Varus both being gone. A lot of the engaged support's down too. Something like the Rakan. Xayah Rakan raises in priority now, I think, because Rakan is one of the best engaged supports left and helps you win that lane. How about playing an ARAM in between game with viewers? It's slightly too long to play an ARAM between games. And also, organizing it with viewers would probably take a little bit too long. I didn't mind Brawl. I didn't mind it, but it's okay. First pick Aurora. That was actually banned in the last game by WE. Does Shao have any good matchups left into this now? Aurora's very hard to beat in the early game. You can pick up Orianna. Orianna's not bad in SWIP. You can go towards an Orianna comp, I suppose. But then you'd have an immobile backliner into an Aurora later on into the game, which can be rough in another way. We did say the Rakan, one of the best engaged supports left. Easy lock-in for Chris. You don't have to go towards the Xayah right now. In fact, actually, I wonder whether you go for a jungler instead, maybe? You can, because you can pick whatever you want for AD carry. You've got Ezreal and you've got Xayah. Both of them are fine. You can Sivir as well if you really want to. Yeah, I don't mind going towards the Vi. It ends up removing it from the Aurora. You can go towards the Orianna later, which wins lane versus the Aurora. I guess in second round of bans, WE might end up banning mid lane if they don't pick it on 3. The Vi I don't mind being locked in here.
Okay.
And WE now, what do they do? Do they pick away the Xayah from the Xayah Rakan? Double ban AD carries in the second round if they can. In terms of jungle, you can pick something like a Skarner potentially, but I guess it's a little worse with the Aurora. It's not the best 2v2.
Yeah, not the easiest. I think it has to be said. There goes that Vi. So you got yourself that kind of good engaged core there. Karis also picking up the Aurora. It's a good pick away from Xiaohu, if that's not been mentioned by the Bytes, because obviously Xiaohu's been a lot of time into that
banned last game.
And feels very strong in general right now. They have the Leona, so
locked in.
And they've managed to get some AoE engaged and some AoE team fight damage. So something like the Wukong here probably feels pretty good. Monkey, obviously a big player of that. I think in the game they... Oh, how did they do with it yesterday? I'm trying to remember. I felt like Monkey had a decent game on it. I'm struggling to remember the details off the top of my head. But such is my recollection at the very least.
Yeah, it's been a big champion for him. So, Weber, what do you do? Do you lock in Orianna? Or I think you lock in Orianna because there are more AD carries you're willing to play. And I think Orianna is better against... It's one of the few winning matchups. Victor's fine too. Just something which deals well with the Aurora in lane. It's not a great combo with the Vi, but it does do fine in the laning phase. And later into the game when you have... Rod of Ages and Leandries, the Wukong can really struggle to deal with you.
Yeah, and Gravity Field can really mess up Leona, can really mess up Wukong, can make Aurora's life quite difficult as well. So I think there is some value to that, especially if they are looking to keep some of their backlaners a little bit more safe from what is a very heavy all-in from WE right now. Out goes the Kai'Sa. I think for Taeyun would have been a big pick for him, and he is a notorious Kai'Sa player. Would have been a fairly good angle for it, at least thematically with WE's comp. Xayah banned on the other side. A disengage option for Light would have been a good pairing with the Rakan too. So obviously a solid ban on that front. Ezreal still up. Ezreal might be the ban here or the pick from Light. Honestly, Ezreal's probably not awful here for Light.
Yeah, I think Ezreal's fine. I think Sivir is fine as well. Light has multiple picks he can lock in here and be happy with it. Hell, I mean, there's even a world where you go something like a Zeri, actually, which is why they banned it there, actually.
It would have been nice to follow up with the Vi and the Rakan.
I think Ezreal is a decent pick. I think it gets away from the Wukong and the Leona quite well. I guess the Aurora a little bit harder into. You can struggle to deal with that champion. But we did call out the Sivir before, and it's not awful here either.
No, I think the only thing is I might be debating the Ezreal because it's a takeaway from Taeyun as well, who is a big Ezreal aficionado. But
Ezreal also struggles into the Sivir. You know, the level 1 lane priority is a bit of a pain. If you go towards the Smolder, it's more of a wombo comp. You try and throw that ultimate down over the team. You try and match scaling with scaling. It's not the worst thing, I suppose. Smolder's in a pretty decent spot right now.
You can follow up on the AoE at the very least, as you were saying, right? So there is something to that. So you see the angle. We did see 1XM pop off on the Aphelios the other day. So
I would hate the Aphelios into this comp though against Vi, Rakan. You don't. It's pretty miserable. They lock in the Smolder. I'm surprised it's not the Ezreal given Taeyun's proficiency and comfort on the pick. And in mid lane, they might flex the
Aurora top
lane. I mean, but if they do that, it's a blind pick Aurora top lane. The Sylas is not like super winning into the Victor or anything. I don't think it's fantastic. I suppose that you can steal the Vi ult and use it onto the Sivir, but you can't pop the spell shield of the Sivir with the smite going in the way that a jungle Vi can do.
And again, there are a few very dominant Aurora tops out there. Keen's had some great showings on it, for example, over in the LCK. I know the Shy plays it here semi-regularly when it's not Rookie having it. In fact, Rookie had an incredible game on it when we saw the IG the last time out. Baiting a Renekton or a Cassante, both of them can be bullied quite hard by the Aurora.
I think there's some of the ones which have a better laning matchup to the Aurora, honestly, where, look, you're not going to win lane against the Aurora.
No.
It's more about even if Aurora gets a 10 CS lead, does it matter? And I think locking in something like a Cassante here to punt out the Wukong from a team fight, give Sylas a Duff ult to steal. Sylas never wants to steal the Cassante ultimate. Have decent ability to follow up on engages as well with his E forward and his W into that as well. I think it's not bad here. Breathe should be able to at least hold the lane and then provide value later on. I think Weibo come away with a slightly better team comp for me. You have Victor lasers, you have the Boomerang Blade as well for decent range and poke. You have very good scaling damage. The worry is that, you know, Monkey just dunks on Tien, Karis steals away the Vi ultimate and starts going absolute man mode. That's the worry. We should see if that actually comes into fruition. Anyway, last game of the day, folks. The coach is going to do that thing where they fist bump on stage. And we'll get ourselves into our final game of the day.
Heading towards the rift. Nice little flex there at the end to get the Aurora top side and put the Sylas in, but as Al said...
I think it's overcooking, personally. I think the Aurora mid lane is fine. I think you could just depict a lot of different things. It's very good for your wombo combo. You jump forward with everything, but you're missing now another piece of that kind of key front line.
Now, see whether it can abuse it, because again, Aurora does have a pretty nasty matchup in the tank. You do percent max HP damage off your passive, or every 3 autos, or every 3 skills. It's pretty nasty. Scales off your AP as well.
Every 3 instances of damage, pretty much, because your Q technically counts towards 2, which is
indeed.
Auto Q with the pullback comes back with that. Let's hear the crowd's gyro.
Some LGD gyros at the end of it all, just out there occasionally. Does disappear that.
Laogan Jet. Not quite Laogan Ma, but you know,
Almost as good.
the whole story behind that. So, Sivir Rakan gonna have very good wave control on the bot side of the map very early on. Smolder doesn't have wave clear for a very long time, really. And Sivir pretty much insta-deletes a wave at level 1. One of the annoying things about Smolder early game versus Sivir is that you can't get your Q to last hit a lot of minions because they're shoved into you so relentlessly. You're often having to last hit it. Oh, I didn't realize there was the Uzi dog in the middle of the lane. Look at it on the floor. It's the puppy.
Aww.
Light starting with the ricochet. We'll use that towards the end of the wave to clear through it and make sure that it sets them up well for an early level 2. Light and Crisp have diffed Taeyeon and Vampire in the 2v2 in this series. Typically something which is better for Taeyeon and Vampire, actually. But I think they've been a bit schooled on that today. Xiaohu with the Airy will be able to deal quite a lot of damage to Carrot early. There's actually some fun tech you can take against the Sylas, which is if you take Airy, sometimes Ari would used to go for this too, and then you go Oblivion Orb, because Airy is a magic damage, it instantly applies the anti-heal.
Ooh, and there's Ignite for heal. Crisp, of course, now in danger, gets flashed on WE, looking for it. First blood to Vampire.
Just as we were saying, the 2v2 was going very well for Weibo this series. Chris makes a huge error, walks up into the flash Ignite, and Vampire's Leona strikes.
And the Ignite comes on down, the heal gets counted, right? Because you've already got the Grievous Wounds on, the value's not there, refuses the flash, and ends up dying for it.
And it's not a Guardian Recon, it's the Spellbook. It's a big mistake there from Crisp. Surely you should know better than that. Was doing very well in the 2v2 before, but Vampire does well here.
Opens up for a potential angle from Monkey through mid lane as well. Reset angle from Tien, looks to try and get onto Monkey, who Warrior Trickster away. Karis gets traded back onto, and again, part of the issue with Xiao, who was bullying the Sylas early.
Cool as ice. Karis, a good Sylas player normally, but Xiaohu very confidently there. Crisp, don't walk up again like that. He's going to get caught by the Zenith Blade.
Oh, boys, level 2 can look to grand entrance away, but ow.
Oh, but you lose half your HP, which is a real pain, because now you can't have that same presence in lane. Light is looking over at Chris, the player who he said, I don't want to play with again. Another Zenith Blade lands.
Oh, now he flashes. Grand entrance out, stays alive. There's a quick gleaming quill heal, but that's about it. And yeah, you're right. We've not really chatted about that little bit of behind-the-scenes drama. Like,
I did at the start of the series.
Yeah, there you go, there you go.
Yeah. But yeah, no, basically when Chris left the team, Light said, I don't want to play with Crisp again. It's the reason why he left. He's back now, though. Lots of problems with Weibo. And Crisp, after having such a good game in laning phase in both the first two, versus WE. This is pretty shocking for him. Easy mistakes being punished. Just walking up the brush is a very squishy. Rakan, you expect better from a player like Chris, but he's one of the other inconsistent members on this team. Weibo has struggled with that one. Weibo, consistently inconsistent at tag for them, and it always seems to live up to that.
Does indeed. Top side, Cube having a great time under the Cassante. Got the Cassante very low, up about 10 CS. Also got both pots, getting grass proc, getting a plate as well very early on. Aurora doing really well. That one Kite's actually shining up. Of course, Flounder, big Aurora top player over here. Is it 8? No, fine.
Yeah. Keen, probably the best in the world.
Yeah,
I think.
yeah, exactly.
Flounder, really very good at that pick. Nice extra flex to have, really.
It works out. Again, we did say maybe they were overcooking with it, but at least for now on the laning phase, doing solidly enough. But if it's only the 10 CS discrepancy, you did say unlikely to be quite enough.
A lot of magic damage stacking from Weibo is worth noting, because even Smolder with his abilities does a decent amount of magic damage. The problem with Smolder is that he does mix damage. But in a game like this, you know, I can imagine Merc Tread's going quite a long way for Weibo, double stacking on the magic resistance and tenacity. The Negatron Cloak early for Breathe, going to be very effective for him.
Negatron Cloak early. Lane swap coming out from Light. We have got Grubs in 3 minutes, so a little ways away from that one. Oh, misses the cannon just shy. Tried to get the Boomerang Blade out in time. Wasn't quite there. Unfortunate. Best stack up there. Actually, early curl here from Taylor has also gone towards the TP. Again, a quad TP angle for WE with the spell book. Because of that coming on through. Crisp can also make that a grand total of 7 overall. And you've also got On the Hunt and Vi able to jump a long distance with their ult. So the collapse times are just ridiculous at this point.
They have tried to nerf teleport time after time, and it's just never going away, folks. It's just never going away. Unless you lock it like one a team. It'd only be able to be taken by top lane or something like that. It's just never going away.
Or just have it as like you can only teleport X times a game.
Yeah. Maybe. But I don't know. I feel like when it gets to this level, remember in season, I think it was season 5, where suddenly everyone started taking double TP?
Yeah.
That was when, I don't know, a lot of early laning became much less important because you could just
And then we hit season 7, where basically it became about TPing bot lane.
Yeah.
Very, very aggressive in the Ardent center meta.
Yep.
Huni was one of the few who wouldn't at the time, trying to get value that way.
No, I find it very interesting when people look back towards that 2017 thing and kind of call out Bang and Wolf for falling off, and I really actually don't think it was ever about them. It was about their team was all about Huni playing carry top style, and the meta was the least top-centric it has ever been in League of Legends, really. So they chose the wrong strategy for the meta. They rolled the dice poorly on the Worlds meta, which, you know, sometimes happens. In fact, Beryl, famous Worlds winner, basically said, international events is just dice rolling with the
mat is good for you.
That's good for you. Chaos Storm drops a mid lane. A Doonby kind of Chaos Storm where you just use it for wave clear. Pushes that out nice and quickly. Doesn't have it for now. Dragon, as Tien started that up. Not able to really do that much with it though. It'll reset.
He's cleared out his blue side jungle and head towards Raps and leave that one alone. We'll now go towards Monkey likely. Grubs in a minute. So might actually be our next port of call.
I think Weibo are in a pretty awkward spot now actually. WE. They're getting, you know, there's a Cull on Smolder who's even in farms. All of that laning phase has gone poorly because Light was doing well, but Chris made some big misplays. They get themselves the dragon. There's a teleport going top from Vampire, so Tane will be happily farming there. Gets that 3Q, which he's happy for. Monkey will get himself the first dragon. I mean, Weibo are not in a great spot to fight Grubs either because they're on red side versus a team that could engage onto them. They don't really want to fight with their backs against the wall. Weibo, I don't like this early game from them. I think they're in a tough spot.
And let's be real, the other thing is they've got a Victor and a Civic. It's not like they can dash over the wall. You can sort of get away with it if you're like, I don't know, a Corki and Ezreal or something like an Ahri, right? You can get over that wall. Your way over that wall is flash and pray.
Which often means death, really. Or poor team fights, you flash out of your damage range. So Weibo, they're just going to have to grin and bear it for a while. Hope they can get enough out of this laning phase. Vampire doing a good job of holding that wave because it'll give more stacks over towards the Smolder. Can he stop the recalls as well? Nope, spell shield. How's he so overstayed now? Chris became not that much mana from Lights.
Chris gets the flash out of Vampire.
That's a bit far. That's a bit far now because now you don't have... They're trying to stop the recall again, using the Smolder roll, trying to stop Light from recalling and getting into a better position to fight Grubs. This actually might give up the Grub contest. Weibo, I think we're not in a great spot for this, but Tien's already taken one. Hasn't got Smite, but should be able to take a second one now.
Kara's coming over. They don't know. Hang on, what's going on? Surely now. Yeah. Hex flashing in. Zenith Blade lands, gets the Grub, I think.
Yes, he did. Yeah. He gets the second one, comes off. And honestly, that is better than what Weibo thought. I think Tane and Vampire saw a funny angle to stop recalls. I think they over-invest into it a bit too much. Tien getting doubles grubs and making sure that, importantly, the Aurora doesn't get it, who will be spoiling side lanes and looking for plays, doesn't get it.
We can't TP to tier 2. Light now trapped into this turret. Monkey coming up, having started up Red.
No spell
trying
shield,
to get
just
on top
used
of
it.
him. He's got Cleanse, Flash, and on the hunt, trying to praise one out. There is that Cleanse. Buy some time. Flash on in. Flash out from Light. Trying to run away best he can. Vampire low. The ricochets come flying. Overcomes the fight for TM, but with the TPs flying, another one, of course. Decent death ray there. Sorry, Hex Tech ray there. Adjustments have come on through.
No, I'm still calling it that. Karras blowing his teleport too, though. All of this for one kill, I don't like. I think Weibo do lose the Sivir, which is annoying there. It does set them behind, but W slow to take the grubs, use that teleport on Karras, who's behind Xiaohu as well. I think this is a bit of an overinvestment. Just the last minute or two, I feel like WWE are overthinking things a little bit too much, trying to get a little bit too tricksy. Sometimes you got to take the small wins and not overutilize your resources. Weibo, you know, they're down about 1,000 gold, but Xiaohu's in a decent spot, freezing this top wave out now too. Karras doesn't have teleport to come up and fix this wave, and Xiaohu rather can stay up here, use his teleport, and hold that over W as a threat. I think Weibo have got a safe couple of minutes of farming now.
I think I will also say, of course, Light here, having Bone, Flash, and Cleanse. Could be risky if they do decide to turn up towards the dragon, but I think they just give it up. Look to play towards the other side of the map, steal away maybe some blue camps, get a shove into that top side, pick up a plate or two. You've got some grubs to work with. Might well be valuable. Light will spell shield that engage there. As Crisp will also grand entrance it, but I think you're just quite happy to sit here and wave clear in mid lane at this point. Just give that dragon up. No need to contest, I think, at this point in the game.
Xiaohu going to be really punishing Karras up here again. The wave in a great position for him, trying to force on bot side.
There's a Solar Flare onto TN. He's trying to claim up this Scuttle Crab. We'll need to think about getting out of here as he's caught between worlds, but all out goes the Cassante. Try to turn it around. Ends up being a 1-for-1, but the jungle being down and Breathe now isolated from the squad as Cube begins to stack through that Spirit Abjuration passive. Does get a fair amount of work there.
Xiaohu sitting alone on top side. Tien dying is a problem because it means that Monkey gets to go into bot side. Xiaohu going to see the stolen Cow Storm, but Karras gets grab fielded. Misses the E, that's a problem.
And now the Arcane Storm just keeps flying on top of that Silas, who has to flash away. We're stuck in the flash for the death ray in the air. He does it.
Karras not playing well in the lane, Xiaohu managing the wave so well, and this is the problem of WE over-investing for that top lane dive into Light earlier. Xiaohu got to set up this chokehold. Karras doesn't have teleport to fix this. Xiaohu will be able to push in this wave and deny even more farm from Karras. So there is a spot at the end, there's a light at the end of the tunnel really for Weibo. They managed to get something out of this early game.
Doing their best to be as valuable as possible. Cube picks up a plate. There's another one for them, up a few hundred gold here. That is pretty good. Breathe still got that TP, and again the Cassante. Another one to pick up a kill there, so at the end of the world actually helps mitigate the lead that have been building. As we look at this replay, is Karras.
He steals the death ray to try and fix the wave, and then Karras just uses his E very poorly, dashes into the grab field, trying to fix the wave and not give up the cannon. Karras down a level 2. This is what happens when you start to fall behind in a matchup where you really need gold in. This Silas is going to really struggle after this point. They are behind a significant amount. The Silas is going to struggle to impact the game. There is still a 1,000 gold lead early on for WE, as we've been saying. That is important. They'll be able to use that very effectively, especially when they have the Smolder with a lot of that gold lead too, about to cash in a cull. But Weibo are not in a bad spot now with the Victor. Completed that Rod of Ages early, so he'll get a lot of value out of that. And WE, they've had a couple of games recently. What comes to mind is their game versus Invictus Gaming where they played the Gwen, where they sometimes make a very bold play to give resources to one person and give it up to someone else. That time they didn't give resources to the Gwen and they gave it to Taeyu, and Vampire stayed mid instead of covering dives and sides. And I think they lost the game because of that. Right here, we will see whether WE not giving many resources to Karras and allowing him to get frozen out, over-invest into other parts of the map, will cause issues for them.
Into the dragon we go. Monkey starts whacking it a fair amount. Again, is here. Maybe look to fight this. The second dragon was supposed to be a pickup for WE a little earlier. Hasn't happened. Actually, Light's Flash about to come up here as well. The Achu goes wide. Monkey continuing to fight this dragon down about 1500 HP. Vampire trying to body block. Light will succeed in doing so. Now comes the engage. Vampire interrupted on that enrage though. Now problematic, as he ends up taking a lot of damage. Over the wall they go, trying to get on top of that also important Wukong. Cube looking for some damage though with the Between Worlds. Does get a fair amount of work. Tien, a little deep breathe though, can go all out. Trying to get a hold of Vampire. Does so with a footwork forwards. Chris now coming on forwards. Misses the Gleaming Quill. Monkey can maybe look to Warrior Trickster over the wall. Ends up being a 1-for-1 overall. Now Breathe in danger as he's about to go low, but still has another footwork to work with.
Weibo go too deep into the Aurora ultimate, and they do get punished, but you can see that Weibo did a really good job of punishing Vampire at the start of that play. He walked up too brazenly and wasn't quite tanky enough to pay off that kind of arrogance walking up towards the Sivir and the Rakan. Weibo, though, in both of these teams, neither of these teams are very good at taking the small victories. They always must chase for the extra moment, the extra bit of gold. At least Breathe comes around to clear up something. The Vampire going way too far forwards and allowing the lethal tempo to stack up. If that Achu hadn't hit onto Crisp, I think they would have been further engaged onto too with the quickness running. Luckily, Cube is there to get a 4-man ultimate to bring the damage back into their favor.
Really important that. I think it could have gone very difficult. Otherwise, Taylor at least picking up the kill there is nice. Breathe, able to extract here at the end of it. Footwork number 1 into Chris dancing away on footwork number 2.
So, 1.5k gold lead with the Cull cashed in from Taeyun. Xiaohu doing completely fine, though. This Victor could be so problematic for WE. This is a champion which they don't have the best ability to shut down. You can just put down that grab field and the Chaos Storm, and a lot of the divers and the lower range champions from WE, the Leona, Wukong, Silas, can have a lot of issues with that. Level 11 already, a level up over Karis. He's basically been, perma-farming. He's very happy to do so. I don't know whether he's got the full complement of upgrades, only the 1 kill participation. Maybe not right now, but very happy all the same. Herald started.
Yui getting that one. Xiaohu continue to poke out Karis. Solar Flare comes on down. Gets a stone to Xiaohu. Allows the Abduct to land after all that absconding. Gravity field on down. Stolen quickness means Xiaohu's in danger and cannot survive the collapse.
He puts the Chaos Storm on the wave to make sure there's no push, and he does go too far this time. That Victor took a lot to take him down, but he was basically in a 1v4. Herald will be restarted by W. I think they peeled off of it. Light will get some chunk onto the mid lane turret. Breathe will go onto the bot side. Because the wave was killed by Xiaohu, will make it a little slower to take this, but I think it still will be first turret. Tien has ult, and Karis is not in a great spot.
Oh boy, that could be risky. Clears out the wave and now gets them trapped under the turret. Does a decent job of locking people down. All out we go. Knock up, but flashed out from. Exhaust there from the spellbook. Should mean he falls, but the tower's been heated up so much, they can't get the kill quite yet.
He'll die. He will still die. It's just whether they get it in time to stop anything else happening across the map. Smolder's heading down. Could potentially ping them with an ultimate. If Xiaohu gets the kill, it's even more goal over towards the Victor. That'll be a problem.
They can then maybe look for the turret afterwards. There's he's gone well path making forward, trying to get the footwork. Smolder tries to ride.
Oh my god!
And he gets out alive.
Weibo massively misplay, and now they're stuck in a very deep position.
They tried to give the kill to Xiao and he goes wrong, but the cease and desist now onto the Smolder! They'll take that prize! Breather's the one who picks up. Cyclone comes on down. Fight continues to be messy. It's a 1-for-1 as it stands. Xiao looking for more. Another Hextech Ray. But between worlds goes Cube. Winning shotgun to the face. Bounces to the other side of the wall. Trying to get that kill secured for Con. Caught the gravity field! Oh no! Light gets that one. He is at the end of the tunnel. Xiao flashing for the Siphon power. In comes a Hex Flash from Vampire! But the relentless force from Tien just blows a hole in the head.
Weibo somehow do it again. The Sivir lethal tempo goes absolutely nuts as Cube tries to get the turnaround, but the spell shield makes the difference. Weibo start with a misplay, but somehow take the tumble and make it into a gymnastics routine. And come out ahead. I have no idea how that ended up working out, but realistically, Weibo should have just taken the 1 kill and out. The fact that it takes so long to kill Karis ends up working in their favor.
And look, it's put in the parlance of every co-streamer out there. Castle, Weibo gaming frauds. 10 seconds later, WE frauds. ...
Ladies, gentlemen, and the people of all descriptions, Weibo gaming, consistently inconsistent.
It never changes.
Karis going down so low obviously means he can't really fight after this. They do get a good kill onto Breathe pretty much after, but Smolder goes way too deep, has the flash but can't pull it in time, and the burst damage is insane, dies in the duration of the CC. Really bad ultimate from Vampire. If that hits anyone, this could turn around. Vampire not getting that crucial CC could have been the difference between win and lose. Spell shield onto part of the combo by Light means that he's not one shot. Great grab field and the choke point from Xiaohu. The extended fight value from Sivir and Victor went through the roof. And Vampire, in fact, actually gets the entire team killed. He Hex Flashes, which gives Tien an auto attack target for the E.
It's brutal. There comes that Relentless Force Breathe now, doing his best. Stacks on Smolder, 158, so a fair ways off the full overpower level, but of course it's only going to be sole point right now for WE. Normally, one of the ways you used to beat Smolder was just stack dragons into him, try and match his scaling with that perma buff for the team. Solar Flare now looking to turn that one around. The double knockup comes on through between worlds.
Oh,
a lot
Chris,
of work,
though.
but Chris with that quickness does a lot of work. Xiaohu likely going to fall, but gets a lot of work done before he does. Cease and desist, immune to CC. Vampire flashes over the wall. Chris doing his best to flash on out. Stays alive. Cube goes across the veil, but might just be going across it permanently as the ricochets keep flying. Another Vault Breaker, another kill for Light. Chris keeping Vampire busy, trying to get more value. It's a triple to Light.
Sivir goes off. You think Smolder's scaling? Welcome to the Ricochet queen of the bot lane. Light cleans up a whole bunch of kills again, and WE try and scrap, but are found just a little less clutch.
Child in the time of their life, wait for the damn ricochets to land. It's brutal stuff. We will get a replay. Look how Chris plays out the fight alone. He just can't die. It's ridiculous.
And WE have sometimes had this issue where they sometimes dive on the wrong target. Now, I understand wanting to kill the Victor. Technically, it's the quote-unquote right target. But because Chris plays so well on the peel, Xiaohu still gets massive value, and Light is still stacking up the lethal tempo. They spot Xiaohu, but he is a level 13 HP building Victor. It's a triple dive, but the triple knockup into the grab field and the Chaos Storm blunts the engage enough that they have to blow a fourth flash and an ultimate, and all during this, Light is stacking up the lethal tempo, getting skill shots from long range, and resetting the fight into better terrain. WE go way too deep and can't cleanly finish the kill, and are stuck in an elongated fight that just does not work in their favor.
I seem to recall a play on the Nautilus where they went for a hook like that yesterday into Invictus Gaming, and it went very, very wrong.
It's the LPL Classic. Sometimes teams just don't know when to quit. And Weibo will start up the Atakan. This is where you can throw a game. They have to be careful. They're taking it down, but they are getting shredded.
They are down to 5k HP. Vampire has a smite in his inventory, courtesy of Spellbook. Will that make anything? Breathe. There to body block. The gravity field alone is so obnoxious, and they steal away all the petals.
Xiaohu has been such a menace. I love... Remember earlier, folks, when we were talking about, did WE overinvest into shutting down Sivir and gave Victor too much of a leash? I think they've made the wrong mistake again. They did the same thing versus Invictus Gaming, where we saw that Vampire would stick mid lane, try and shut down the Kai'Sa, push down the mid lane turret, but put their Gwen behind. Right here again, I think strategically, WE have chosen the wrong place to move Vampire and Monkey to get value across the board. Karis is not a useful champion at this point in the game. 1,000 gold down. Xiaohu was given no trouble in this game up until the point where he gets to the team fights, and now he's got that killer 2 items, which W can't deal with.
I may have misspoken earlier, saying the Nautilus pick in that same location the other time. Well, right, it was the Nico, wasn't it, where he overplayed for it and got outplayed. Unfortunate stuff. But hey, WE now find themselves in an unenviable position, down a couple thousand gold, and the scaling being largely matched. They're quite difficult here. Of course, it's still playable. You've still got Smolder. You've still got Aurora, who's hit 2 items. It's not over.
More importantly, it's still throwable. It's the biggest thing. This series has been all about throws. The team which should have won the game has not for the first 2. Weibo are in a good spot, but they are, against the Smolder, who's about to hit 225 stacks. Getting a big play towards this top side now. Cube is in position to teleport Breathe Can 2. And they'll call off the play. Weibo, of course, already took the Atakan, one of the big places you can throw the game, but it's a big prize if you can get it. 25 pelts to 10, increased value on them too. The slow on kill. God, if you get clumped up people dying in the Chaos Storm, the slow and the extra damage from that, as you're all clumped into it, could be just lights out. Really afraid for Team WE in the next team fight of the game. It can be a very, very problematic shutting down those first carries.
Exactly how it all works out. Sivir at 2.5 items. Victor, so his 2. Roa and Leandri's happily completed. And yeah, that does make things quite interesting. Eyes, I think, once we're past this, at where Taeyun's stacks are at, is the second.
They'll be 225. You can see 223 right now. This way, if he gets the upgrade, there you go.
There we go.
224, one more cube, 225. He has the upgrade. He'll get the burn and the execute. Will that be the difference? I don't think Smolder is in the hyper carry late game standard we saw on his release. Of course not. But he's still a big threat. Can he outvalue the Sivir, a scaling goddess of her own?
Exactly what that Dragonfire can do. Super Scorcher Breath does a lot of work. Even the Achu, right? Just keeping those
Chris,
stacks
he's gone too far
on.
here. Spots out the Wukong. Tien will be on the other side of it. Good damage. Yeah, that's actually nasty damage from the small. See Tien losing a third of his HP.
He's got Black Cleaver and Sundered Sky. His resists just aren't there right now.
Yeah, it's a scary thing to work with. Weibo. 2,000 gold ahead. Minute till Dragon. No soul on the table. Victor still getting terrifying. One of the... Victor Sivir have such good long range where if you just don't quite find the engage, they'll just keep poking you out. If you go for the engage and fail it, you get to turn things around on you too.
Eyes on Karis' inventory. He's still at 1 item, guys. That's not a pleasant place to be. See what he should surely. He's only 900 gold behind.
And
Should
also,
have it on this reset.
Also, Void Staff is a terrible second item. Terrible second item. It's not what you really want. It doesn't have the HP scaling to increase your WHP. It doesn't give you cooldown reduction. You're looking for the single target burst with this build, but even then, it's not the most fantastic.
Not got enough AP to get the burst.
The problem is you're looking at a team which has so much magic resist about to be stacked into them. Xiaohu might... He probably goes Riftmaker, actually, just for the extended... fight damage and the ability to regen a little bit too, which is hellish if you don't kill him early enough. That's a problem. And 3 items, Sam's just pointed that out to us on our screen. They have Flicker Blades, Yuntal IE, which is very, very good extended DPS.
Again, there's no pen in there, but if you're looking at raw damage with no resist, that's about as high a damage as you can get.
But you don't need the pen because it's the Aurora top lane. They cooked with the Aurora top lane. And they don't really have a tank now. They have the Leona, which can get tanky, but that's not enough, really. And the Ricochets will shred through the rest of the team.
Passive and upgraded boots. That's it, isn't it?
That's it. Baron spawning now. Vampire doing that thing where he goes on his warding missions again. The problem is now he's been spotted walking out of there. They should know that topside jungle is completely warded. That's not going to be a surprise to them. Do they have a sweeper to use? They have one on Victor, one on Cassandra if they do want to go through there. Rakan too. They'll want to sweep deep behind them. A good enough teleport from Cube and Karis could cause issues. Chris, he should... Yeah, you know that Leona's just gone through here. You can clear out enough of this.
Gets that one down. We'll try and hop forward to spot out some more wards. See whether he catches that one in that bush behind Red Buff. For a long time, there used to be a control ward spot.
They didn't end up spotting those there. Vampire going for the warding again. Is he going to have his flash force? No.
Doesn't quite. The Vault Breaker just shy and Vampire gets away with it. Does save the ward, though, just the way we were gaming.
Does. I don't think you want to be going too far into... This is the... Yeah, there's a blue ping on the wards. I think they're going for a teleport play soon. If they can win a fight here, they can get themselves the Baron. If Weibo overstay, there's a problem. Teleporting from Victor. Going to... Means the Q4 from Tien. They'll secure the blue buff. No counter teleport from WE just yet.
As yet, they really want to try and get that turret bot side. Of course, because Xiaohu TP'd away... doesn't mean he's not there. Karis now pulling off that turret. They're starting up Baron.
Now, can they start up the Baron? Yes, they can. And the Sivir does a hell of a lot of damage. Now, I can't remember...
Pings on the minimap.
Pings on the minimap. There are wards there. Do they see this coming? This is a very good Baron pit, though, for Weibo. The all-seeing Baron gives you... Oh, that's the engage instead!
And, of course, the Warrior Trickster's down! Monkey's going to go into the backline as Crisp is trying to keep Taeyun out of the play. They've lost their jungler, and Taeyun gets an ult, but it's only little bits of a chunk. It's not a full thing.
It's a great amount of damage from Taeyun in the spot, but it's not enough. You're right. Now they're stood on a ward. Need to be careful there. Can they start up again? They will do. There is a potential of Cube getting a mega ultimate and Karis coming into the play. He's going to recall. Weibo go to the Baron. They are insisting on taking this objective.
There comes the Wailing Breathe. Pulls them back with the Untold Frost Strikes. And drags the Aurora out of her ultimate. Is exhausted. Baron down to 4k. Karis looking to get in. Does Vampire have the smite in inventory off the spellbook? Engage with the stolen quickness. Hijack needs to take the Baron. Does, but Weibo's health bar so desperately no needing to escape. Look at Breathe. They're getting ricochets everywhere you care to look. More damage coming on through. Broken bodies. Cube is squared. Taeyun needs to keep that flapping away. What about the damage onto Karis? Absconds, but there's nowhere to abduct to. No way to play for your life. The spell shield heals light. And now Taeyun, the little dragon that just couldn't do enough.
Weibo, Handstiff, WE, who can't get it done in the clutch team fights. I think we'll finally have a game where the team who is in the lead finally closes it out instead of a throw. Tien is 2 levels up on Monkey. Needs some help over here, actually.
Tien pulls away. Overcomes Xiaohu, buying some time. Cease and desist into the Vault Breaker, into the Gravity Field. There aren't cooldowns anymore. And Monkey dies. Again, the 1v1, honorable enough. The 1v3... well, it's just a dead cat Monkey, isn't it?
WE had a top 4 finish last split, but I think a lot of that was an underdog buff. I think a lot of teams didn't take them seriously, and I think that they were riding on momentum. They've had to start the split again. The momentum has faded, and I think teams are getting their number a little bit more now. WE, they rely on big, clutch, flashy team fights. And today and yesterday versus Invictus Gaming, they have not been good enough at that. I think that Monkey has probably been their best player, and he's been struggling in the last 2 games here versus Weibo as well. On the other side, though, light on the Sivir. A magnificent game. Every single time you look at a late team fight, just as it's all come to a part, it's got full stack lethal tempo, full HP. Right here, Monkey has to face check. You know the Baron's going down because of the mistakes made in top jungle. He goes too deep, there's no follow-up. Taeyeon gets good damage, but that's all he's got, really. The shotgun needs to be reloaded, and you don't have enough time for that ultimate to come back. Right here, just watch how much value Light gets out, because Breathe does God's work here, pulling the Aurora out of her own ultimate and making sure that she can't burst out the rest of the team. But watch what happens after this as Light gets engaged onto by Karras. The Silas does nothing, stacks up the lethal tempo, pops the ultimate, auto after auto, the ricochets go through, Light finds the pocket, and this is why we do have respect for this AD carry. His Sivir today has been insane.
And then he just flashes for a couple more. It's another one down, and Light has been outstanding. There's the GA. Even if you get that first kill onto him, you've got to do it again.
And that makes so much sense. He's doing enough damage. You have to throw out in damage core, and Weibo should be able to close the game out sooner rather than later. They have the rest of this Baron buff, and then they'll have 20 seconds up until the Baron spawn as well. They'll take 1 turret, break the inhibitor, and WE, I think they've run out of smoke a little bit here. Steam.
Either way, the fire is going out. Weibo Gaming into the base. Inhibitor's down. Aurora gets a tier 2, but will need to get back to base now. What can you do? What hijacks have you got? They've gone for the Chaos Storm at this point. Xiaohu will eat it, but just does nothing at this point.
Well, that's a Solar Flare and a Chaos Storm, and Xiaohu's walking away with more health than he started
That's
it with.
ridiculous.
This is what happens when you give the Victor the free and puts down his own Chaos Storm.
He's got a Rift Maker. He doesn't give a damn. Tien onto that next Nexus turret. 1 remaining between Weibo and the Bear base. Taeyeon, can he find some magic? Calls Mom, but I don't think all the kind words, all the parental support in the world will mean all that much. It's an 18+ game. Nothing more your parents can do to save you this time. Vampire onto the base, not quite stacked. Staked, rather. GA pop, but Breathe hopping around with the footwork. Karras back to the fountain. Nexus turret still needs to go down as Weibo are playing with their food. Vampire down. Burns continue to play around. They've already killed the dragon. And Weibo Gaming, the most convincing of the series so far, make it a 20-7, 2-1 victory.
Consistently inconsistent. Feels like it is still apt to this day for Weibo. And Team WE on the other side will start their split 0-2, sadly for them, in fairly convincing fashion as well. They've not been clutch in the team fights. They've been hand stiff by both Invictus Gaming and now by Weibo. They'll have to reassess how they're approaching both their drafts and their team fights.
Yeah, and I think, you know, there's people to call out, but there's moments of brilliance, but the inconsistency of their own throws have been problematic. You've got to call it out. Taeyeon was fine today, but fine is not what we want from this player who actually was really dangerous last split. He's not been so far today, or at least this split, perhaps a better way of putting it, and that is continuing to be a problem, especially when you do need someone to be the bedrock carry, which Karras and Cube have largely not been.
And I think strategically, this team is investing resources poorly for some games. Right here, Karras was frozen out on top side because they went for that dive onto Light. Light didn't give a shit. He carried that game. Victor became too much of an issue after that point because they went for the wrong resources across the map. We saw that against Invictus Gaming too, where Gwen got no help because Vampire wanted to stay mid lane. I also think the laning phase has been a bit more skew-if now. I think Vampire in the 2v2 this game was good, but throughout the series, it's a bit more difficult. And team fights is where it's really showing up now. The magic from WE's team fighting is not as solid as it was last split. Called it out in game. I think they had an underdog and a momentum buff from last split. I think teams are taking them more seriously now, which is great. They deserve to have that respect thrown to them. But they're not getting freebie wins. They're getting out team fought now.
That's, I think, a very apt way of putting it. But I still think WE, we know what the ceiling looks like. We know what the heights look like, and they've certainly got that skill again. But right now, there's a couple things they need to work on. Again, the LPL schedule at the start of the split for the teams that are here and haven't been international recently just means you're playing through a lot of games. It's just the reality of it. Weibo with Chris back in, it's not perfect, but I will say Weibo at least look a little bit more like themselves again. There was a point last split where they looked quite disappointing. there are still significant issues. The inconsistencies are there, but they're not just losing lanes, they're not just losing drafts. There does feel like there's danger on this team. We'll see whether it sticks, and we'll see how far they go, and we'll see how inconsistent they are while they're doing it. But I think for them, another good game there, and I think that game 3 in particular was pretty convincing on the whole.
That'll be us for today, folks. Thank you so much for joining us. You going to stream today, Sam?
I am not, because I've got NLC in an hour.
All right, well, thank you everyone for joining in. My name's Nymaera Initialise. We cast LPL here. We're brothers. We're not paid to do this, so we're only supported and only continue to do this if you support us. Financially, it's a very hard time to be a caster right now. So if you can give anything, it makes an awful lot of difference. We have a Ko-fi link, which you've not.
I've tried to copy that and ended up dragging it instead, which was kind of wild.
Yeah. I got it.
Yeah, cool.
I got it. But yes, so if you can support us in any way, helps us keep what we're doing. Honestly, at the rate it's going, it's pretty hard for us to say that we can do this for forever. So we do need support to keep doing this. If you enjoy what we're doing, let people know about it. And we'll see how much we can keep doing. We'll commit to this split. We'll do as much as we can. But, you know, the future is not looking great for broadcast. Co-streaming has kind of killed broadcast, really. We are currently a co-stream, and we're not big enough to support ourselves off of that. If you enjoy watching us do LPL or watching other people, we need your support now than ever. This includes all of the other broadcasts out there, too. And, thank you for coming by and watching us. That obviously helps us. If you are here, you are helping us an awful lot.
Absolutely, and again, hello to TikTok and the like again. Give us a heads up on how you like your streams over there. We're still figuring out what the best way to do things is. Here's much love. Do follow us on all our socials. I'm an Initialized Casts. Alex is at Nymaera. Make sure you are enjoying our content. Mate, I'm going to run out of here because I need to go get myself some lunch before I have to sit down and do some more broadcasting, because we got NLC tonight, folks. So I'll see you in. You want to stop the TikTok stream?
Yes, please. All right,
Bye-bye,
thanks,
TikTok.
folks. Thanks for joining us, and we will catch you around.